We're live, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast will be a mess. Just prepare yourself.
As usual.
If you're an MMA journalist, put your get your weightlifting chalk on your hands. Chalk up. Get ready.
Get ready, bitches.
I'm full of opinions, everybody.
Hit those fucking keyboards. This is essentially sort of a preview of this weekend's fights, but really it's just
It's usually the plan.
a chance to get together and fuck around.
I was told it was a breakdown.
It could be a breakdown.
I was told a breakdown.
Did you prepare?
I've studied all night for a breakdown.
I have my notes. I was told this is a breakdown.
What are your thoughts, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I'm going to go with, ask me, well, I'm going to go with Nate Diaz. Now ask me why.
Wow. Why?
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Conor's boxed the daylights out of everybody who, for the most part, either has his reach or smallest. What he does is he hangs on the edge of the pocket. He hangs on the edge of the pocket, and he's a counterpuncher, waits till you commit, slips and hits. He's dealing with something very different with Nate, which is that Nate is longer and taller, and Nate doesn't have to do that. And I wonder what he's going to have to do is either one of two things. He's going to have to weave and get inside, or because Nate stands so, flat, sort of squares up with you, I guess he could back kick and front kick his body. But Conor doesn't kick. Like, it's not when you think, whoa, watch out for Conor's hard kicks. You know what I mean? So
he actually kicks pretty good.
Yeah, he kicks. He has very good kicks.
He does.
You also haven't seen much of him because he's smoking everyone.
This is true.
He's murking everyone.
But Nate's a very durable guy, too. He spends a lot of time in those gyms with a lot of those Mexican boxers that stand in the hole and just bang.
Which isn't Conor.
It's not, but I wonder how Conor's going to actually have to change a little bit of his boxing, and I'm curious to see how he does.
Well, he's only fought one guy that's tall. That's Max Holloway, and he's coincidentally the one guy that went to a decision with him.
And he was also hurt in that fight.
He hurt his knee in that fight. During the fight, when he was passing the guard, he blew out his ACL. So that definitely had a huge effect. But I think that you make some good points. I think Dos Anjos showed a bit of the blueprint on how to beat Nate. And one of the big things is that Nate stands real heavy on that front leg. He comes in, he fires that hard right jab and stands real heavy on that front leg. And Dos Anjos just lit that leg up. Yep. He lit his legs up. And because of that boxing-centered style, Nate will throw the occasional kick, but primarily he fights boxing when he's fighting. His boxing's very good.
It is.
Very sharp. He boxed up Gray Maynard. He boxed up Marcus Davis.
Josh Thompson.
Michael Johnson, his last fight, was one of his best fights.
That's unbelievable.
Josh Thompson head kicked him and knocked him out.
That's right.
Yeah. That was a different, that was Josh Thompson, man. That dude's had a series of injuries, but I still maintain he's one of the best lightweights in the world.
Especially when he's in Strikeforce.
Yeah, well, he's getting older. That's the issue. Is he's like 36 years
with
old
everyone,
now.
though.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think that Conor's met anyone yet who's as good a boxer as Nate? Because Nate's a good boxer.
Definitely not.
Maybe Max.
Maybe Max, right. But Max back then was like, it was two years ago plus. Max was not as good as he is now.
Or confident.
Max is on fire right now. Max Holloway's on fire.
I'd like to see him and Conor fight now.
Yes.
That's a fight.
Fuck yeah.
It's coming, I think.
See,
I don't know about that, but I don't think that Conor really wants that 145 weight class anymore. He looks so big right now.
Yeah, he has it. And I think at 55... fighting Dos Anjos, that's the fight at UFC 200 if he gets past Nate Diaz.
It actually is kind of interesting if he gets past Nate Diaz, because it makes that fight bigger. The fight at 200, it really makes it bigger.
More build-up.
Dos Anjos broke his foot in the last minute of the last round of sparring.
He's going against a high-level kickboxer, and he checked the kick, broke his foot.
We use the same masseuse, and, of course, I get a text message like, fuck. This happened exactly. Last minute, last round kind of thing.
That's their thing,
shitty.
though. At Kings, they go hard, man. That's why they're so good.
Do they wear...
No.
Well, it's like a shin pad, so it's over it. But when you're throwing that hard and high-level kickboxer's checking it, it's tough,
if you kick as hard as he does and you kick a tree,
doesn't matter.
You're going to fucking break your foot. It's just the way it is.
I think we know what Nate Diaz is going to bring to the table. I think Conor knows. I think everyone in this room knows what he's going to do. We don't know what Conor's really going to do. Right. We really haven't seen all his tools, man. I think Diaz is the perfect matchup so he can showcase all his tools. Because Diaz I don't think he's going to get murked in the first round. We're going to see a lot of Conor and what he brings to the table.
Well, Conor's really good at lulling you with those kicks and then stepping in with that big left hand. That left hand is just a fucking monster punch.
From heaven.
Oh, man, he just throws it so perfect, and he's got so much power behind it. But I'll tell you, man, it's hard to hit Nate Diaz clean. Hard to hit him clean.
think?
He's tall. Yeah, he's slick.
He's tall.
He moves a lot. You know, it's hard because his range is good. He's also good at ducking under shit. You know, he's good at
He's
anticipating.
also high here, you know.
Yeah. It could be interesting. I think, man, if Nate Diaz got to like a serious Muay Thai camp and really learned how to kick correctly and made more distance and then threw the occasional fucking takedown attempt in there.
Yeah.
You know, I think with a lot of these guys, one of the issues is they got a great formula and that formula is winning fights and it can carry them very far. But is it the best strategy? Like the best strategy is the guy you're fighting that doesn't have any idea what the fuck you're about to do. That's the George St. Pierre strategy. George would just mix it up so well, and it was like one of his best assets. He really didn't know what his attack was going to be. With these guys, like, you know what their attack's going to be. With Nate, you know what his attack's going to be, but it's a fucking good attack.
It's a good attack, but I think we're seeing a changing of the guard. You're seeing these athletes like Luke Rockhold, who's just a freak,
Yep.
Conor McGregor, these guys who can do it all.
Yep.
So you have the old guard with, you know, I'm not hating on these guys, but I was one of the old guards. I like to, you know, wrestle, box. Didn't do a lot of kickboxing, didn't do a lot of kicks. You look at Rashad Evans, really not a kickboxer, good at wrestling, good at boxing. We know he's going to bring to the table.
But crazy, he's got a big head kick knockout in Sean Salmon. That
True.
was like one of his biggest highlight reel KOs.
For sure, but
But how long ago was that?
Long time ago,
Yeah.
but you would have thought that would have been a bigger part of his arsenal.
I agree.
Yeah,
He
obviously
can
got
do
power.
it. He's athletic enough. You look
Yeah.
at a guy like Ryan Bader, wrestler, boxer.
Yeah.
So you have this old guard. The new guys coming up, man. If you don't have it all, good luck. And they're tossing these guys up who are phenomenal fighters. They have these huge, you know, fan base and stuff like that, and they're giving it to these young athletic guys. And good luck, you know.
Yeah.
With that skill set, man.
I think this sport is just still evolving, and
Yes.
we're in the middle of it, and we're watching it happen. But it's still just all over the place. It's still like your weight class is a perfect example. Your weight class, you cannot be one dimensional. You
Not even
cannot.
close.
There's no one. You can't do it. It's not an option. There's no one who's one dimensional who's anywhere near the top 10.
Well, you have maybe out of the top 5, say Formiga's the most one-dimensional, or Cejudo.
Yeah.
But are they really? You know, Formiga's this amazing ground guy, but
Right.
he tries to kickbox with everybody. Cejudo's the wrestler, but he's trying to punch a hole in your head. So
His fucking striking is not bad. Cejudo's striking
No,
is very,
power, man.
very sharp.
a
Very
little
sharp.
slow for the weight class, but he's so strong, and he does negate the gap very well. So I think that he takes care of his lack of speed, but then you fight someone like Demetrius where everything is about speed. So that's where I think he's still too slow to beat Demetrius.
It's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be a real interesting fight. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, and he's a motherfucker with his mindset. His mind, I mean, he's a winner. Cejudo is just a straight up winner.
All those Olympic athletes that come out of the UFC, they're all pretty successful, man.
Mm-hmm.
They think about them. You got Dan Henderson, DC, Cejudo, obviously
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey. You got all just that Olympic mindset, man. It's priceless.
Do you
it
remember
really
when
is, 'cause
Mark
they've had
Schultz
so much.
fought?
Yes.
It was like, hello, everybody. They're lucky.
Wicked.
The whole division is so lucky that he had a good wrestling teaching gig, coaching
Yeah,
gig.
they got a good offer.
Oh, he didn't want him to. They wouldn't let him fight in the UFC. Was he Brigham Young? I think that's what he was with. And they were like, you can't fight in the UFC. You can't fight cage fighting while you're teaching wrestling.
Not BYU, son.
They're so lucky because if that motherfucker got in there, everybody's on their back.
Yoel
Everybody.
Romero.
Every
Yeah,
single
like,
person.
look at Yoel Romero. But what's interesting about somebody like Yoel Romero is that you've seen him get taken down.
He doesn't
and
give
you've
a
seen him.
fuck.
Yeah.
You can take him
Like,
down.
he's like, I'll just
Doesn't care.
stand up. I'll just stand up.
Good luck holding me down with gay Jesus on my side.
Hey, Jesus on my side.
Yeah.
The way you hold him down is drug test him. You want to hold him down? Go ahead and drug test him.
Or put gay Jesus on top of him.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
So screwed.
Yeah.
So screwed. Oh, I don't mean to flip scripts here, but how about Bisping Anderson Silva? I
you
was
know what?
blowing your phone up during
Yeah,
that.
man.
Blowing you
what?
up.
It was amazing.
First of all, Bisping is one of the toughest
By
fucking
far.
men on the planet.
God.
That dude has one eyeball, okay?
Straight
He
up
got
one eye.
knocked out dead at the end of the third round, came back and won the fourth. What the fuck?
Sick.
How is that not talked about? The guy's blind in one eye.
Yeah.
People don't know that. They
He
don't
must
bring
be
it
able
up.
to see something.
People
right?
don't realize
he can
how
see
bad it is.
something, but it's because we were reading the teleprompter and it's difficult. It's like that eye is, I guess, at certain angles he's got to hold his eye a certain way because it's kind of tunnel vision.
There's oil in it. He
Yeah.
has oil in his
so he has to read with the
retina.
other eye.
of his eye.
Yeah, and that's to protect the retina, keep it in place. Is that the idea?
They can't attach it yet because if they attach it,
Does it rip off again?
yeah, if they attach
Again?
it again, it'll be more damaging. So
Yeah.
he has to wait till after he's done fighting, they can reattach.
So think about this. He beat Anderson Silva with one eye. Oh, and
Yeah.
Anderson's a southpaw, you fucks. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
It's nuts, man.
That flying
Nick Diaz
knee,
beat him high.
Yeah, right? But the
Anderson-
flying knee that Anderson landed was goddamn glorious.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was nice.
The
And
way
that
he did
front
it,
kick?
he jumps up with the front leg or with the right leg, and then like there's almost like a pause in the air, and then boom, that back left
Scissor
knee
knee.
comes
He
in.
still had that.
The-
He still
the
had that
reason-
ability to move, like just kind of stare at you right against the cage. But
Yeah.
he didn't. It was weird when he was in the middle of the cage. He didn't seem to want to throw. It was so weird. Like you felt like he had Bisping, like especially at the beginning of the fourth round, he could have capitalized, and he was hesitant.
He's 40.
Is that what it is?
He's 40. He's
40-year-old man. It's
I don't know
40,
why we
and
can't
he's
just
an-
chalk that up. Like he's just an older fighter, man.
And
He's phenomenal.
Fighting natural.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, Bisping was giving him a ton of shit, saying you've been on steroids your whole career.
Fair assumption.
We don't know if that's true or not true. We just know the one time he was tested, he got caught.
Yeah.
That's
So it's not like outlandish for
Yeah.
Bisping to say that.
the one time out of competition testing he got caught. Who the fuck knows, man? What's hilarious is when you look at his trainer and you go,
God. Purple Man?
That guy's
what?
Purple man.
That guy's 70.
jacked.
I mean, I think he's in his 60s, and I think he might
Late
be like
60s.
65, 66 years old or something like that.
Got dick veins at the side of his neck.
He's got more muscle than all of us together. If we packed all of our
Easily.
muscle together,
Easily.
He looks like a cluster of horse cocks with feet.
he's so big. He's so
jacked.
big. So he's not natural. Okay, so if he's not natural, then Anderson knows about steroids. He's heard of them.
He's
You know,
familiar with
the
them.
guy who's teaching him how to lift weights and running him through his strength and conditioning program is
Oh, hey, bro, I
obviously
got the
against
stuff.
steroids.
10 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know, all these years you've been fighting. This is stuff that I do. It's probably not interesting
For
to you,
recovery.
That
but it
acai
makes you a
bowl.
super person.
It's a super person. It's a super person.
I know you're in a sport that's like if your body moves better, you don't get brain damage, but that's not important.
This
It's up to
this
you.
testing is super effective, isn't it? They're hitting
Dude,
these guys.
Jeff
Changed the game.
Nowitzki is a motherfucker, and he's not playing games. He's trying to catch dudes. He's showing up at your house at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's taking your piss.
That's his goal,
He's taking
too.
your blood.
They got me the other day before I came up here. Or no, when I went to do Daniele Bolelli's podcast. And they called me as I'm 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away. Where are you? I'm in LA. I was like, well, you're at my gym. Just wait for me. I'll come back after the show. No. We're coming to you,
the
bitch.
bloodhound son.
And they fucking drove up.
To Daniele's house?
Yeah, no, to the where he does his podcast.
Wow.
They watched me do the podcast after it tested me.
Wow.
Man.
Super, super nice people, very professional, but they're not
Not
fucking
playing
around.
games.
Yeah,
And
What do
they're,
you
they're
what do you
testing
guys
for
think of
everything.
this?
They test for weed and everything.
everything.
Yeah, but weed doesn't matter out of competition. Out
Yeah,
of
exactly.
competition, it doesn't
Oh, okay.
matter.
So let me ask you this.
Nor does Coke, by the way. That was the John Jones
Ooh,
situation.
have
So
fun,
if you're-
have
if
fun,
you're-
boys. So let
if
me
you're
ask you
not in
this:
camp-
if Nate Diaz, short nose fight,
Let's take the word "if" out.
so let's
I know
say
what you're gonna say.
So let's say he's smoking weed, he beats
I
Connor.
smoke- Yeah, I'm sure.
Then he gets flags. It's a DQ, right? It'd be a
Yeah.
no contest.
If I smoked weed
Hashtag say
today,
fight.
if I smoked weed today, the fight is in 2 days or 3 days, right? If I smoked weed today and the day of the fight, I asked them, "Would you test me? I want to find out like what the levels are." I think I'd be okay. I think you literally have to get high the day before or the day of with the new parameters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah, it's way different. It's way different. It's way different than it used to be. So you have to. It's not like trace. They used to have trace amounts
Yes.
of THC. But if I really believe that if I smoke weed today and I asked them to test me on Saturday, I'd be okay.
Yeah, let's not smoke
Wow.
the day of the fight, though, huh?
Well, Nick Diaz apparently
So
when he fought
gangster.
Gomi was so he tested so high that like this motherfucker had to be high as fuck when he fought Gomi.
That's
just,
insane.
Just went out there.
Who pulls off a go-go fucking plata in MMA
Beautiful.
too? It
Glorious.
was amazing.
Beautiful.
saying-
and after he got his cheek broken.
Yeah, that's true.
He got hit with a bomb by Gomi.
When can Nick fight again? In about 9 months?
Bisping wants that
Yeah,
fight.
they
I wanna
changed it
see-
around. They changed it around. It was supposed to be 5 years, and they made it at like a year and a half, I think. Is that what they made it? I think they made it 16
Way
months.
shorter, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be
16.
an interesting fight? Only because they fought before and Nick won. I'm surprised Nick isn't calling Robbie Lawler out.
Well, I don't think Nick's calling out anybody.
No.
Nick's just chilling out and waiting for all this bullshit to settle.
Yeah.
He got fucking railroaded, man, because Nick passed 2 WADA tests, the really deep, comprehensive blood screens that they use for the Olympics. He passed those with flying colors. What he didn't pass is some bullshit-ass Quest Diagnostics lab test that the fucking Nevada State Athletic Commission uses.
Super shady.
Super shady. And these assholes wouldn't even pay attention to the other 2 tests. And they tried to ban him for 5 years.
That's insane.
Yeah,
man.
they're assholes, man. The Vanderlei Silva thing's another example. Assholes. They're assholes. What they did to Vanderlei, banned him for life. That's Vanderlei just signed with Bellator.
Yep.
Hear
Did he
about
sign
that?
with Bellator?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Today? Is it breaking news
Yes,
or some
he
shit?
did. Yep.
Damn, I didn't know that.
But here's the deal. We talked about this
Kimbo-
in the last podcast.
Kimbo Wanderlei Silva.
Well, Vanderlei has to fight Fedor first. He's going to fight Fedor first. That's the big fight
In Japan or
In
whatever.
Japan, but having that fight in Japan could throw his whole Bellator deal in jeopardy because he's going to have to fight on Indian casinos. Once he fights, which at Vanderlei's age is probably not the worst thing in the world anyway, because
Let's go ahead and juice up.
there's some certain guys, Bobby Lashley. There's certain guys that only fight in certain places and they look ridiculously muscular. Now, I don't know exactly how everything works, but I
Victor
know,
Belfort, Brazil.
but I
you're saying
know that. Well, that's even more shit. That's even more.
Hector
weird.
Lombard, Australia. Only, please.
The thing is, they don't have a Jeff Nowitzki at Bellator. They don't have a Hawk.
Nor
That's-
do they want one.
No, they don't want one.
You don't want
no,
one.
No, no, no,
But
no.
aren't you dealing with the
I wouldn't
commission?
want one.
I don't want
I'll tell
one.
the UFC. What are we trying to do?
What are you trying to? Hey, how dare you?
Let's move on with our lives.
You know what the fuck
here.
you guys are
man.
doing?
But you're dealing with the
Let's
commission,
move
right?
on.
Aren't you dealing with the commission?
Commission's easy.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
UFC
those-
enforced this,
Yeah.
not the commission.
Yeah, this is the UFC's idea. Look, the commission. Look, it's a famous line that someone made up. I don't know who it was, but they said that passing one of those urine tests is an intelligence test. It's not a drug test.
Correct.
It might have been Victor Conte. It might have been Victor Conte. But he, who's the Balco guy? Who's if anybody fucking knows, he knows. So I think I think Vanderlei. Well, first of all, I think they should Vanderlei's suspension should be exactly as long as it would have been if he got popped, which I think is 9 months at the time. Was it? Was it back then when he got caught? Was it 9 months
I think
back
it was
then?
Back then it was 9 months. Yeah, if you test
Fucking
positive.
9 months, so he's good. He should be done. His suspension should be over. Fine him a little bit and let's move on, man. The guy never tested positive once.
I'm going to see
he never
Vanderlei.
tested positive once.
Never.
Wow.
Vanderlei never. He probably, definitely did something. I mean, you look at when he was fighting in Japan.
Yeah.
But Japan didn't have tests, or if they did have tests, they didn't care. You know, they. I mean, Ensign. This is coming straight from Ensign Inoue, who said it was on his contract that said we will not test you for steroids. And Ensign is incapable of lying. He does not lie.
No.
He doesn't. Chuck Liddell talked about it. He said he took a piss test and was like walking around. They're like, just put it on the back.
Just
there.
throw it in toilet.
He was like, I'm not going to set it on the table. There's no one around. Like, just wherever then. He's like,
don't give
all
a
right.
fuck.
They just want to check it out.
Yeah.
Here's a Sharpie. Draw your name on it.
Yeah.
Don't spill,
Just-
please.
Just write negative on it.
Yeah.
Write
Just put
negative
whatever you
all
want,
the time.
man. Put whatever you want.
Write healthy.
Right? Healthy. Either way, awesome to watch.
Do not drink.
That's all. You came back. Do not drink.
But man, that it was everybody knew. If you have a league where everybody knows that everybody else is doing whatever the fuck they want, that's a different thing. It's not really cheating because it's not illegal over there. It's not the same thing as over here.
Yeah, you
There's no-
can't.
there's
you
no
just
repercussions.
can't do that and be a legit sport. You just can't.
Baseball, football.
Powerlifting.
Excuse me.
Powerlifting. That's not a
I
legit
didn't hear
sport?
you.
It's not a legit
I'm gonna
sport?
get so much hate for this. I'm talking about a mainstream sport, bro. Don't ever
Ever compare powerlifting?
Because you look at NBA strict drug testing,
Right.
NFL, MLB, now it's super strict. There's fucking no home runs anymore.
What would people look like if bodybuilding and powerlifting, if 100% it was legit across the board, no steroids whatsoever, knocking on your door every morning at 4 a.m.
They would all look like
taking
Callen.
your-
Look at the 60s.
They would all look like Callen
Yeah.
in Speedos.
Look at
No one would pay attention.
Right. Look at the 60s.
Yeah.
In the 60s, bodybuilders and powerlifters, their legs, especially the bodybuilders, their legs are actually kind of small.
No, they look good.
Yeah.
Like they look like normal.
Yeah, they look healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just all do this, and they're in their high-waisted tights,
Yep.
and they just
Well, there's certain guys from the bodybuilding era of like Schwarzenegger that to this day they look small but yoked as fuck, like Frank Zane.
Yeah.
Like Frank
Dime
Zane
piece.
never looked like Lee Haney or any Dorian Yates or
Ronnie
any of those freaks.
Coleman was 320, all
Yeah.
muscle.
There was a
And
guy.
only like 5'9".
It's
right?
insane.
Isn't Ronnie Coleman like fairly
Ronnie,
short?
I thought Ronnie Coleman was like 6 something.
Oh, is he?
Like,
Big guy.
6'2",
Who
6'3".
which one is really short?
Dorian Yates, I thought.
Is Dorian?
Pretty
But
sure.
back in the day, like before they started doing a lot of steroids, like who did pumping iron? Gaines. The guy's last name is Gaines, and I knew him and I spoke to him. He said there was a black guy featured in pumping iron, and I can't remember his name, but
Albert Beckles?
really muscular guy. At
Older
one
guy?
point, yeah, he was eating 20 pounds of red meat a day.
What?
And that's how he was getting. He was like, lions eat a lot of meat, so
The
he
Duke?
was eating 20
That's that
pounds.
bro science, son.
Oh, yeah.
Lions,
And-
god damn it.
Literally, the
Fucking
other
meathead.
the other body, he was shredded though. He was shredded.
Yeah, but you're not lying, are you?
Right. the other bodybuilders were like, what? He would eat rice.
This
I
guy's
guess
awesome.
like large quantities of rice and 20 pounds of red meat a
Somebody
day.
needs to tell them that gorillas only eat broccoli.
Yeah, right.
Right?
All they eat is fucking go to the zoo. They're eating stalks of broccoli and bamboo
And they're
shoots.
giant.
and shit.
But their dicks are this big. So
That's
Yeah.
true.
a
That's
problem.
true.
He was shredded in the. I mean, he's
Did you see his dick?
unbelievably
How big was
muscular.
it? Was it
Yeah,
meat or?
we dated for a
It
little
wasn't
while.
big, but it was tasty.
It was tasty.
It was tasty.
It had like a fruity,
I never-
nutty sort of a
I
thing.
never-
Pumping
Right now-
Iron, those were the days because it was Arnold in Venice Beach, Gold's Gym,
Franco Columbo.
bitches everywhere,
Franco
smoking
Columbo was the
weed.
short
Slinging
guy.
dick.
Franco Columbo was
He
in
was
my
real
friend's acting
short.
class.
That's
Was
right.
he?
Franco Columbo was super short.
Yeah. That Franco Columbo used to be able to take one of those hot water bottles, and his lungs were so strong they would make it explode.
Yeah.
He would blow into it until it blew up. A fucking hot water bottle, one of those rubber things, a thick
Oh,
rubber.
yeah.
He would. Boom! Yeah. Nobody else could do it.
Yep.
Or very few people could do it.
He
They'd be
would
like,
do-
what in the fuck?
He'd do dips. He would do dips with two dudes hanging off his waist, and he would do dips. And how about
Let's grab some weights.
I wonder what he looks like today.
remember Platts? Remember?
Yes, Tom Platts.
Well, there's I think you can see it on YouTube. He's squats. He deep squats 500 pounds. I think it was 25 times.
Dude, those guys were doing it back then, though.
Yeah.
Roids.
Oh, yeah.
Lifting weights, hanging out on the
Everything.
beach,
Having a good
Venice.
time.
Smoking weed.
Banging chicks.
Tons of
Yeah.
chicks.
Letting guys blow them so they have money for steroids.
Good chance. Good
lot
chance
of
Arnold
things
was
going on.
sucking weed in
Gay
his
for-
dick.
gay for
Good
pay
chance.
is-
Something was going on.
you know?
That was a big thing with those bodybuilders.
Oh, yeah.
A big thing.
They're the original sugar babies. I'm dead serious, man.
Sugar baby's such a great word.
Isn't it such a good word? A sugar baby?
babies.
Bodybuilders are the original sugar baby.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
You ain't just
Look, it's
gonna
either one
lift
thing.
and pay the
Be
bills.
small or suck a dick. You got two options.
You want
Obviously.
muscles, son? Come here.
Come on.
You want to hang out with your boys on the beach? You better suck this dick.
Imagine if that steroids didn't work, but sucking dick did.
Everyone would be
guys,
so
you do it.
swole.
Only way to get swole, you got to suck a dick.
Callen would be the biggest motherfucker in the room.
Damn right I would.
They would change what's gay. They would change it.
Oh, for yeah.
I'm not gay because I like dicks. I'm just trying to get big.
No, bro, it's trying to blow up.
trying to get big.
trying to get big, man.
Do you remember when
That's
guys
like-
would take brewer's yeast back in the day? Do you remember
They
that?
did?
Oh, dude. I knew guys who would just always lift and they'd go, check this out. I'd be like, what? Just,
Why would they take
I
brewer's
don't know.
yeast?
Apparently, brewer's yeast makes you bigger or something.
That's that
They'd
old
take-
school. That's super old
They'd sell
school.
it in pill form. You don't remember that?
No,
Oh
not
my
at all.
God.
Because didn't because you guys are older, when steroids hit, they didn't think it was as bad as it was, right? Like who was it? Lyle Alzado was kind of the first one who's like, oh, I'm gonna die because I use steroids.
I don't
but
know
before
if-
it wasn't a big deal. It was kind of like cigarettes, right?
See, but Lyle Alzado, I don't think it was because of that. I think what Lyle Alzado was doing, he was doing an early form of human growth hormone. I might be off base here. Jamie, want to look this up
I'm just
real
saying
quick. But
Alzado was
hold
the
on a
first to
second.
say though.
But the early form of human growth hormone was taken from cadavers. It wasn't made in a lab with bacteria the way they make growth hormone today. And the early form of human growth hormone, you would take it and there was like crazy adverse side effects. Like people got really
They
fucked
get
up from
leukemia
it.
and all
oh,
kinds of
yeah, you
stuff.
can get fucking Jacob Creutzfeldt. You can get mad cow disease from it. I mean, you
Yeah,
can get prions from it. You can get all kinds of
I think
crazy shit.
Alzado was saying that he was dying because of that, and then scientists came out and were like, "Nah, son, I don't think it."
You had a
wasn't the
brain
steroids."
tumor. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Well, you know, you got to deal with the massive amount of trauma that guy
Played
took to the
football
head.
for 30 years.
Just
And
bang,
hard.
bang. I mean,
Maniac.
who knows? There's all sorts of bad things that happen to your brain when you play football for 30 years. I mean,
Especially the way he did.
Yeah,
I mean,
football back then was different.
who knows why?
Kind of.
Why he got brain. But here's the thing. Not a lot of other guys that were doing what he did got brain tumors. So it could have been completely unrelated.
Because don't they say human growth hormone, from what I understand, is so it's going to help grow everything that's good, but also if you have a tumor, it's going to help grow that.
It could. It's potentially that is potentially a side effect. You know, that's why one of the things they say that's really important. And if you do that, you got to get yourself scanned. And if you're doing it like the way those guys are doing it, where you're taking like 10 units a day, you know, they're taking massive.
That's why the
amounts.
bodybuilders are so big and they have those power guts where they have abs, but it's guts. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like these bulging muscles too. That's the other thing. Like if you have those gigantic like Lee Haney ab muscles, you got to think of his whole body.
Ninja
Everything's
Turtle.
giant. Everything's giant. So his ab muscles are giant too. They stick out also because they're huge.
And his organs are
organs are
growing too,
swollen.
right?
Does it grow your dick?
Apparently,
sir.
if you do take massive amounts for long periods of time, it can grow your organs larger. But I think what we're looking at when you're looking at those guys, a lot of it is just massive muscle.
I agree. It's the more muscle than we've ever seen. Because
The
you look at
tissue.
Arnold. Even Arnold's like it's a different game,
Yeah.
man. When I was doing it, was basically just steroids.
Yeah.
And now they're doing all these designer drugs. They sweat nonstop. I don't know if you've hung out with a current bodybuilder. They sweat nonstop
long.
because
Well,
their bodies
they're always
constantly
dying.
like fuck, man, straight up dying.
They're always dying.
Straight up
so
dying.
That's Dorian and Lee Haney together.
Dorian Yates was very tall, from what I understand, wasn't he?
Well, if Lee Haney's 6 feet tall, it looks like Dorian's somewhere in
got a
the
set of
same
hair on him.
Same
That mane.
That's a glorious,
He's an orange lion.
glorious mane.
He's an orange. He's Donald Trump. He looks like Donald Trump if Donald.
Dude, isn't it
chose
weird how
nothing.
they turn bronze? Because black guys, right? They're like fucking see every muscle. So
Yeah.
a white dude's like, dude, we got to get black. It's the
Yeah.
original like chocolate face.
Yeah,
Have
some
you seen the
guys
guys
get
that get-
really dark?
Yeah, they'll have a white face and then paint the rest of them so dark.
Black.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
straight black.
Yeah, like
man.
Jamaican.
Yeah, because they got
Yeah.
to compete with the black guys.
Yeah, yeah, just to show contrast, to show the
Dude,
muscles.
black guys own bodybuilding now.
Do they own it now?
Phil Heath, 5-time Mr. Olympia champion. Before that, well, it was Jake Cutler, but then you had Ronnie Coleman for all those years.
Well,
Dexter Jackson.
I don't know how long you could do that for, to take that much steroids at that high a level. How long can
What's
you
the
do
most?
that?
8? I think 8 is the most.
No, 6, I think. Right?
Well, how long
He's
did
one
Arnie
away.
do it? How many years did Arnie win?
I think
Not
6.
long,
I
because
think-
Arnie was doing it right, and then he just blew the fuck up and went full celebrity. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna quit fucking lifting weights with you, meathead, and go make some money.
Phil Heath wants to do. He wants to get 10 titles and then quit.
That's
It's like,
shit,
that sounds like a
man.
good number. I was like, oof.
Yeah, the problem with those guys is what do they do when it's over? They showed some of the guys from the old days that are still alive today, and they get off the sauce, and their body is just depressed.
Kidneys are all.
Wouldn't they have
bunched
to
up.
keep doing it to fill the gap in that
Their
they-
body's so
They're gonna have to
fucked
do
up.
something, some form of testosterone, but the kidneys is from the weight cutting.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the kidneys is not from steroids. The kidneys is from the massive dehydration. When you see those guys when they're standing on that scale or on that not scale on that stage and they're posing, they're down to like 3% body
They're close
fat.
to death.
Close to death. They
No
have
carbs.
no water, no carbs. Their bodies are just like shredded.
If you try and talk to one, well, when they're getting ready for that, it's their brain barely functions because they're just so depleted.
Yeah,
It's
they know how to
insane.
do this.
It's so dangerous, man. So dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, now they manipulate their insulin too. They do all kinds of weird stuff.
Yes, that's dangerous.
Did you see the
take
new
insulin.
pumping iron?
No.
Oh, it's good.
Generation Iron.
Yeah.
Generation Iron. Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
Netflix?
I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep, with Kai Green.
Kai Green.
Kai Green, who's a giant. He's a giant gay bodybuilder.
No, he's not gay. Whoa,
Whoa.
bro,
Whoa.
Civ, how dare you?
Sorry. How
dare
Kai
you.
Green is a guy.
Why are you throwing
who-
that away?
When we're
Whoa,
talking
man.
gay for pay,
Hold
the
on.
reason he doesn't
Hold on.
win is
Hold
there's
on.
videos out there of him fucking grapefruits for money.
Right.
Or
So
it might be a cantaloupe, but he's doing
What?
some gay stuff. He's like stripping for men.
he also
and
did
it's
gay,
all over
he also
the
did
internet.
gay porn, didn't he?
No,
This guy?
hey man,
Why do you say
I
that?
feel like he.
no, he
yeah.
didn't.
Why-
he
you
didn't.
shouldn't just
He's
feel
awesome.
like
He's
it.
awesome. He puts on a mask, a doll mask, and poses in subways. He's amazing.
He's second. He comes in second to Phil Heath every year, and they
Oh my
think one of the
God.
reasons why he doesn't win is because he has this history of doing some promiscuous stuff with men. Like
Yes.
there's a video of him stripping and like shoves his
That
dick in front of the
keeps
guy's
you
face.
from winning.
I can't. Yeah, I
If
guess
they
so,
let
man.
him compete, they should let him win.
That's why the gays never win.
What comes in second?
That's
I
rude.
don't
Look at his hair. That bun in the back of his head is adorable.
He's amazing.
Maybe that's the offensive part they don't like is the hair.
Yeah, it's the oh
Look
look
at
at this. What's going on there,
Kai
guys?
Green, they're big rivals, by the way.
And Phil Heath, boy, they are both enormous. You know, here's the problem when it gets down to this, like these two guys. How the fuck do you decide who wins? How could you even
Who's
tell?
more symmetrical?
You have to have a trained
Symmetrical.
eye.
Do you tell? Can
I
you
can.
tell? Is it well? You can because you're a good wine connoisseur. It's like the same thing.
It's symmetry.
How
Look,
do you know a great glass of wine? The tannins and the oaky flavor.
it's a
the same.
feeling. It's a feeling I have.
I don't get how they do it either.
It's
don't get it.
It's symmetry. You're looking at muscle development, but you're also looking at symmetry.
Okay,
I
well
wanna see
these,
him
Yeah, but they
fight.
all look like that.
but these two guys, they're in different stages of the pose. Like
Yeah.
the guy on the left, his arms are further apart. No, not much.
Yeah, but one chose that pose and the other chose. See, Phil Heath.
No,
knew,
they do
keep
they
your
do
legs a
side by
little bit-
side poses.
Right, but see how
Right.
Kai Green forgot about his legs. Phil said, "I'm going to open my legs a little bit. Look at those. Look at the leg Look at that. It's perfect.
It's insane.
He's perfectly proportional.
You know, Phil played basketball in college and was 178 pounds, point guard.
Jesus.
Yep.
And he's got to be like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Good,
now, right?
good buddy of mine, man, from Denver. Yeah, great
You know
guy.
him?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, really well.
How long is he going to do this for?
He said he wants 10 titles.
Yeah, this is his fifth. He wants 10.
So 5 more years,
Mm-hmm.
and his body's like Jesus Christ.
Making
redlining.
that cheddar though.
Is he making cheddar
Oh,
for
yeah,
real?
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Seven figures a year.
How do they do that? How do they make that?
But
money?
because
travel.
so he'll go to England. He'll do all these big pro-ams. You know, who knows? But he'll do all these big pro-ams and get paid bank. Like over in Europe and in the Middle East, bodybuilding's huge.
in Europe,
Yeah, huge. Way bigger
Yes.
than it is here.
yeah, $250,000 to win.
400 now.
200.
But
yeah.
then in sponsors, he's making 6-7 figures.
he's
a
got
year.
his own
Interesting
line,
how much
too.
it jumped up for 2015. It went from 250 to 275 to 400.
He's also
Got-
got his
gotta
own
be
line.
sponsors.
He's got his own line. He's got his own supplement line. That
Does
I
he?
think that does pretty well.
Yeah, called Gifted Nutrition, but I don't think that he's not making his money off that. He's making his money doing these touring
Yeah.
Like he gets done with Olympia, and literally 2 days later, he's flying to the Middle East.
He said he's
flying
gone
to England.
Yeah,
Right.
he said he's gone 300 days a year. I mean,
His
he's
career,
always traveling.
yeah, nuts.
Well, seminars are a big way for a lot of athletes to make money, including MMA guys. A lot of guys make a lot of their money. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys make a lot of their money. on
Especially
seminars.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, especially
Jiu-jitsu is
jiu-jitsu.
huge. And jiu-jitsu is one of the few seminars where you could really get something out of it.
I agree.
You know, if you go to see a Muay Thai seminar, you might learn a little bit.
Good luck.
I mean, you could, but a lot of people know a lot about Muay Thai. Muay Thai is like repetition, knowledge, sparring, great coaching over long periods of time. But jiu-jitsu, a guy could show you one technique, and you could tap a guy with
different
it the
setup
next
or
week.
something? Yeah, it's priceless,
And
man.
one eye-opening thing, you're like, ooh. I was watching your boy Cyborg roll. He was doing some drills the other day. God damn, that guy flows. Woo!
Freak, man.
Woo! He was doing this roll from controlling on top, side control to the truck to the back to taking like a collar choke from behind.
It's crazy how he moves.
Oh my God!
He's doing Eddie's Invitational, is that right? I think he's doing a super fight. I saw him
Jesus
doing
Christ!
a super
I
fight.
hope he is. I hope he is.
I'm pretty sure he's doing a super fight.
Well, that whole Eddie Bravo Invitational, when they're going to do the open weight, like anybody can compete, the absolute, that's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be nuts.
Oh my God!
I know Onnit's doing one of 165 and under at the Onnit Academy.
in Austin. Yeah.
March 24th. Cal and I are doing the play-by-play for that.
Are you really?
Yeah, with a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hopefully, because I'm
Well,
gonna
you
be
could
like,
probably do the jiu-jitsu play-by-play.
For sure.
Who you guys
Yeah.
doing it with?
I'm gonna have some trouble. He's got him now.
Someone who's running the jiu-jitsu thing. Onnit got him.
Yeah.
That
Who
guy's
is
strong.
do you know who the jiu-jitsu play-by-play?
I don't.
guy is?
I asked him.
Todd White lives in on it. Maybe it'd be him.
It's gonna
But
be fun though.
fuck yeah, jiu-jitsu tournaments of the future. I really think so. And I think
Eddie's platform.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about it too is that you can definitely get injured, definitely get broken bones and stuff, but you can compete it and not worry about head trauma. You know, so I think a lot of people that are interested in martial arts are gravitating towards that because they're realizing now, like, hey, this is probably there's not a lot of options if you want to learn how to fight where you're not going to get your brain rattled.
There's such a debate now, like in Europe especially, about kids playing rugby and any kind of contact sport.
Fuck Europe.
Right. And
Look at
football.
America.
I mean, it's a very real thing where doctors and academics are going, hold on. Like, I know it's a great sport, but you are talking about head trauma to your 14-year-old. That's a fact. What that's going to do to him later down the line, we don't know.
Dude, America is
Chances
football.
are you'll probably be fine.
Well, you're talking about someone who's so young that they don't really understand the repercussions of their current actions. And if you're doing something at 14 that might affect you when you're 44, that's kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah, but then yet again, this
So what do
country
you do?
has a lot of people that play football and they're fine at 44. So, a lot of people play for 4 years. Right?
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, most of those guys are fucked up. They're just fucked up.
But not if you
quietly.
played in high
they don't know.
school. Not if you
yeah.
played in high school.
Dude, a lot of people that they've tested that are high school
Have
students
CTE,
they
yeah.
have CTE.
A lot of them.
High school.
They're finding more and more.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it causes damage, but what I'm saying is that it's not as though I don't think the epidemic of people who played football, like if you said, well, most people who played football, even in high school, have brain damage.
I bet they do compared to people who didn't.
Yeah. Not only that, here's the thing
I
that
don't know.
there's things like you can be high functioning, but you can also have like real impulse problems.
Yeah.
And a lot of those real impulse problems are created by head trauma.
Depression.
Here's a
Anger,
big question, though.
real lash out anger issues. As a matter of fact, one of the things that O.J. Simpson's doctor said, that if they were doing that same trial today when he was tried for murder, they would probably bring up CTE.
Yeah. But
Makes
here's the
sense.
question. When, if you're going to ban, and it's out there, but if you're going to
Not
ban
gonna ban
combat
it.
sports for kids,
Well,
you wonder, like, you get a lot of benefit from sports that are rough as well, in a way, in how it builds character, or it's just a sport you might be built for and you're really good at it. So if you're built like a Samoan, and maybe soccer isn't going to be as good for you as football. So in a way, you got to be careful with this stuff.
I
don't
agree.
know.
You need some of
It's
this
tough.
stuff.
Well, it's definitely good to toughen people up. It's
Yeah.
definitely, there's no better avenue to teach people discipline and
Teamwork.
how to be tough than combat sports. I think combat sports is, it's the one thing where you have to figure out how to actually get it done. There's no maybes, there's no close, there's no you either
Can't
get
fake
it done
it.
or
Very
you
black
don't
and
get
white.
it done. It's
Very
very
black and
No
white.
one's helping you.
No one's helping you.
It's a
You're
big
by
thing.
yourself. Yeah, you enter into that ring. He's a referee, and that guy's just there to save your life. That's it. And then there's
Yeah.
another dude, and he weighs the same as you.
Like Taekwondo, guys get knocked out and kicked and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
you get a lot out of getting better at something, especially
certainly
when the
do.
stakes are high.
You certainly do.
Right?
But I think that if I had to do it all over again, like if I knew what I know now and I went back and I was involved in striking sports, I would be way more careful. Way more careful about head kicks. I
too.
kind of got lucky and dodged a lot of trauma, but I know a lot of people who didn't. A lot of kickboxers who just fought for nothing. I mean, nothing.
I
And they
remember
got-
I thought it was cool when they'd go 30 seconds left and the whole gym would turn and watch me and Shane Carwin plant our feet and just slug each other in the head. And we'd get done like high five. Then I'd get in my car and throw up.
Jeez.
And Shane would call me and go, dude, I forgot where I was going. And at the time we were like, God, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Meathead power. It's
Wow.
like, then we get in our cars and do it again the next day. Damn. I remember playing football in college, and there was a play called 96 Power. And they go, bring in the Schaub. Bring in the Schaub. I'd come in. It was me versus giant linebacker named Brian Ewu, who was a second-round or third-round draft pick. A nightmare. And I'd take a run and start, and we'd run into each other. And everyone would wait and stop. That was like my thing. Now I think of it. Hey, man. Hey, man.
idea.
I'm the front guy if it's the Civil War. I'm the guy in the front, the idiot. Everyone's like, yeah, watch this fucking...
He sounds Samoan. Was he Samoan?
No, he's black as night from Houston, Texas. Close, though.
Brian Ewu.
But it makes you rethink things you've done, obviously, in your past. I look at earlier parts of my career, all of my training. I have a good chin. Granted, I fight, child-sized grown-ups. But, when the Lollipop Guild's attacking you, it's not that big of a deal. But
Lollipop Guild.
you learn that. You got fucking like Lineker. Lineker hits hard. Last time he hit me.
He hits fucking hard.
And I remember everything in the ring going wonky, like back and forth. Fuck! Don't attack me right now. That hurt. I've been hit a lot. I put myself in the hospital snowboarding, hitting my head. I definitely have some brain damage.
I wouldn't trade it, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I would train different, though.
Exactly.
Well,
when
look,
you
guys
guys
are-
train different.
You guys are both okay right now. Like you're not Muhammad Ali. You're not Joe Frazier in his
We're
later
also
years.
younger. We'll
Yes.
see in the later years.
Well, I think by the time you get old, they're going to have some shit worked out. They're going to stick a fucking syringe in your brain, squirt some stem cells in there, and you're going to be good to go.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure. They're getting real close. I mean, they're getting real close to re-engineering the entire human frame. They're getting so close. Every day they move one step closer. Within 20, 30 years, they're going to have some cures for all kinds of shit. The problem is when you're already like at Muhammad Ali's stage or Freddie Roach.
Game over.
Yeah, Freddie Roach has functional Parkinson's that's from trauma. And, he's open about it.
He was in wars, man. You watch
Yeah.
his old fights. God.
That's
Yep.
why he stops fights sooner now.
Yep. He's smart about that.
Because he goes, I wish my coach would have stopped the fight sooner.
Yes.
So now,
Yeah.
what was his last fight? It was Cody. He's like, I'm going to stop that. You got one more round, and I'm going to stop this.
Well, the guy who fought Kovalev, what's his face? The Canadian guy. Fuck's his name?
Pascal.
Yes, Jean Pascal, who was just getting boxed.
He was
up.
doing nothing.
Well, he was getting the
Throw a
fuck
punch
beat out of him.
and go.
I think the first fight took a shitload out of him, and that's something that people do not want to admit. When you take the kind of beating that he took in that first fight, and the first fight arguably was called a hair soon, but
Rather have that.
but it's a hair.
Yes.
I mean, his argument was that it was called too soon. He's got a great chin. He should have been able to fight. He tagged him a few times. He could have won that fight. He did tag him a few times, but he didn't tag him a few times in that second fight. That second fight was the Kovalev show.
It wasn't even close.
Kovalev's
Straight
a
up ass
badass.
whooping.
He's a bad
That dude's
motherfucker.
fucking
He
scary.
moves like
He's
a
a
snake.
murderer.
Too.
He's a murderer.
He hits
He's in
so
and out.
hard.
He's in and out. He's fluid. And you know what he likes to do for strength and conditioning?
Don't tell me a
Pilates.
movement coach. Oh, gotcha.
Pilates. He does a lot of Pilates.
All the hot ass in there. He's trying to sling dick.
He has a wife.
The way if you look at his body, the fact that he hits that hard, I don't know how he hits that hard.
It's perfect technique, long limbs.
Yeah.
Been doing
But
it forever.
His body is like, the body is one thing, but the skeleton is the big thing. Skeleton is a giant part of how a guy can punch.
Yeah.
The size of the hands, the shape of the shoulders, it's a huge factor.
Which what makes Connor so good. Look at
Big
Connor's
hands.
shoulders and hands.
With-
his shoulders are, dude, they're
Yeah.
huge, man. I think he weighed in at 177, 178 right now.
Yeah, he's
Or
gonna
at this
cut
time
weight
last week.
to
He's
make
cutting weight.
170.
How about
Which is
Chuck
amazing.
Liddell? Chuck Liddell, he used to he'd get measured and he'd hold his shoulders in, so it said he was 76 inches when he's really 79. And he was standing next to you, and I was looking
Why
at
would he do that?
Because he didn't want you to know how long his reach
Because
was.
he's a dick.
Well, yeah, it's obviously
Hackelman-
he's long as
Hackelman-
fuck.
Yeah, Hackelman would tell him to do that.
Really?
So that it
Back in
said
the
his
day.
reach is 76, and if all of a sudden he comes out with 79 inches and he's jabbing you or whatever he's doing, but I looked at him and how wide his shoulders were and how big he walks around at 230 right
Big
now.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's been talking crazy shit about John Jones.
Just
Did you
wait
know
till
that?
he slaps you. Chuck's big hands reaching across
Yeah.
the table, and wham! You're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah,
Big
Okay.
boy.
he thinks he would give John Jones trouble right now.
He's a fighter.
He'll do it.
Well, that's
You want
just-
that out of your fighter.
Yeah.
That's this thing in his head. I mean, he still hits the bag, and he still has power, and he still thinks that if he, I think his exact words were, if I hit him right now, if I put my hands on him, I'd give him trouble.
Yes, he said his style would give John fits.
Yeah, and he said that John wouldn't be able to out wrestle him, which is like,
It's tough. It's tough.
well, what are you gonna say to the guy? The guy's a fucking legend.
You
He's-
can't disrespect
He's
the Dice Man.
retired, and he's been in some crazy ass wars, and it's over.
He's earned that
It's
right.
over. He's earned the right to
Hey,
talk
he can
some
say whatever
shit.
he wants.
Yeah, he's earned the right to talk some shit. And John had to respond a little bit.
Has to.
But either way, the way John responded was actually pretty kind.
Yeah.
He said maybe if Chuck fought a little smarter, we'd have protected his chin.
He also just put, oh, Chuck.
Yeah.
Classic.
That fight's going to be fun. Him and Cormier, too.
Soon.
It's going to be very fun.
Did you see the photoshops?
Yes.
So Tyrone
Hilarious.
Biggums, and then what's his name
So
from
funny.
the cop from
So funny.
Super funny. From
Yeah,
Die Hard.
Yes.
No, yeah.
No.
That's from Die
the
Hard?
TV show. No, that fucking
Urkel?
TV show. Urkel, yes.
Yeah.
Same guy.
No, it's the same guy, but
Is it
that's
the
the
same
cop.
guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
from
okay.
Die Hard. Yeah, that's when he's a cop.
So
there.
funny. What's your
They go back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
I love it.
What do you guys think of Home Tate?
It's a good fight. It's a different fight.
It's a better-
'Cause Holly Holm, first of all, without a doubt, the best striker in that fucking division.
Yeah.
No
By far.
one moons like her. Her athleticism, her footwork, her kicks. and the way she's conservative with that head kick too. She waits till she knows it's time, and then Bob, booyah!
Yeah, she doesn't waste time on it.
Nope.
She's not going to just throw it to throw it. It's calculated.
And when she lands it, that's fucking instep to neck. Oh, so good. And if you look at her highlight reel, it's all that, in other smaller organizations.
Outside the UFC, yeah.
But Miesha Tate fights with a lot of pressure. She's tough as shit, and her grappling is really good.
Super gritty.
Yeah,
really gritty.
She's got to shoot
strong.
those singles and doubles, which
Well,
good luck.
maybe.
She has to close the
but
distance.
also here's one thing she has to do. She can't run in.
No.
Like what Ronda did is play right into the strengths of Holly. Yeah. Holly's a fantastic counter striker, and Ronda just wanted to overwhelm her with pressure and power and take her out. And she got cracked early and often. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the first round, she was like seeing Tweety birds and all kinds of shit. She probably had no idea what the fuck was going on. Miesha's not going to fight like that. She's just not.
She can't.
She's going to fight hands up high, and she's gonna fight more conservative. And I keep going to the Raquel Pennington fight, which was Holly's first fight in the UFC, where she won a very close split decision. And this is not taking anything away from Raquel, because Raquel is a badass bitch. All due respect to Raquel.
UFC jitters, son.
Yeah, UFC jitters are a big factor. I think that probably played a big factor. But also Raquel's just real tough and real smart and, didn't rush in. I think the rushing in factor was a big part of that fight. Ronda just charging straight forward like a fucking wild animal, and then Holly moving and cracking.
It's the worst thing you can do. And
yeah.
what do you do with a technician? What do? You make it a freaking gritty fight. That's what Miesha does
she's got
best.
to clinch her, and I don't know if she's going to win that clinch. She's not going to get for her to shoot a double or single from that distance. She's going to get sprawled on. You can
People
bet
have
she's
done it before,
training.
though, B.
No one's taking Holly down in the UFC.
No one's taking her down, but you can get. You look at previous 3 fights in the UFC. People can get her to the cage.
Sure,
Yes.
but then you got her in a clinch, and I think Holly's stronger than Miesha. I mean, it's going to be
debatable.
tough for her.
Well,
I don't know about the wrestling aspect stronger. I mean, she hits harder, but
well, I'll tell you,
Misha's
my
a
friend
tank.
Justin Milos, who's a brown belt, a Division I wrestler, serious fucking athlete. He said that Holly feels like a dude. Mm-hmm. He said he's rolled with both of them. He rolled with Holly and with Ronda, and he's like, there's no comparison. He's like, Holly is strong as fuck.
You could see it.
He's like, she's really strong.
I think Holly wins. I just think it's a different fight. It's a tougher fight for Holly. It's a different puzzle to figure out. It's all about matchups.
Yeah.
I don't think that she gets destroyed like Ronda did. I don't think she gets outclassed like Ronda did. I think it's a closer fight, but Holly still comes out on top.
Well, the other thing is that Holly went through a camp for Ronda like no camp she ever went through before. And she said she trained so fucking hard for that, and you see the results of that. I think she's going to do the exact same thing for this camp. So if she goes into this fight with that same kind of training camp behind her and is just in fucking phenomenal shape like she was for the Ronda Rousey
Which
fight,
she is.
She might box the shit out of
There's
Miesha.
more pressure on Holly now. Because we expect her to be, she's this, it's not a one-time thing. She wasn't a one-trick pony. She wasn't just a flash in the pan. I think for her, there's more pressure to perform now. Because with Ronda, she's such a big underdog. It's like, she's going to get murked. Beats the fuck out of her. Now we're like, damn, Holly's for reals. Now there's pressure on her.
Maybe.
But
That's
she's
one way
had
to
that
look at
pressure
it.
for a
Yeah,
long
she's a
career.
19-time.
Not like this, my man.
What about this?
Women's boxing? What? When's the last time you watched it? Exactly.
It's in a high school auditorium.
It's still a big deal for her, though.
Really
She's
is.
still there.
It's not the same, brother.
Fight.
It's that you're not doing press conference. You're not the champ.
True.
You don't have everyone gunning
Holly's
for
ready.
you.
Holly's ready for this.
But another thing that's taking pressure off her is that most people are paying attention to Connor. For this fight, they're talking to her a little bit.
100%.
This is the Conor McGregor show.
Let me ask you guys this question.
The rest of the card, what?
Yeah.
This is a weird
Meanwhile,
question.
there's good fights. We'll pull up the card. There's good fights. This is a great card. It's not just a good card for
It's
those
the
two
Connor
fights.
show, though.
It's the Connor show, but let's pull up this card, Jamie. There's a fucking bunch of good fights on this card.
Dude, look at Nate.
Here's one that everyone's sleeping on. Amanda Nunes. That is the dark horse
She's
of the
so
division,
tough.
friends.
She's so
I think
tough.
Amanda Nunes is a fucking knockout machine.
Yep.
She is tough as fuck.
Great striking.
And she's taking on this Valentina
She's a
Shevchenko
motherfucker.
chick who is tough as fuck, too, and a multiple-time world Muay Thai
That's
champion.
a tough fight for her. Let's calm down on that posture, though, huh, Valentina?
No, she's Russian, bro.
That's
She's
true. You gotta
proud,
fucking
proud.
You gotta fucking.
excuse me, Kyrgyzstan.
Amanda
Is that
Nunes. Amanda
Kyrgyzstan?
Nunes is so athletic, and her striking is
She's
amazing.
badass.
Yeah,
she
and
hits
she's a
fucking
beast.
hard. She
She's no joke.
she hits fucking hard. I watched that Sarah McMahon fight again. She's got a
Unreal.
piston of a right hand.
Yep.
She might be the biggest one-punch striker in that division. She's tough as fuck. But, you look at her and then you look at the entire division. I think it's This fight is a big fight for her because Valentina, she also went through her UFC jitters. She was like real stiff and awkward, and she was telling herself that in between rounds in her first fight. I don't think she's going to be like that coming into this fight.
Still look good. Striking look good.
Here's another fight everybody's sleeping on. Your boy Brandon Thatch and Bahar Durzada.
That's a good fight.
That's
I think loser gets its walking
fight.
papers.
You think so?
Well,
I wouldn't give either one of these guys their walking papers.
You're not Joe
Fuck
Silva,
that.
sir.
They're both exciting to watch.
Fuck yeah. These are great fighters, man.
I agree.
Ciara Bahar Durzada.
Ciara, yeah.
He's
So
a
he hasn't
bad
fought in
motherfucker.
almost 2 years. He's
Yeah,
had
what
some
happened
time
to him?
off. He
Did
got hurt.
What happened to him? Do you
I'm
know?
not sure. I know he got hurt, and then Thatch has lost 2 in a row. But they're 2 short notice fights.
Yeah.
He had a change in Gunnar Nelson, and they had to fight Ben Henderson.
Yeah, well, he got clipped in the Nelson fight. Gunnar surprised him with that left hook. That was a big punch, and then submitted him. That was a big fight.
For
And
Thatch,
then-
though, man, I'm telling you, if people could see him in the gym, it's like, dude, what the fuck?
Is he too big?
I hear he's incredible.
He's not too big. It's always been a discipline issue for him, and
Really?
it's always been, is he in the fight? Because in the UFC, you can't, man. You just can't have a night off and beat Gunnar Nelson. You
Right.
can't not be focused and be in a striking range of a top 10 or top 15, guy and not get knocked out.
But in losing all that weight to get down to 170, what does he walk around at?
He's at 190.
That's it?
Yeah, but shredded.
He looks so big.
I know, shredded.
He looks like he's a light heavyweight.
He's tall, but he's thin. But he's a lot of muscle.
Yeah, because I look at him and he looks to me almost like a light heavyweight.
I
He's a
could
big boy.
at 185. Definitely, I'm telling you, he's not a light heavyweight.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's fighting at 170. He makes the weight.
Yeah, but you never know. Some guys
The
are
2
killing
times I've seen him
themselves.
fight, he does seem so relaxed before the fight. Like, it might be the way he deals with nerves, but he's almost like talking to people, and he looks way more casual than most
Holy
fighters.
shit, go back to
Well,
that.
he grew up in
early
the-
prelims.
he grew up in the
Look at this
gyms.
early
His
prelims.
dad's a badass.
Jim Miller and Diego fucking Sanchez.
I know.
His
Yeah,
early
son.
prelims.
That's going to be a war.
How is that a
Woo!
prelim fight, by
That's
the way?
early prelims. That's fight
Because it's
pass,
Fight Pass.
bro.
UFC pass
How is
ratings,
that?
son.
How is that?
Trying to get that UFC
Well,
pass up.
trying to get everybody to buy UFC Fight Pass, and
okay.
Diego Sanchez versus Jim Miller is a great way to get that done.
Might
That's
do it.
third fight of the night, folks.
Grind.
Ooh, Diego Sanchez is such a fucking barbarian. If that guy was put on this earth to do one thing, it's go to war.
It's true.
He is such an animal.
Dude,
mean,
don't sleep
yes.
on Eric Silva and Talib.
Exactly. That's another good fight. That's a very good. Nordine Talib's a bad motherfucker.
First team all body. Eric Silva fell off.
Well, yeah,
Talib
he's
took his spot.
His body's changed a little bit.
a little.
Well, I don't want to talk about it, but he did lose his apple bottom, and he doesn't seem quite as shredded. That's
I wonder
weird.
if he would pass the smell test.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a shredded animal before.
Shredded.
Is it
Monster.
freaky looking?
Yeah, at one point in time, he was
It
ridiculously
was
shredded.
probably a lot of flies.
I don't think so, dude. I think he was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There might have been.
He
Some,
ate 20 pounds of red meat
There was
a
some
day,
stuff
and then he
in-
realized it was clogging his colon.
he's
Now,
he lives in a country where you can just get that stuff.
sure, a lot of meat.
Why do they
give
There's
it
a lot
to
of
you?
cattle.
called
Vitamins
acai.
and minerals. Yeah.
Acai, when you eat a lot of
berries.
acai and a lot of beef.
It's interesting watching all this happen, though, isn't it? Watching
Yes.
guys' bodies change, watching their performances change.
I like it
know?
because it doesn't make me feel as bad about my body.
I like the word "as."
Yeah, like you're still comparing to UFC fighters.
Not as bad. How about the obliques on Talib?
He's a stud.
Super stud, yeah.
Congratulations on your
strong
Calvin
motherfucker
Klein
too.
obliques.
Strong motherfucker. That guy is an
The
animal.
Schaub haircut. He's doing
But,
well.
but he's from France. I don't know if I can.
Can't get behind French
I don't know if I can get
people?
behind French
How
people.
Well, he's,
dare you? What about
he's
Czech
probably
Congo?
Arabic.
Check's my boy.
He's Arabic who was
I don't know,
raised
I'm
in
just,
France.
I'm just saying obnoxious shit. Now you gotta bring up my friends. I don't know, man.
Who is that guy that George St. Pierre brought in with him to train?
He's drunk,
that
smoking
French-
cigarettes?
Yeah, the French Muay Thai guy who's a bad motherfucker. Jean something or another. I forget his name.
I forget him too, but on The Ultimate Fighter, George told everyone, man,
Yeah.
if you're sparring with this guy, don't fucking hit him hard, man, because
Yeah.
you piss him off, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, be nice. Meanwhile, he has the ultimate dad bod. That guy's body.
That ain't a dad bod.
It's so,
that,
like,
you can't call that dad bod.
fit
He
dad
looks like
bod.
Yellow
Fit dad
Bastard.
bod.
No,
he
he's
looks like
not
Yellow
fit
Bastard from Sin
looking.
City.
FDB?
There's nothing.
No.
Who is this? Who?
This Muay Thai champion that George St. Pierre brought in.
Oh, that
when
guy
he
with the
was-
belly.
Yeah.
Drinks, smokes nonstop.
I forget
Yeah.
his name, man.
He was kicking the shite out of
He
everybody.
knocked some
Yeah.
dudes out.
He
yeah.
smelled like booze. He'd come in drunk.
Oh yeah, he would come in drunk. Like up all night,
Sounds like a Thai.
partying,
Just-
going to like a Thai fighter.
Or the Dutch.
Yeah. Or the Dutch. Or French, apparently, too. Just all night in Vegas,
I
going
gotta
to
start drinking
parties,
more.
having a good time.
And then fucking these young tough kids up during the day.
You know what, man? All that crazy behavior that these guys used to engage in, you know,
Can't get away with it.
too many cell phones these days.
Oh.
Like, if these guys are trying to do that today, trying to go out and
Shit,
get
look
crazy
at Johnny
today,
Manziel.
Doesn't work.
You know, the
Who's
football
that?
player, he was a Heisman winner, first round draft pick. The dude likes to party. He likes to party so much. Cleveland Browns like, yo, if you party, man, we're going to cut you. This fucking guy goes to Vegas under a hidden name and wears a wig and a mustache. but he looks like everyone's like, oh, it's Johnny Manziel. So
In a
everyone has
wig
their
and a
phones
mustache.
out.
No.
And then it goes online and then Cleveland Browns see
Yo, that ain't
he's going to
me.
get cut. for
That
sure.
ain't me. That's a dude with a mustache. That ain't me. I'm telling you.
I ain't Johnny Manziel. What you talking about?
He partied with a wig. Is this the guy?
That's him.
That's him?
He was a
Phenomenal.
stud. He was a stud in high
Johnny
school.
football.
Or in,
Reportedly,
college.
partied in a blonde wig, fake mustache and glasses. How can they tell you can't party? This is what they can tell you. Your performance was unsatisfactory. You're cut. That's what they can tell you. They can't tell you can't go have a good time.
This is the problem, Joe.
what?
He's partying every fucking night.
What if he's drinking water? What if he just likes to dance? Is this part of his cardio?
No, he's actually an alcoholic. He's been in and out of rehab
What
like
if he's
4 or
got a
5
movement
times.
coach? His movement coach wants him to fucking
Now you're talking.
two-step on the dance floor.
Now you're talking.
Salsa,
That's what
ramba,
he's missing.
merengue.
You fucking movement coach trolled the other day on Twitter. I was howling. What did you say? What was your exact quote? You believe in...
I said if you think Anderson Silva's going to beat Michael Bisping in decision in the UK, then you obviously believe in dragons and movement coaches.
People got mad at you because they were like,
So mad.
They were like, dragons exist, dude. There's plenty of evidence.
yeah.
No, they got mad. The movement coach thing is a...
They think I'm hating on Connor. I'm not at all. Or what's his name?
Ido Portal.
I'm not at all. Not at all.
Connor's fans are the most fucking easily butthurt people ever. I talk so much shit on everybody else, Rhonda, all this stuff, and I get some stuff. All I said about Connor, I said, hey, guess what? Frankie Edgar's coming for you. He didn't say anything, of course. I had so many asshole fans. I don't know what country they were from or what, but
Probably Ireland, buddy.
fuck you piece of shit.
Fuck
Bow to
you.
the king. You need to fucking kiss the ring and
Bow
suck
to the
his... I'm like,
king.
what the fuck?
They say fuck with 2 O's.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I've never had such an onslaught of just shit talking because I said that you have a fight
Well,
coming?
there's an identity thing going on there. They're identifying with this guy in a way that, you remember when you were a kid, and I don't know how it was with you, but when I was a kid, I would identify with a fighter. And if that fighter lost, I was devastated. And I remember the day I let it go. Donald Curry fought Mike McCallum, and I was a giant Donald Curry fan. Man, I love Donald Curry. And Mike McCallum hit him with a low left hook to the body and then a left hook up top and shut the lights out. And he went fucking flat backwards, arms over the top of his head. And I went, fuck! And I put on my running shoes and I went out running. And I ran a couple miles. And I remember when I came back home, I said, I am never getting upset over some fucking dude I don't even know losing ever again.
Damn.
I'm just going to enjoy the fights. So, like, to this day, like, when I call fights, unless it's like you fucking guys, luckily you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But you, when you fucking fight, or someone I care about, it's hard. Because I'm trying not to be but when if I watch like Anderson and Bisping, I want to watch a fight. I want to see what happens. I don't have a dog in the race. I want to see, and if Anderson knocks him out or if Bisping knocks him out,
You don't care.
I like the performance. I like watching the performance.
Yes.
It changed for me at that day. That
That's
one
so
day.
interesting. That young. I remember mine
mad
was
at myself.
My brother was. We weren't into fighting. I thought Jean-Claude Van Damme was the man. I thought that shit was real.
He is and was.
He still is.
Yeah.
But for me, it was
He is and
mine
was.
was Magic Johnson. My brother's Michael Jordan. When Magic Johnson got AIDS, I started crying, and my mom had to explain AIDS to me. I was young, man. Me and my brother both bawling.
But
man.
guys like that don't just represent Conor McGregor doesn't just represent himself. Conor McGregor represents a couple of things. One is possibility, like self-belief,
Yeah.
and the idea, the gall to say that I'm going to be a champion, coming out of nowhere and do it.
Yeah.
But also, like, you have to look at where, like, Ireland, they did a really interesting thing about during the financial crisis. Like with the Greeks and people like taking to the streets and, freaking out. The Irish are quiet sufferers. The Irish are very stoic people. They don't show off. They don't make a big deal about their own issues and pain. It's very un-Irish. You get a guy like Conor McGregor all of a sudden to come, and they've had the shit end of the stick for a lot of their history. And so when you get a guy like Conor McGregor to come along and go, hey, by the way, I'm going to beat everybody and I'm fucking Irish.
Well, who else do they have, though?
So I'm taking over. For a first time in a long time, the Irish are like, holy fuck, this guy's speaking for us. And by the way, unifying us. That's a big, historically, he's actually, in a lot of ways, I'm probably going to get shit for this,
He's like
but
Jesus.
in ways, he's historically significant to the Irish and the Irish character.
You're not going to
kind of
get shit
is.
for that at all. I think you're entirely right.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree,
There's
Cal.
a reason it's so loud in Boston
Preach,
and
son.
stuff because
Preach.
because he is. He's the guy who said, "Hey, it's our turn." And who says we
That
have to be
stuff's the dog
quiet
shit.
and keep our
This
head
is the
down?
real shit. That's the real Steve.
So-
It's about goddamn time.
When I went
Yeah.
to Ireland to fight, and this was Conor's second, third fight in the UFC.
yeah, I think it was second.
He people knew who he was.
Third.
They had this show. He's headlining. I get there, wander around, get in a cab. Oh, you're fighting. Okay, are you here for Conor? I'm like, sure, yeah, I'm fucking here for Conor. Who are you fighting? I'm like, okay, wait for it. I'm fighting an Englishman. Fuck him! Hope he dies!
That's right. That's
I'm like,
right.
yeah, I'm fucking, what's your name? Ian McCall. Oh, you're a good Irish boy. I'm like, I'm not, but sure, okay.
Definitely not.
Yes, I am. And they thought I was a fucking leprechaun or something.
Ian McCall.
Leprechaun. Who dyed his hair?
Ireland are you from? Lebanon.
And this was just before he was a big thing. They were already fucking behind him so much, and now he is who he is. Like you said, he is.
He's changing the game.
Yeah, completely.
His second fight in the UFC, I believe, was in Boston. I think it was his second fight. And was the second fight Max Holloway? Which is the second fight? No.
Yes. No, the first fight was Brimage, maybe?
Right. First fight was Brimage.
Brimage.
Whatever the fight was that I called, I don't believe I called his first fight. I think I called the second fight. But I remember being there going, this is nuts, man. This guy is on the undercard. He's on the undercard.
So loud.
And they're going fucking crazy. And I think it's because also Boston is a giant Irish community, right? But there was just something about this guy. I was like, this is nuts. Like the momentum had already started like way more than anybody I'd ever seen fighting on the undercard. But another thing that's going on with Conor is that everybody knows the stakes are much higher because of the shit talking he does. See, all this shit talking is fantastic when you pull it off. But everybody knows that if he doesn't pull it off, if Nate fucking sleeps him, if Nate connects with a straight left right hook, and we see the fucking chicken
It
dance
ain't
out of
cute
Conor,
anymore.
not only is it not
anymore.
cute, but you better stay offline for a couple weeks or
Stay
a month.
offline.
Oh my God!
That's what I mean.
I
He's
mean,
got
there's
guts.
gonna be
I
some
know
straight up
you and
tears.
Rhonda aren't close anymore. You don't talk to her, but I couldn't imagine just what I saw when I was online. The barrage of hate. I got hate
Yeah.
for Rhonda
Yeah.
for telling people
Oh,
that
I
she was
know.
great, for expressing my being impressed with her performances.
Yeah.
The amount of hate she got,
But it might
was
be different.
A wave, just a wave,
Yeah.
just a fucking.
But it might
Like-
be
like
different.
we've never
it might
seen
be different though because
ever.
Rhonda was she was not a very gracious winner. You know, if you look
That's
at her
true.
when she's climbing rocks in that competition in the Ultimate Fighter, and she's giving Misha the finger, it was so aggressive. And then to not shake her hand,
That's true.
and then to say what she said about Holly, about being a fake ass preacher's daughter and stuff. That kind of stuff wasn't witty. It was just a lot of venom.
No, it's very hurtful.
And
Where
people
people
are
don't like
waiting.
it, man. Because then you're being a bully.
You're being
You're being a bully.
Exactly.
It's fear. You know, people know that when, she was doing that with Holly, there was a fear.
Yeah.
And she was trying to put that fear into Holly. And the worst thing in the world is Holly just standing out there.
Holly
staring
said,
at you,
huh?
Dead-faced, drinking her water. She didn't even, her pulse didn't even.
Holly went, oh, that's cute. This judoka's going to try and strike with me. I'm going to kick you in the face, bitch.
I like that you use the word
Whoopsies.
judoka.
Judoka. Keep
Here's a
that.
question to you guys who are fighters.
Who are
What
fighters?
about this idea? What if Misha Tate crawled on about a 3-point stance, literally crawled toward Holly Holm because she couldn't get kicked. She's
John
on-
Jones style?
Right, and just grabbed her ankle picked,
Yeah.
single, double.
She won't be
She's
there.
going to punch her in
She
the
won't be there.
face. She's going to punch her in the face.
She's going to kick
like
her
this.
arms.
But that's
Oh
not
my
a viable.
God.
That's not a viable.
Yeah. Listen,
she
if you're-
can't though.
you can kick
She-
those
she-
arms.
Oh, she
She
can
can.
actually. Oh,
Kick
that's
the
right.
shit out of those arms.
Oh, that's
Let me tell you
correct.
something, dude. If you're on all forms, all fours, and someone kicks your arms, that
Ouch.
is horrific.
Break your arm.
Then your dumbass has to get
100%.
up and fight with one arm.
Forget
Yeah.
it, guys. Sorry, this is my stat strategy.
Any
sir.
other
Hold on, guys.
How about
Misha,
any other
don't do
brain
that.
busters?
She's probably listening. Misha, don't do that.
What
It's a
if
bad
Misha
idea.
climbed on top of the octagon and leaped to the center of the?
What if
Right.
Misha has a knife, guys? You ever thought about that? Well, you can't do that.
What if Misha knows ninjutsu?
Right. What if she used
Seagal.
sleeping dust?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of things that haven't been tried.
Hey, what if Misha won and Connor got knocked down in like 15 seconds?
Whoa.
Does Dana shed a tear?
No.
Just keep on trucking?
Fuck yeah. Keep on trucking. Connor's still
Exciting.
the fucking welterweight or the featherweight champion.
Not the same. You're
No.
batshit crazy if you think that aura's still there.
not the same. But look, the Irish people are still going to support him, 100%. He's
fighting at
I
70.
agree, Joe, but it's not the same.
Fighting at 70.
That aura's gone.
If he can win a rematch, he's lost before. He lost
Yeah.
to Joe Duffy.
Not in the UFC. We've
No,
never seen
true.
it.
And he lost to a 25er.
He did.
That little Russian guy who leg locked him was a
Submission
25er.
him.
Really?
That's back.
Wow.
You're living in the past, though. I'm talking now that he's
Just
this mega
saying.
superstar.
He's a 25er, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a long
Common
time
man.
ago.
Long
I'm
time
just
ago.
throwing it out there.
I'm
Well, there's
talking about
25ers that can submit me. You know, get a hold of my shit.
Shit, you and
Not
me
fun.
both.
Tap.
Get hold of my legs.
Yeah,
See ya.
If you tap, you know. It's the guy, you know, there's guys that like it doesn't matter if they get you in certain positions. There's certain positions that some guys have. They catch you in it, like Ronnie Yaya.
Oh man.
That guy gets a
nasty.
hold of your foot. He's a tiny little dude. He's also an ultimate dad bod guy.
Yeah.
Tiny little dude.
First
But he
team all
gets,
dad bod.
Gets a hold of your foot. Team constrictor, you know, that's what they call
Yeah.
themselves. That is an apt name because if that motherfucker gets a hold of your neck, man, you got some fucking problems, lad.
Paul Har's in your
Speak
ankle.
for yourself.
Yeah. Well, you know, Paul Hart was versus Gary Tonin in that submission only match at
Gary
Polaris.
Tonin, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's
that's-
crazy.
That's
Hope
gonna
he's
be
getting paid
interesting.
well for that.
Gary Tonin is the favorite in that fight.
Isn't Kerry Tone the guy who beat everybody at the Eddie Bravo?
He's the
a-
favorite.
murked
He's the
everybody.
favorite there.
And he's going to wrestle with Paul Hars.
Yeah.
Don't say wrestle.
I mean, he's going to grapple with him.
Yeah, submission grappling match. I don't know if they have a weight limitation, which could be a giant issue because Polaris gets way up into like 200s before he fight. He fought at 185. His first fights in the UFC.
Are they going to test him for Paul Hars?
What? They're gonna make sure he's on
Jiu-Jitsu
steroids.
ain't got
if
time
that's
for
what you mean.
Jiu-Jitsu don't have time for that bullshit.
Time for testing. They want you to be on steroids.
I want to quit everything. I want to do steroids, and I want to do jiu-jitsu all day. And
Well, how
be
about
55.
please do it.
First of all, how
Please
about
do
first take a class?
No, just get
Before
on
you say all
steroids
this.
and start entering
That's what
competitions.
I'm going to do.
That'd be sick.
Just squeeze
do it.
people.
That's what I'm going to do. And
you
then
think-
lose. I'm going to lose gracefully.
Hey, at the On It thing, just jump on the mat. We got a super match.
With
Brian the Kid
pajamas.
Callen. Yeah.
Fucking loose
I'll
pajamas
roll.
that come off in the middle of rolling.
Exactly.
Hold on, guys.
Dick
Time,
flopping
time,
out.
time.
Time out, guys.
Your hogs fucking wipe it all over the mat.
Do you see that happen to a combine guy? We talked a little bit
No.
about it.
His dick came out?
You know the combine, right?
Dick and balls.
They're in tights.
Yeah.
Giant black guy. Douche, run the 40. Fat ass pterodactyl dick comes out the front. Then he fucking falls and eats shit on the turf.
Oh,
It was very
Three-piece
impressive.
set.
And look at this girl who's
Crystal.
talking
Watch
about
this,
it.
watch this. He's
She's
a
getting
stud.
Very excited.
But he's
about
got a
this
piece
guy's
on him when he-
hog.
when he-
Oh, they blurred it out. How dare you,
They
Crystal?
blurred it out. You got to find the real deal out there, young Jamie.
Oh, this we
And
got
it's
us-
on the floor.
Dude, it looks like a pterodactyl going down for prey. It's all black.
Or taking
Like
off.
this.
Taking
no,
off
no,
on the ground.
no. It's like this.
It looks like he
going to
conjured
get fish.
It looks like he conjured a spirit out of the ground.
Now fuck
Oh
that.
my
It's like
God.
on Jurassic Park where the pterodactyls are taking
Oh,
people.
here he is. Here, go full screen, son. Let's see.
Let's get this in our face.
6'5".
It comes out right here, right? He's all. No,
He's looking
you'll
at his
see-
own dick. He's like, no. Oh shit, my shit.
You got that turf dick because he scraped that chocolate dick on that turf. You'll see.
Did they let him do it again?
I hope so.
I
Let's here,
think so.
hold this.
Look at the size of him.
Look how they show it. He's like,
There you go.
oh, you see it, you see it.
watch
Oh my
this
God,
right here.
He took what a hog on this young
Yes, son. Chris Jones back in heat.
man. You know how many Instagram fucking pussy pictures he must have gotten?
Oh, you know how many
How
just
many girls just sent him
ass pics
photos
slid into his
of them
DMs?
face down, ass up. Just,
Oh, you're that guy.
Let's make this happen.
You're the Dick Turf guy.
Let's make this happen, Dick Turf guy.
Yeah.
Before you run that combine, like, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know. It's not like your dick's gonna come out or anything. Good point. I'll
the
go run.
sheer volume of cock when he was getting up that you
Yeah.
see, the mass.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how? I don't know if you guys ever had turf burn on your dick.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Heard a turf toe, but
Yeah,
not
well,
turf
why did he
dick.
choose to fall dick first like that?
I
Just
don't
to,
think he meant to.
oh,
for sure, roll though.
I definitely think he fell forward to cover his dick.
Probably.
He knew if it came out of his shorts, it was going to the ground.
Why
so
don't you just let everybody see his dick? If I had a dick like that, I'd be fucking ripping my pants every day.
I'd be fighting.
He falls down. He gets
Look
up
at
and tells
this.
the
He's
coach.
like,
He goes,
"Oh,
"My
shit."
dick fell out."
Look, oh shit!
Here
Now
it
watch,
is.
Watch the get up. Here's the
Freeze
get-
frame on this
Oh, why was
pterodactyl,
she
Jamie.
terror? We went right to count. Oh! What in the fuck? That's the problem. That dude needs one of them diamond cups just to contain that.
I don't see a problem with it.
There's no
Or a
problem.
fucking sleeping
He,
bag.
he tells the coach, he goes, "Damn, my dick fell
I'll tell you
out."
what that's doing. That's just reinforcing stereotypes.
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like, "Oh my god, it's giant dick." I went, "Yeah, that's about right." I was literally like,
I didn't miss a beat.
Literally, I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
That's one of those stereotypes that people don't have a problem with.
If that was a white guy, I'd be like, "Oh shit!" I would have jumped out of my fucking seat like
Dude,
Showtime kicked someone in the
Polish.
face off the cage. Yeah,
Big
like, oh,
Polish
fuck.
guy
Yeah.
with a fat white dick.
Yeah.
Fat, white,
Fat,
angry dick.
snorting smoke. Like a dragon in his pants.
Drag. Hey,
Big fat pale.
You know what
white,
makes me laugh
blue
right now?
Vein dick.
you know what cracks me up right
Making
now?
noise.
Someone's listening to the show going, "I thought it was a breakdown of the fight."
They've just been talking about dick the whole
They're
time.
talking about a
Of course
dragon
we're
in this
talking about
guy's
dicks.
pants.
Yeah, that's how it
Breeze
goes.
has got
folks.
lungs.
I had to show you that though.
Well, that's what's really funny when people get angry at this podcast. They get angry. They're angry at some of the shit that we say. Like, what do you say when you're with your friends and you're drinking? What do you say? What do you say
dicks
when you're
90% of the
talking shit?
time.
People got
Yeah,
so angry at
chicks.
that Dada 5000 thing. Because they got so angry that I
Wow.
mentioned fried chicken.
Don't
That
be
was-
mad at us. Be mad he died
But-
fighting MMA.
But here's the thing that's crazy. They were upset at me that I mentioned fried chicken because they said that's racist. But they weren't upset that we were making fun of a guy who is still in the hospital. Like, this is how crazy people's priorities are. That first of all, fried chicken is not racist.
It's delicious.
I love
It is,
fried
It is a
chicken.
great food. It's delicious. It's fatty for you. It's not necessarily the best food for you, but that's not racist. What racist is claiming or pretending that one race is superior to another race.
Correct.
Genetically.
That's not what fried chicken is. Fried chicken is just food.
And it was
That's
an
all it
example
is.
of a bad diet while he's
Exactly.
overweight and cutting all this weight
But
and look like shit
There's
fighting.
so many people that are looking forward to being angry so quick.
Yeah.
They need a reason.
They're
Joe.
just looking forward to being upset. That, like, if somebody said, if I was fat and someone was saying you meatball eating motherfucker, I'd be like, yeah, I like meatballs. Like, is that so bad because I'm Italian? 'Cause
You're,
I- oh, you eat
you're
meatball?
genuinely not racist. I remember one time, I actually remember asking you this, so interesting, because you came from Boston and kind of working class, kind of rough, and I never heard, and I'd known you for probably 3 years, this is way back, and I remember I said, I'd never heard you say bad things about people, but I never heard you once. Yeah.
You're fucking mean, but
Basically,
you're not
basically,
racist.
he's a ball of hate, but I never heard you say anything off color, not once. I never heard you say a prejudiced thing in any way. And I remember saying to you, I go, I've never heard you make an off color joke about any race, black people or anything else. And you said it never made any sense to me. You said, I can show you a whole lot of really dumb white people where I grew up. It's all about socialization. I don't know if you remember that.
And
but
I don't,
remember you
but
going,
that's how I feel.
it never made sense.
It's culture.
I think it's obvious though, and with
course it's
Dada,
culture.
if Dada was white and you went fucking fried chicken, Pepsi drinking, no one's gonna say shit.
Yeah, but this is how I feel about the Dada thing. What I do feel bad about is that the guy's still in the hospital.
That sucks. Don't want
feel
anything
bad.
bad to happen to him.
I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I'm glad he's okay. And genuinely, all we were doing was joking around and having fun because that's what we do. And if people construed that as racism because I mentioned chicken, please substitute it for pizza. That's what I meant.
Whatever you want.
My intent is what's important. People are like, you were trying to be funny by saying fried chicken. Yes, I was. Yes, but I don't think that's racist. I don't. I just
Well, you're
not.
not.
It's food.
Yeah.
But it's food.
And it's funny that whole situation when it you know how when you do something crazy and people go, but did you die? Yeah, bitch, Dada died. Straight up, Dada died.
Well, his heart stopped. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
Yeah, man.
And everyone's saying, that we shouldn't have been making fun of his weight, and his family was saying that he was only 2 or 3 pounds over the week of the fight. Well, then there's even less excuses because if you're that much. If you're only 2 or 3 pounds, you're only cutting 2 or 3
Then
pounds
he's
the
just
way
out
to
of
fight.
shape.
He's just unprepared. So whoever did it, they were upset at us that we were making fun of his MMA training or strength and conditioning coach. But this is based on the performance. Look, we have to. This is a co-main event, and there's something bigger at stake. Like, all due respect to Dada, this is my feelings on the Dada thing. Here's the good thing. Here's a compliment that I will give him. That guy never quit. his fucking heart had to give out.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy never quit. He didn't have any endurance, but he still fought 3 fucking hard rounds, and he had nothing in the tank. But he never quit. There's a lot of opportunities for him to stay down. He never quit. He showed a lot of heart. He wasn't,
I like the way you think, Joe.
But he wasn't trained properly. He wasn't prepared properly.
You don't have the skill set.
He wasn't ready.
No.
That's right.
And if you walk into that magnitude of a fight and you have titties hanging, I'm going to make a comment.
But I make a comment like that about Roy Nelson, too,
Anybody.
all the time.
Yes.
I do it about Roy Nelson all the time. I've always said that Roy Nelson's gut is like he's wearing like 30 sweaters, and that it's all like you're hitting cheeseburgers. You're not even hitting him. You're hitting all this shit that he
Layers,
eats.
yeah.
But that's okay because I'm white and Roy's white. But those fights are not good for the sport. And this is why they're not good for the sport. You're taking 2 guys that look bad. Their endurance and conditioning was terrible. The scrambles were awful. Like when one time Kimbo took him down and just got on top of him, and they're just laying on top of each other.
Very amateur. Very amateur.
It's just so bush leagues that there's no way that anybody who watches that, like say if you're a boxing fan and you watch like, did you see Terrence Crawford the other night?
That motherfucker.
Amazing.
Whee!
Good luck beating that dude.
God damn, he's good.
He murked that dude.
He's so good, and you know what, man? His switch, he'll fight you
There's
orthodox,
no one better. There's
and then
no
he'll
one better.
switch southpaw. I mean, it's like Marvin Hagler almost, like that level of switch. His ability to fight from either stance.
He just needs a big title, like
But
a mainstream fight.
Yeah,
Anyways,
so
back to your
if
point.
you're a boxing fan and you watch that fight, and then you say, well, let me check out what this MMA shit's all about, and then you go and watch the Kimbo Dada fight,
You're gonna throw up. You're gonna
what
throw up.
Like, this is an embarrassment to the sport. And this is not a mark against them as human beings. This is just where they are now. Everybody starts off. Look, if the first day you enter into any sort of an MMA gym or dojo, whatever, we all start out as someone who doesn't know anything. We all start out, with whatever strength and conditioning you've gotten coming in. If you're a gymnast or whatever, you bring whatever base you have. But we all start out not knowing anything. Once you get to a co-main event, I demand that you are better than that.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I demand it.
I agree.
I demand it.
Especially 2016. Fuck you, man.
And this is where I respect the shit out of the UFC and Dana. When Kimbo wanted to fight in the UFC, they were like, fight in the Ultimate Fighter. Like, you want to fight in the UFC? I know you're making a lot of money in Elite XC, and everybody's making it out that you're the biggest thing. But look, when Seth Petrozelli fought Kimbo, there's a video of me saying it. I was watching it from the fucking green room of the Atlanta Punchline, and I'd just gotten off stage, and Ken Shamrock got injured when he was supposed to be fighting Kimbo, and I went backstage, and I saw Seth Petrozelli. I go, what the fuck is going on? And they said, Ken Shamrock got injured. I went, no way. And they said, Seth Petrozelli stepped in the day of the fight and took the fight. I'm like, oh no, Kimbo's going to get fucked up. That's the first thing. I never make calls like that. Mm-hmm. But I said it. It's on video. You could watch the video of me saying he's going to get fucked up, and then he gets knocked out while we're watching the video, like 6 seconds later. I'm like, I told you. Because there's a giant difference between fighting guys who are awkward and clumsy, and you're a big, tough guy with good boxing.
And in backyards.
And fighting a motherfucker like Seth Petrozelli.
So let me ask you this, Joe. How do you justify CM Punk?
Because I've said it.
They asked him to go on the Ultimate Fighter. From what I've heard, they asked him, and he was like, "Nah,
watch this.
I'm good."
First of all, sweat that glorious beard.
Damn, son, look at that.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring that shit back?
Kimbo Slice. This is a last-minute replacement. I gotta think Seth Petrozelli's gonna fuck him up. If I'm wrong, you'll never see this.
That's funny.
So this is the fight
Kimbo's
live.
a bad motherfucker, by the way. I just think Seth Petrozelli.
Here we go. This is why they do this. Oh, Seth Busy, Kimbo. Well, yeah.
Oh,
You're right.
Save America.
Right, dude.
Oh my God, you're fucking right.
Oh, yeah.
Why is everyone so surprised?
What I say?
Yes.
What I say? Seth Petrozelli is a bad motherfucker. And Kimbo's a bad motherfucker too. But
Where did he?
That beard is
You're
glorious.
super high, aren't you, Joe?
Oh, I'm so high. I
You
shouldn't
look
even be
so high
talking.
right now.
what I tell you?
I had to be that high to give that
Breakdown.
fucking breakdown on
Breakdown.
on
Bro,
a television like that.
I could hide in that beard. That's a hell of a
Beautiful
beard.
beard.
Just crawling
I got a lot of man in me.
Oh yeah.
If you want to discipline Kimbo, give him Justin.
But that's this is reality. There's levels to fighting, and this is one of. I mean, I'm an MMA analyst. What do I do as a profession? I've been doing it for a long fucking time. I've called thousands of fights. That fight should not be a co-main event fight. I'm not saying those guys shouldn't be allowed to compete against each other. They certainly should. But they're not. I mean, I understand they want to get paid, and I get all that. And I know that Kimbo has some serious knee problems. Like Kimbo, when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, they diagnosed him with bone-on-bone cartilage. I mean, his cartilage is just devastated.
He's
his
not
knees,
young.
His knees are fucked from years of
Football.
and all the MMA training that he has done. So I'm not hating on those guys to get paid. But what I am saying is, please, Bellator, cut the shit. You can't do that.
Cut the side acts, the circus.
You got a chance, a real chance. Bellator has a real chance of being a gigantic organization. They just signed Benson Henderson. They got Josh Thompson. They might get your boy Mitrione. They might get a bunch of other really good fighters. They got Vanderlei Silva just fucking signed with them. They have a real chance at being right up there with the UFC. They're a fucking Viacom entity. They have a tremendous amount of money behind them. They're on television. They're on Spike TV. Do it right.
You know what's tough, though? If you're Bellator, we're going to look at the ratings, son. Over 2 million views.
But that's Royce Gracie.
While Dada's titties are to the side and Kimbo's gas.
It's Royce Gracie, though. That's Royce Gracie.
I disagree. I think
Really?
it's Kimbo.
Well,
He's
okay.
a huge draw. Huge draw.
What if they
I
have?
don't think it's Royce.
You might be right.
What if they have their own version of Fight Pass, where UFC's pushing Fight Pass? Put the freak shows on Fight Pass.
Yeah, but
You
why?
can't put Kimbo on Fight Pass when you get 2 million views on Spike TV.
So
That's all they care about.
maybe it'll drive views to your content.
But when a guy is in such bad shape that the fight itself almost kills him, and not damage, just competing almost kills him. Because if you look at the damage that he took,
Nothing happened.
Almost nothing. Like the combination that dropped him, like the people have played it back and forth. They're like ghost punches. His body failed him.
If you would have ate the same shots Bisping did against Anderson Silva,
Oh my God.
you're dead.
Oh my God.
You're dead.
That fucking flying knee. That fucking flying knee. But here, again, if anybody felt that I said something racist, I'm sorry that you felt that way. I really am. I'm not sorry that I said chicken, because I think this is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous argument. And I think in this day and age, there's nothing wrong with chicken. There's nothing wrong with eating chicken. It tastes great. It's not racism. Racism is trying to imply that one race is inferior, and that is just not the case.
Replace chicken with any fast food.
Any fatty food.
When you're out of shape,
like I
it was
said,
an
pizza.
example.
But there's a thing that people do, man, where they just look to be offended, or they decide that this is something they should be offended at, not looking at intent. My intent was, I'm talking about a guy who obviously he didn't eat kale salads and fucking lean fish to get to that weight.
Hey, man, he died.
That's another point.
Yeah.
Is that when you say it feels like we live in a time when you are fighting for one group of people, like say people who have been oppressed in the past, instead of kind of having an intelligent debate and pointing your guns where they should be pointed at, which is usually a complex set of issues, what we're doing, I feel like, is we're demonizing one group to bolster another group that we call
Not really. They're not
victims.
demonizing white people. I don't think anybody's demonizing. You think people demonize?
I do.
them?
I think a lot of times, if you look at, for example, I went to UPenn and I spoke to these kids in their theater department because somebody asked me to do it. Somebody asked me to do it. It was fun. No, they wanted me to do it about the Goldbergs and stuff, and I was there.
Right.
And I went and I asked the kids. I said, "How many of you feel like your comedy is something you have to be careful of because you might offend somebody in your class or your school?" And half the class raised their hands. And by the way, most of those kids, because I looked at it, were mostly white. And I thought, that's a shame. That's such a bummer that your expression, and especially your comedy, is being cowed by the fact that you're trying to be fair-minded. None of those kids, I don't think, were racist or anything else, but when you're
Or
actually having
sexist or-
right,
Yeah.
but we see this in our institutions of learning, especially our higher institutions of learning, where you're just not able to really and honestly express yourself. And God forbid it's funny, God forbid it's a joke. If you're not towing the line, then you will be censored. You
Yeah,
will
I
be
don't think
demonized.
it's a matter of demonizing white people, because they're not demonizing
No,
white people without doing that.
I don't think it's demonizing white people. It's demonizing anybody.
looking Yeah, it's looking for anything to be offended
Right.
at, even things that are not offensive.
Right.
And there's a
Black
lot
people
of,
took more, like Chris Rock took a lot of heat from other black people. I mean,
Oh yeah,
and
rough.
white people,
Oh, yeah.
and Asian people. So
Yeah.
we're all very sensitive at a time when we are making big strides as well.
100%. And I think part of that, the oversensitivity is because we sense that there is a lot of positive momentum.
Right.
And that people want to keep that going, and they want to stop any racism. Any racism that does come up, they want to nip that shit in the bud and let people know that it's not tolerated anymore, which is understandable. But we have to know when racism is real and when it's not real.
Right.
And there's also a lot of bandwagon bullshit jumping on where people just decide that this is something they should be offended by. Where I'll sit down with you, motherfucker. You try to argue with me that that's racist. There's no argument.
It's
it doesn't make
it's
any
a lynch
sense.
mob who they just want
It
to
doesn't-
jump on.
Yeah, it's a stupid argument. It's like watermelon. Watermelon's a stupid argument. Watermelon's a goddamn delicious fruit. You tell me
fucking
that
love
watermelon is
watermelon.
racist, you're an idiot.
If you're telling me grape juice, watermelon chicken's racist, then I don't know
They're
what to tell
reacting
you.
though to
'Cause I
what
love
was
all
used in
three.
the past. They're
Right.
using what was used
I
in the
know.
past to create
I get it,
a
but
derogatory.
you know what? But fried chicken has always been a delicious food. There's no time. It's not like something that like poor people could only afford. And matter of fact, who was it who was running for president? I think it was Roosevelt. When he was in his campaign, part of his campaign was a chicken in every pot. And the reason why is because chicken was expensive back then. So he was saying that he was going to offer prosperity to the American people and that every family would have a chicken.
I'm offended fried chicken's racist. Now
It's
I'm
just-
offended.
It's not racist. It's racial in that it's always been in some way connected with black people. But it's also not something only black people eat. It's not like curry.
When
you
Magic
know? And
Johnson-
even then it's like that. But that's like a serious ethnic food. You say someone smells like curry.
Yeah.
Like that's more racial if you're talking about a racist
Right.
an Indian person.
When Magic Johnson owned all his Starbucks, he opened Starbucks in black neighborhoods. And one of the first things he said is, you guys are selling food that black people that I grew up with are not going to eat. And here are the foods you should sell at my Starbucks. And he made a lot of money by changing, at least back in the time, what they were willing to offer.
What did they
there.
change it
And
to? What was the new menu?
Believe it or not, I think one of the things, this is back when I read about it, probably
grape
a long time,
frappuccino?
10 years ago, more than that, they were offering in the Starbucks in Harlem and places like that, they were offering things like sweet potato pie. Because,
Fried chicken.
I don't know, but I
Those
know,
little sweet potato pies
Magic
are goddamn delicious.
Yeah, Magic Johnson
at
said,
Starbucks?
I've never seen it at
back
Starbucks.
in the day, Magic Johnson said, "You got to the food that you have in these is not gonna fly."
Hold up, Magic
with this
Johnson put sweet
demographic.
potato pie?
We don't
There you
eat
go.
scones.
There you go.
We don't eat scones.
And that's not racist. That's cultural.
Yeah.
That's a cultural thing.
Well, you know what's hilarious? Another
I'm gonna
thing
go
that
pee.
people were trying to get upset at me was orange soda. Guess what?
God,
orange
you can't
soda
claim orange
is
soda.
is not connected to black people. It is just not. It's just not. Like saying that orange soda is racist. So that was like the cover of Yahoo. They cut out cheeseburgers and they wrote, Joe Rogan says that Dada ate fried chicken and orange soda. Like they didn't
to make it
say
more
cheeseburger
culture.
because I was trying to throw in a bunch of different.
Yeah.
But orange soda is not racist at all. It's a syrupy, super sweet, fatty drink. I
love me some orange soda.
It's very tasty. It's very
Probably why I'm
tasty.
thicker than a Snickers, man. I love orange soda,
But you
bro.
like sugar, dude. Those
I'm addicted
fucking
to it.
those goddamn delicious mangoes with chili.
You fucked me with those.
fucked
I
you
really
with
never
those.
had 'em,
There's a
too,
bag
just-
of 'em. Go in there. They
I'll
got your
probably
name
have
on them.
some.
Just bags of them. I can't eat them.
All right, I'll
I'm
try.
this diet that I'm on.
From who?
You know, I should try it.
I got a bunch of different companies that I have back there. You hungry?
So
You
yummy.
want one? Go grab one.
Okay, fine.
There's bags of them back there. I think
Don't be
the best
scared to bring
ones-
an extra bag, my man.
The best ones
Creepy.
are the best ones that I've tried so far are Trader Joe's. To the right, the Trader Joe's ones are goddamn delicious.
Yeah, sugar, man. Me and sugar, I don't.
Everybody in sugar. People are mad at me
It's
for
addictive.
talking too much about sugar, so I'm going to shut the fuck up because people.
Man, you can't do anything.
I can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
Well, you know what the deal is? We're dealing with volume, the numbers. I mean, we got like 23 million downloads this month. The numbers are insane.
But whenever you stand for something or whenever you have an opinion,
I stand
there's gonna
for chili mango.
Me too. Whenever you stand for something or you have an opinion, people aren't going to agree with everything, man. But
No.
if people aren't disagreeing with you, you're a schmuck. You're a schmuck, man.
Well, you're not expressing yourself honestly.
You're not being original. You're trying to
Everybody's-
please the crowd.
Everybody has different points of view, and if you
There's
have
nothing wrong with that, though. You're not a hater. You sometimes.
Ooh, look at that! He gave it to you.
Oh, thanks, brother.
He's eating a fucking bar. He's eating something super healthy, low sugar, and he handed that bag over to you.
Just because I'm Mexican doesn't mean I like fruit with fucking salt on it. Okay, I've never been able to figure that out.
Oh, it's the chili powder, man. That's a delicious combination. I had a dream
Not
last
my
night.
thing.
I had a dream last night that I was eating bread, and that someone called me out on it, and someone was like, "Dude, you're eating bread." I was like, "Oh no!"
Freaked out.
Sinner.
I got too high and I ate the bread. I forgot. Isn't that crazy? What kind of a fucked up dream is that? That I'm eating bread. That was a real dream that I had.
I can't believe you're going to run with this diet for more than 60 days.
I'm definitely going to run with it for more than 60 days. I feel great. I'm down. I don't know how much I'm down.
My
But I was
issue
at
is-
194 this morning.
And you started at
Actually, 193.8.
you started at what?
202, 203.
Not bad.
I'm somewhere around like 9 pounds down.
That's pretty cool. And you're eating.
I'm eating it like a pig.
My thing is,
Just
I'm
eating super
good when I'm
healthy.
at home, but whenever Cal and I go on the road or anything like that, my diet goes to shit.
If I had to walk around with a 10-pound jacket on, I'd be uncomfortable. I'd be like, God, get this fucking stupid jacket off. I think that's how you have to look at your body. If you're one of those people that goes, I could lose 20 pounds, but who gives a shit? If you take that 20 pounds and put a 20-pound jacket on, how would you feel? You're just accustomed to feeling like shit. So that feeling like shit becomes your new normal.
You know what? I'll eat 6 Cadbury eggs and wear that jacket. You know what I'm saying? I fucking
Very eggs.
Loves Cadbury eggs.
bro.
If you want to kidnap,
Oh, man.
if you want to kidnap him, put some Cadbury eggs in a van and put him in the back of the van, and then he can't help
I will
himself.
gladly wear that
Just go in
10-pound
there
jacket.
like one of those fucking trap things to
can't help
catch coyotes.
Can't help himself. Then
Put fucking
slam the
food in
door
there
shut.
and think traps behind them.
Got you, big boy, got you.
We were in a meeting. We were in a meeting a couple days ago with Fox, all suits, and someone had a bag of red vines. Like, Schaub, you want one? They threw me the bag. I was like, fuck. Callen goes, holy shit, he ate all of them in front of everyone. I was like, God damn.
Well, I turned my head to look out the window, and then I turned back, and they were gone. I was like, "What'd you do? Swallow them all?"
What can you
Sugar
do, man?
is a
Sword
drug.
swallower.
It is a drug. It really is. It doesn't seem like a drug because it doesn't get you high, but there's a physical reaction that your body has to sugar where when I would eat, I'd eat a full meal, and then after the meal, I would still be hungry for something. And what I was craving was like either carbs or I was craving cookies. I'd see like a bag of cookies, and I'd go, oh, cookies and
Talking
milk.
about a sweet tooth.
Yeah, sugar. Meanwhile, I'm stuffed. Like I ate a giant meal.
Yeah, I don't have a sweet tooth. I have sweet teeth. It's just like that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
because
there's
you
never.
don't
I don't
not
ever
eat
not
it.
want sugar.
Yeah, but if you stopped eating it, if you like took time off, I guarantee you your gut bacteria would change and that craving would go away. Like I could eat that. No one's stopping me. I don't have a law. It's not like I'm on probation. I can't have fucking sugar. I don't want it.
What
It's
about
right
raw
there. It's
honey?
not.
Is raw honey different in your body?
No, not really.
Sugar,
I mean,
son.
sugar, but
Yeah.
it's not terrible for you. Look, it's not terrible for you if you don't get too much of it. The problem is you're only really supposed to have about 25 grams of sugar a day if
That's
you live a healthy
bullshit.
diet.
That's
No,
all
I'm saying.
do.
I'm saying. Good luck getting 25 grams.
That's all I do, I think. Right? Or do you
don't
count? Do you count like? I think bread breaks down as glucose.
Oh
though,
yeah,
quickly.
no bread is
There's sugar
definitely
in bread.
sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar and pasta sugar.
Yeah.
You know, this diet, this Mark Sisson's primal blueprint diet is no grains. And I've never done that before. I've done gluten-free before where I had like rice noodles and stuff like that. This is the first time I've ever had no grains at all. And I just did it for a goof. You know, I'm not doing it to prepare for him. But listen to this guy, Mark Sisson, who was a very smart guy and very interesting guy to talk to. He's not a bullshit artist. And I'm listening to what he had to say about inflammation and all the issues that he had dealt with, like acid reflux or what was it?
I listened to that show.
IBS.
IBS.
Yeah. IBS. And also joint pain, arthritis. I'm telling you, that is the interesting thing. I think I talked about this before the podcast, but when I get out of bed, I don't have any aches and pains anymore. I would get out of bed and I'd be like, oh, my fucking back. And I'd have to loosen up, and I would do all these exercises and shit before my body started feeling loose again. Like I'd have to get my back moving, I'd get blood circulation, and then once things started circulating, the aches would kind of slowly go away. I don't have any aches. I get up, I have nothing. I just get up. And it took me a while to realize that. I would go, oh, it's gone.
Have you ever tried fasting before?
No, but I do intermittent fasting
Me
now.
too.
So I eat at 9 o'clock at night, right? And then I don't do anything until my workout. My workout is like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I work out, and then I eat after my workout. So for, 11 hours or 12 hours or so, I'm not eating shit.
See, on Sundays, I usually fast. I stop eating Saturday night at usually 7. I won't eat till the next day till 7.
Yeah.
Ooh.
24 hours.
That's, if you have
I
a
like
good
it,
meal,
too.
you have a good meal at 9 o'clock, you finish somewhere around 10, and then you let all that shit digest, and then take that time off, and then when you wake up, like it's 9 or 10, do a hard cardio workout. It kicks in your body's desire to burn fat.
You can also get away with eating some sugar. 'Cause I work out damn near 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So you'll burn a lot of that off.
Do you know what
Definitely will. I mean, you're not fat.
You know what epigeneticists?
Thanks,
you know
man.
what epigenetics? I think
You needed that like a hug.
exactly.
Thanks, bro. I was waiting for someone.
That was the final sigh. Oh, finally,
You're obviously a very fit guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have any issues as far as like your appearance. But as far as the overall performance of your body, if you just wanted to give it a goof for your show, just to guide people through it for fun, and I know a lot. I've gotten all these tweets and Facebook messages from all these people that are trying to do it now.
I want to do something outlandish though, like an all cabbage diet for a month or something.
Hey, but that's not healthy. What you should do is just try it. Try no sugar. I know. Look, man, I'm telling you, I bought 10 bags of those fucking chili mango things back there and boxes of those sugary bars because I love them, but I don't like them right now. Like, that doesn't have any pull to me. That's what's the most fascinating thing about this. The bread.
Killed your craving.
I went to dinner the other day, and we're at this Italian restaurant with my family, and bread comes out and didn't mean shit to me.
Do you know what they find that this, from what I've read and heard, epigeneticists got people who study how you can turn genes on and off, right? So that's a new science. Do you know what one of the leading causes of inflammation is, which I thought was fascinating? Your gums. And the food that gets stuck in the middle between your gums will break down as bacteria and apparently goes into the bloodstream. And they're finding that has first of all, they know that kind of bacteria has a lot to do with your heart health, but it also has a great deal to do with inflammation in the body, which is fascinating. So that's why they say one of the most important things you can do is floss.
Fuck that noise.
I know, but that's what this
Do you
guy.
floss?
That's
if you
what this
floss,
guy
not
said.
my friend. You floss?
I do now since
Fuck
I heard
you.
that.
You don't floss.
I do now since I heard
Creepy.
it.
Well, how many
I
times
love
have you
the little
flossed?
floss picks.
Now that
like
I heard
pain.
that since the past week, I do it twice a day.
I've flossed
Sorry, man.
a dozen times in my entire life on this
know.
planet.
I never go to
flossed
the dentist
once
either.
and my
I love
gums
those floss
bled
sticks.
so bad.
I got
I like
those.
to pick at my gums.
I
And
do like those things.
Yeah.
You know what I like?
I'll take those.
Water picks. That's the shit.
Those are the
Get
shit.
in there
And
I
then to
think
get
that's
the
better.
stuff out of, because it does, as you sleep, it breaks down and goes into the bloodstream.
Yeah.
And that bacteria apparently has a great deal to do with inflammation.
That's why it's good to have a little gap tooth. Yeah. Get some gaps in your teeth.
Pull a couple teeth out.
Yeah.
No, you don't want that. You
Pull
just
a
want
couple
gaps.
teeth out.
Do you? I used to have a thing for girls with gap teeth.
I'm not mad at that either. It's
I
pretty
like it.
attractive.
I have a thing for girls.
I like.
Generally.
I dated one,
Yeah.
and they were.
You dated a Michael Strahan?
Yes. And it's not, I'm just. She was fucking gorgeous. What did
I think it's
not a
hot.
problem.
I think it's hot. Girls with a gap tooth.
I'm trying to think of the hottest girl that she was a Bellator girl. Jay Bryce.
Oh, she's so hot.
That's perfect example.
she's
Oh,
so
is that the
hot.
girl? Oh, my bad.
You used to date her?
She's so hot.
She's the only girl I know with a giant
Yeah,
gap.
we were
I
we
hear
were
you.
talking about it.
I
We were
understand
good
that.
friends. She's
Oh, that's right.
possibly
She's
the
all a
nicest
little
person
creepy.
on the planet.
She's
She's a
also
very nice
one of
person.
the hottest people on the
Yes,
planet. in my
tooth or not.
Yeah.
There you go, and you have
powerful gap tooth.
yeah. There's a lot of pretty women with gaps.
tooth.
Lauren Hutton, remember that? Old school model, movie
Yes.
star.
I
back
have
in
to
the
see
day.
her.
Oh,
Powerful
yes.
gap tooth.
I'd
She
have
was
to
like
see her.
the poster girl.
Yep.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing her. Like, damn,
There's
this
some
bitch
new
is hot
girl
as
now
fuck.
I see on billboards with just a fucking
I know who you're
field
talking
goal
about.
for
You know
teeth.
what was interesting, man?
Yeah.
You know what was interesting? There's Lauren Hutton.
God damn it.
Powerful-
You know what? That's too
powerful
much.
gap
This,
tooth.
nope, not that.
Show back when she was hot and young. I don't want to see some old
Look at her when
pictures.
she looks like fucking Willy Wonka.
Where's
That's-
the gap tooth? There it is. Bam,
There's
son.
my girl right there.
Look at that gap tooth. That's a nice gap.
She's lucky she has them eyes.
She's beautiful.
She was beautiful.
She's good.
Do you guys pay attention to the controversy? Boy, we're really breaking down these fights. by the way. Do you guys pay attention to the controversy that these models were complaining about this oversized model or plus size model. Sorry,
Yeah.
I said oversized. Sorry. Oversized model. I said it again.
Not
on,
my
The
size, just a
cover of
different size.
Sports Illustrated.
Dude, she's the hottest one.
Well, they were saying
Rhonda?
these
Let me see her,
models. These models were bitching,
Rhonda's
and
the
they were
middle.
saying that it's not healthy.
Oh, fuck
and that
off.
what she's doing is not healthy.
What?
Yeah.
Because a bitch likes a T-bone, and these other girls don't eat.
Well-
Guys don't like skinny girls. Only other skinny
I like a
models
girl.
like
I
that.
gotta use.
I like
chalk
skinny, but
and
I only
tape
weigh
measure.
125 pounds. I know,
But you know
I like
what do
skinny
you walk
girls.
around at? What's your walk around weight?
45, 50.
Okay, there she is in the middle.
That girl in the middle ain't for you, creepy.
She's
No.
delicious.
She's got some giant tatas.
Yeah, let me see more of her.
Is there more of her?
Well, she's the one, by the way, that is not wearing fucking body paint.
That
I mean,
girl
they
on
might
the
have put.
left,
They
though.
might have put. They might have
Fuck
put body
you.
paint on Rhonda. You can't put body paint on them giant tatas.
You can't come light in the
Okay,
ass
that
either. You
girl's
must
hot
come.
as
You must
fuck.
come correct.
Pretty.
Jesus Christ, she's beautiful.
Come correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now we got to slow down.
We gotta chill out because
We gotta
those
slow down.
hips.
I like
well,
her.
it's the legs and the hips. Meanwhile, all
like
this
her.
young lady needs to do is a rigorous strength and conditioning program for a couple weeks, and
Eat
she's
healthy.
okay, well, we just got a little ridiculous here. Is that her back there?
Her face is
Well,
beautiful. She's
Obviously,
hot.
she fluctuates.
She's super hot. Yeah.
I
Some
like
of the
her
pics-
body. I like
All
it.
right, see that there? Right, it's perfect. That's perfect. Is that her? Yeah. Okay, right there is perfect. She fluctuates. Obviously,
Her midsection looks like mine. But
I don't mind.
I'm not mad. Don't get me wrong. Out of those three girls, she's
I bet she has no problem dealing with the Schaub. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, overfuck her.
Oh, I agree.
You know
No,
what I'm
she's-
saying?
She's ready.
Yeah,
can deal with a
she
big
can
man.
take it.
She can deal with a big
handle it.
man.
Oh, she
Where
ready.
it's like, she's not like, ow, 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 hold it, hold it,
no,
slow,
no.
hold it,
No, you can't go hard
slow
enough.
it out. She's
your
gonna
ocean.
get you in full guard.
She
and
is your
pull you
ocean.
in.
Full guard. Dude, her face
Yeah.
is beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
She's your ocean, buddy.
There's a lot of variety in the photos of her. Like some of her where she looks perfect, and some of her where she's obviously like a little.
You know it's gonna be true. How old is she?
Indulgent.
I'm
What does she
guessing
weigh?
Early 20s. When she's 40, I don't know if that's
well,
a fun
there's no
scene.
such thing as one of these models that's in any. Yeah.
What does she weigh? Because
How old is
that's
she?
how I
She's
base everything off.
she's 87,
29.
29.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no such thing as these models when they're 40. They don't exist, especially the plus size
How
ones.
dare you? Not the plus side ones.
No, they just don't exist. Nobody wants to see it.
Cindy Crawford's still doing the damn thing.
Oh, she's
We've
hot
been
as
over
fuck.
this.
We've already been over this.
But that thick chick,
But there's
good
very
for you,
few
girl.
of them, man. But that's a full-time job. She's on it all day with creams and antioxidant lotions and rubbing fucking loofahs all over her face and
hadn't had a
fucking
carb in
sand.
20 years.
She's rubbing sand all over her face, smoothing it out.
It's exhausting. Exhausting at that.
It's so fucking
Exhausting.
tiring.
There's a sandstorm. Hurry! I gotta run. I gotta go for a jog.
Yeah, she probably sees like fat, ugly chicks. She's like, I wish. Who's the girl who's in Body Heat? Kathleen
Turner.
Turner. She was smoking.
And she
when
became
was
an
young.
alcoholic.
She became.
Let me see this chick, Jamie.
She became like a balloon animal.
She drank a lot. She became a.
She blew the fuck up.
Well, not only that, she had that balloon, that drunk face where something happens to your nose.
Yeah.
Your nose
You
gets
broaden
really big.
out.
Okay,
All
well,
flared
first of
out.
all, look at where when she was upper left corner, please. Look at that. Dude, she was so hot when she was young. That Body Heat movie, that was
A lot
1981.
of nostril
by the
there,
way.
but if
A lot
we
of
can get-
nostril.
If we get her to bring her face
Because
down,
she's sniffing cock.
there you go. She had a real husky,
Ooh,
sexy
by the way,
voice.
this mic smells like shit.
Does it?
Can these things change? Can I take these off? They don't come off. Ew.
You're already
my
breathing.
At least it's yours. At least it's yours,
I'm
though.
just upset that I've been talking to people. And this is what's been coming out of my mouth. I feel rude.
How was brushing your teeth this morning with dog shit?
Yeah, like she
I'm
was
not
hot as-
crazy about this chick.
Well, here's the
Me
thing.
either.
This is a really hot girl for 1981. If you saw her at the gym today, you'd be like, how about be here more often?
I was. How about me?
a hell of an actress.
I want to see her. I want to see her now, Jamie.
Well, the bodies that women have today are just better because they're better for what I like. I like a gal who looks athletic. Like that's what I like. I like girls like CrossFit girls. Like look at her now.
She did a lot of drinking.
That'll
And
fuck
and
fuck
smoking
up
with
your
that voice.
Wednesday.
Jesus Christ.
She did a lot of drinking, man.
And women are like, that's what a real woman looks like. You fucking asshole.
That's what a real. Nah, man.
She's 50 fucking years old, you piece of shit.
That's a lot of booze.
Meanwhile, Cindy Crawford is 52.
Yeah.
Brinkley.
Yeah. Christy Brinkley's 90. She's
Straight
hot
up
as
90.
fuck. She's 150 years old.
150.
And we'd all fuck
Fucking
her.
crypt
I would
keeper.
fuck her after you guys fucked her. How about that? I'd be
yeah,
like,
I'm
"All
not
right, I'm
mad
gonna
at that.
pretend. All right, that's her when she was in that movie Body Heat.
Great movie.
Yeah,
just
so
don't
she let herself
understand.
go. Maybe she got money and said,
It's
fuck
nah,
it.
It's not
No,
that,
she drank.
man.
She
I
drank.
think it's booze.
She had
And-
a
And
serious-
cigarettes, because with that voice, she smokes a lot of
she had a
cigarettes.
serious drinking problem.
Did she stop?
I don't know, but I know she talks about it.
Maybe she had a blast, got some money, started smoking, got fat as fuck, eating Cadbury eggs. I'm not mad at it.
Maybe she just got tired of getting dick. She's like, I got to keep this dick away.
It's
I think
exhausting.
she was actually
I'm
gay.
gonna-
ruining
I
my
think she
day.
might be gay, in fact. I think.
Ooh, look
I don't
at
know
you.
why I'm saying
You just
that.
think everybody's gay today.
Yeah, I know.
How dare you?
I like to spread rumors.
Yeah, how dare you do
do.
about
You
Kai
do.
Green?
I think
Kai
she
Green's
is.
in Venice a lot. He's gonna
fuck you.
up.
He's gonna fuck
And by fuck you up, I mean he's gonna fuck you. Yeah, like he fucked that
in a
grapefruit.
straight way.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I think also the pressure of being a hot chick. I think it's overwhelming. I think after a while they just get. I mean, from speaking from personal experience, my days as a hot chick, I just think it's overwhelming for those girls.
Yeah.
Like to imagine your entire existence is based entirely on people wanting to fuck you.
You're defined on symmetry and
Guys just sending mental dick missiles at your face all day long.
Dude, I used to work out at this gym where I won't say her name.
I like that noise.
a very famous.
mental dick missiles is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I just got-
A famous female celebrity would work out there,
Small dick.
and she would go in the shower before me, but the paparazzi was waiting for her outside. She was in there for maybe damn near 2 hours. Would come out in full makeup ready because there's so much pressure because people were just taking pictures all the time.
Yeah, it's hard.
I felt
man.
bad for her,
It's
man.
hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Renee Zellweger said this. She moved to New York because when she'd get out to put gas in her car, if she brushed her nose, they'd take a picture and it looked like she was picking her nose. She just was followed everywhere. She was like, I'm going to New York to live a regular
And
life.
by the way, for a girl like that, whenever I'm around him, I have to say, by the way.
By the
You notice
way,
that? It's
Yeah.
contagious as fuck.
By the
For
way.
sure. When I'm around him, I say for sure. When I'm around you, I say by the way. It's just exhausting to be one of those ladies. Those hot. And she also had to get a fuckload of plastic surgery. I mean, she didn't have to, but she did. You know,
to try to keep up, man. It's a fucking dog race if you're a hot chick.
It's not good. It's not good. It's rough.
You have an expiration date too, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going away.
Yeah.
Well, Patty Jenkins, our friend who directed Wonder Woman now, and she said if you want to be humiliated, be a female actor in her late 30s, early 40s. When you start to lose, quote unquote, your delicious, as Katharine Hepburn said, you become invisible. Oh, you won 3 Oscars? Awesome. We'll see you later. There really aren't any parts for you. It's tough, man.
Even Anne Hathaway talked about that. She said she was the young girl getting the parts, and now she's not getting them. She's like, I get it. It's the business, man. There's
Crazy.
19-year-olds taking my job. She's like,
Okay,
I used to be
but-
that 19-year-old.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, I can't get a job playing a black basketball player because I'm not a black basketball player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't get a job playing Jackie Chan's brother because I don't look like I'd be Jackie Chan's brother. If you want a job as a hot chick, you have to be a hot chick.
chick, right.
When you are no longer a hot chick, you're going to have to get a job as a hot chick's mom.
yeah.
That's not
That's
not
fair.
sexism.
That's called reality.
That's what the fuck did you do to get famous in the first place? You got the genetic lottery. You're mad?
Preach.
The genetic lottery has an expiration date?
Preach,
Oh
son.
my god, I feel so bad. It's so hard for women in this business. It was pretty fucking easy for you to slip in the door. All you had to do is have good features.
It's also hard for guys in this business.
This business is ridiculous. What is
hard
the
for
business?
everyone.
The business is in that extent, it's who wants to fuck you? Does no one want to fuck you?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find someone we want to fuck.
I lost the part because
Guys just have
my
a lot
manager called me and goes, you want me to
longer.
be honest? I go, what? He goes, they just said you weren't TV good looking enough. I was like, that makes sense. I agree with that.
That's reality, man.
fine.
That's reality.
It's not
There's
true.
Well,
It's not true.
Thanks,
Depends on
Brendan.
what they were trying to
Yeah,
pitch.
well, if they're trying to cast you as the 30-something single guy, yeah, probably
if
not.
you were like
My
a
agent-
guy on Lost
Yeah.
with a plane crashed and you were fairly rugged and you took care of some older women and they wanted to fuck you. Yes.
You're the guy.
Yes.
My buddy Frank
You know
Grillo.
how to make a fire with a stick.
Right. My buddy Frank Grillo, the greatest guy in the world, called me up. He'd be like, dude, you got to get on this audition. And I would call my agent and bitch. And finally my agent, David Letterman, goes, Brian, he just stopped me. He goes, Brian, you have to stop calling me about the auditions Frank Grillo goes on. And I said, why? He goes, because you don't look like Frank Miller. You are not his casting. You could play his friend, but you don't have his hair or his look. And he got mad at me. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I
That's
don't look
just
like
how
a
it
young-
goes. That's how it goes.
business.
And you can't get upset at that because you got in just as easy. You didn't get a goddamn PhD to be a hot chick.
Right.
You know, it's not like you fucking scoured the world and busted your ass 16 hours a day going through your dissertation and fucking writing books. No, you're just a pretty girl who knows how to pretend.
Yeah.
For you to be upset that people don't care about you because you turned 40, well, guess what? You're in the wrong goddamn business. They're not going to care about you when you're dead either, and you're going to die. So there's a certain reality to the expiration date of the occupation that you've chosen.
That's what you've
Sports.
signed up for.
How about sports?
Yes,
Sports
it's
too.
Not, and this is not the fucking business's responsibility. You know, I mean, I was friends with a guy who was Asian, who was always complaining about the lack of Asian roles in Hollywood.
Legit
And I
point.
was like, well, okay, but they don't have to write a movie about Asian people. They're like, well, it's a closed system. Well, okay, you've got to figure out a way through the system. All right, there's a certain way that has to be available to someone to get a gig, and they shouldn't have to cast you just because there's no Asian people in their movie.
Well, that's going
That
on in
doesn't make any
Hollywood.
sense.
That's
It
going
is.
on in Hollywood. For
It
example,
is.
like the black issue in Hollywood. Look, black people take up, 12% of the population in this country. There are a lot of very talented black people, as there are a lot of very talented white people. But the bottom line is, money-wise, there's more money in making sort of movies that are geared maybe toward a white populace, only because that's the economics. There are a whole lot more
Better
audience
scripts.
members that are white, and the infrastructure, yes, is already fairly white. So it's going to take some time, but to mandate or to kind of scold Hollywood because there aren't enough vehicles or roles for black people or Asian people, it seems to me to be a little bit disingenuous. I understand the frustration, but come on, man. At the end of the day, it's reflective of demographics, isn't it? Isn't it reflective of the fact that 12% of the population are African American?
Yeah.
Most of this country is still white.
And it's still a business. I think.
And it's still a business.
I went on an audition a couple of months ago. Went great. It was between me and one other guy, and the other guy was African American. My agent called me and goes, "Man, you did great. They think you're better, but they're gonna go with the
They think you're better?
yeah, they think you're better, but they're gonna go with African American.
Because they want diversity. Because they don't want to get people upset at them.
First of all, that's a fact. First of all, there's
So
a
it's
quota.
effective. So it's effective.
If you're casting a movie, a TV show now, it is a fact, and I just know this, that you have to cast a certain number of people of quote unquote color. That's
with
there's
everything,
a
B.
lot of
But
pressure.
you don't have to. You don't have to. But if you want to avoid criticism, and that's one of the reasons why
Yeah.
this criticism exists. This criticism, I mean, it's essentially like an affirmative action for acting.
Sure.
Well, it's in the
That's-
NFL too. You know, if you're hiring a head coach in the NFL, you have to interview a black coach. You have to.
Yeah.
It's required. You have to interview a black coach. So you might have 6 white guys, and you're like, "Fuck, the 6th one's really good." I know, but you got to put in this inferior black guy. We have to do it.
They're trying to equalize the playing field and create equality of opportunity, which is a good thing. I just don't know if that's the best way to do it.
Well, what is the best way to do it?
Best way to do it is through meritocracy and create opportunities for people of all ilks and all colors earlier. Nurture various cultures. Nurture the idea that, hey, instead of taking this path, maybe there's another path. I'd love to see more black, for example, let's just take black people, more black scientists and doctors over more black actors and things like that.
Yeah, but you can't
whatever it might be.
encourage-
I know
I mean,
you can.
people
I'm just saying.
do
I'm just
what they
saying
wanna do.
The way you do it is
Yeah.
you nurture those communities when they're still young.
I'm under
and
the
create
line.
possibilities.
The best
there.
guys should get the job. I don't care,
Yeah.
black,
We all are.
white,
It's a
Indian,
meritocracy.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that's true too, but I also think we've got to figure out why those people aren't getting opportunities.
Right.
Like, what is it? What
That's
is
the
it?
answer.
What is
That's
it?
the question.
They're
That's
not.
where the
They're not
discussion
born with the
should
same
start.
opportunity. In
Is
those,
it, yeah, they're not born with the same
Yes.
opportunity. They're given a shitty deal as far
Right
as like
away.
the hand that they're dealt as at birth. That's
Well-
a fact.
well, also-
you got to deal with.
also-
You got to fix the hand.
Yes,
Yes.
but also keep in mind when you first of all you talk about black people, gay people, white people. It's so ridiculous. We're very different. A black
Did
person
you
from
mix
Nigeria.
black people and gay people together?
Yeah, a black person from Nigeria is very different than a black guy who grew up in South Carolina. It's just a completely different culture and everything. The African immigrant experience in this country is not so different from a lot of other immigrant experiences. So culture plays a factor in where people start and end as well. We don't talk enough about that. It's very taboo to suggest maybe your culture, if you're a white guy from the Appalachian Mountains, isn't as effective for this marketplace as the culture of a northeastern white guy. Maybe your culture, if you come from a black Mississippi neighborhood, or where Dada 5000 is from, in that documentary.
Florida.
That's
Yeah.
racist,
No, I'm saying,
Callen.
I'm saying, dogfight
Let me
in
guess,
Florida.
it's chicken.
But that culture, you have to
Orange
say,
soda.
what are the deficits in that culture
Racist.
compared to the advantages of being a black Kenyan or a black Nigerian that seems to work in this marketplace? Let's start talking about that. If you don't want to have a discussion about that, maybe you don't care enough.
I don't
about
know what you just said, so I
problems.
can't really agree or
What I'm
disagree.
saying is that culture plays a factor.
You lost me at Dada was born
The
in
way you
Ohio.
solve the problem is look at how kids are raised. Start there.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, I think for sure we have a problem in this country where there's communities where people are growing up where it's just despair.
There you go.
Despair and crime. Baltimore, Detroit. I mean, you can keep going down
Yeah.
the list of terrible communities where people are born that no one's doing anything to try to fix. The government looks at all these problems that people are having in other countries, and they're like, we have to help these Syrian refugees. We have to help. Well, we help people in Detroit too, man. You know, help people that
Well,
are.
people
Yeah, we're
are,
hurting here.
but you're also dealing with
mean-
a legacy of race. That's where racism is a legacy. Where
Baltimore.
black people were redlined.
Well, I had this guy Michael Wood on, who was a cop in Baltimore.
That was a good one.
Great fucking guy.
Hell
and
yeah.
super articulate and smart. And he's actually running for mayor of Chicago, or not, excuse me, for the head of police of Chicago right now.
Definitely gonna win.
And well, I hope he wins because he's got the right idea and he was a cop and he's a fucking super honest guy. But he said that the way Baltimore was set up, you literally couldn't sell black people houses
That's right.
in white
It's called being
neighborhoods.
redlined.
Yeah.
In every community, why is there a black ghetto in almost every community? That's a bad part of town. What a coincidence it's black. You couldn't get a loan for a house unless it was within these lines. That's how it was. That's what you call institutionalized racism.
And the
we're
people that
still
were
dealing
living
with that
there,
legacy.
they didn't own those houses. They were
Correct.
renting.
You know what's
Correct.
weird is there's really no, if you think about it, just to go back to what we're originally supposed to be talking about, if you go back to it, there's really no black female fighters.
Angela Hill,
Okay.
who was mad at me, by the way, for
At 135,
for
there's
saying
none.
fried chicken. She said she made a Twitter post says this is what she hears, and she had a clip of me from my 2005 Showtime special where I said there's 3 magic words: love, cunt, and nigger. Those are the 3 magic words, and like. And the last one, you can't even say out loud. Not even calling somebody it, you
Yeah.
can't even say it out loud.
Yeah,
if
it's
you say it
frowned
out
upon.
loud, people could beat the fuck out of you.
For sure.
Like, that was the point of the bit. So she took an excerpt of that and she said, "This is what I hear when he says that." And she was super upset.
That's disappointing.
It is
It's
disappointing.
disappointing. I'm
Well-
saying at 135, like there's not a lot of African Americans
No,
fighting
there's
the
not.
UFC in the female division.
No, there's not.
And there's some
But it's a new
beast
sport.
for especially women. But if you think about it, there's some beast African American women.
It's a new sport.
Fucking monsters. Wait till they get into it. Wait till you have 2 little Serena Williams sisters who are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
maybe you guys should fight. See ya, everybody.
Yeah, they
See
are
ya.
fucking athletes. There's my cryo lady.
What do you mean they?
Black people.
Black people.
Okay.
She's white, but her kids are black, or half. And her daughter looks like Venus and Serena. I mean, she's 15, and hey, we should play tennis together. Fuck you.
Boing,
How fast?
boing.
How fast do you serve? She goes, oh, like a little over 100. I'm like, why the fuck would I want you serving a ball at me at 100 miles an hour?
Tennis.
Make her play
Yeah.
tennis with Callen. Callen is a fucking stud.
I'm a
tennis
beast. When
player.
I
But
hit-
he takes lessons.
Dude.
With a pro.
She'll fuck you just like that bodybuilder guy.
I go, "Ah, ah," and when I back and I go, ah, it's a long one.
God, never got
And when
into
I serve, I
tennis.
go, eat my dick.
Eat my dick?
Yeah.
That's a good thing to say
I
because
lose
they're
a
like,
lot,
did this
though.
motherfucker just say eat my dick?
Yeah.
I
Ball
lose
just
a lot, though.
Flies right by you.
Eat a
Did you
dick.
just say eat my dick?
Yeah, but wait till African American girls go, you know what? We can kind of make money in this fight game.
Well, you
All
get
the white girls are fucked.
A lot of Russian and a lot of Polish, like Joanna Jacek, and there's a lot of Muay Thai in Europe and in Russia, and I think a lot of
ton.
those athletes are going to leak into MMA.
You know,
slowly but
Joanna's going
surely.
to Muscle Farm.
Is she?
She's doing some of her camp at Muscle Farm.
That's great.
I would
That's
also
great.
suggest that Black being a super whatever athlete is a black. There's only one black champion right now, right? You got Luke Rockhold.
You got John Jones.
John
Daniel
Jones.
Cormier is the current champion. I don't know
that's
why you
right.
keep saying John Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've
Well,
got you got really, let's say John Jones. Then you've got in the heavyweight division, it's Fabricio Verdum. Then you've got Robbie Lawler, who's Filipino and white, and then you've got at 55 Dos
Lawler's
Anjos.
Filipino and white?
Yes.
Why did I not know that?
Dos Anjos. Then you got it's
Right.
Mighty Mouse and John Jones. That's it.
Yeah, Rafael dos Anjos. Well, Connor, Mighty Mouse and Daniel.
Just the two.
You keep saying John Jones. Daniel Cormier is the light
Yes, he
heavyweight
is.
champion.
Yeah, I apologize,
Fuck.
Daniel. He's
No?
a beast.
Kind of. Because I watched John Jones beat the fuck out of him.
Well, he didn't beat
I
the
watch
fuck
him-
out of him, but he beat
Oh, I
him.
disagree. He broke him.
He won. He definitely won.
He broke him.
When is that fight happening?
April 23rd, I think.
There's already billboards for it.
Yeah.
Tickets
Good
on
fight.
sale now. I
What you
think.
calling that?
John Jones, motivated and in shape, powerlifting, is a dangerous motherfucker. But how much of this is BS? You know, we don't
Perfect.
know.
So he's bigger, stronger, faster with time off, and he already beat him before.
Well, also, it seems like he's on the straight and narrow, and he's training all the time. I want to
seems
know
'cause he's posting to
But this is
Instagram.
why I think it's. I mean, I don't know because Arlovsky. This is the only reason why I question it at all. Arlovsky said he's never in the gym. Arlovsky, might just not like
Who's
him.
this?
Or
This is John Jones?
Yeah.
When did he
They
say
might-
that?
Recently. They might be coming at different times. Or Arlovsky might have been quoted, but it might have been an older quote. He might have been, talking about 6 months ago.
Well,
or
all
4
I know
months
is
ago.
John with no camp doesn't fucking matter. This dude's beating people the fuck up.
Well, John in shape and motivated.
Scary.
It's interesting. One of the things that he said that I think was really honest and intense. He said he used to always give himself an excuse for losing. So, like, if I lost, I'd be like, well, I didn't even really train.
Yeah.
Wait till I train. And then, but he kept winning. And he was saying
that's
that
interesting.
this fight, he's not doing that. And this fight, he is, like, in some serious shape. The powerlifting shit is no joke, man. When you're watching him do all that powerlifting.
Didn't he deadlift something like 500 pounds?
Whatever it is, a lot. But the point is, his body has obviously changed. Like, he's been putting some serious work in. There's no doubt about it. You can see the physical results in his body.
He's
And-
bigger. I don't, and I love DC. You know this, DC. I love him. I've worked with him a ton. I just don't see DC having the
shape.
skills to beat him. I don't see it happening.
What would DC have to do differently? Because he'd have to do something
well,
different.
train with Kane. That's the big one.
Kane's
But-
hurt.
He's out.
But Kane is injured. I mean,
Exactly.
obviously,
Got Luke.
Kane. Yeah, but Kane
Doesn't matter.
Kane was a big part of his training camp, and Kane, like having Kane as. Click on that fucking video of him kicking. Go to that one right there. Let me see that. Let me see this.
Look how jacked he is.
Yeah, he's in some serious shape. I want to see his kicks because that's a big part of his game, man.
God, dog.
I can help him with that.
He's moving his front foot first. I'm gonna have to talk to him about
That's what you're supposed to do, dummy.
You gotta step out, man.
You don't have to. You can just turn your shoulders.
Well, no, you turn your fucking front foot, man. Don't ever,
You
ever
can turn your shoulders.
Don't ever give
Boom.
me
You
You
kicking
don't have to do that
advice.
because I can see you there.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what it's. I use it all the time.
No, you
just
turn your front foot first. It's the most important part of it. You keep your body exactly the same.
or you pivot on
turn-
that foot when you go up on your heel, and you can get a lot of power with
You
your
guys don't want to have a
shoulders.
kickoff.
I will 100% show you on the
2016
back. Please let me show you on the
JRE
back what I mean.
kickoff.
You'll see.
We'll go in the back after
We
this.
sure are.
Oh, damn.
He definitely could do this better, but what's important is that, yeah,
Who's gonna? I'm
What's
telling you, I
important is
just
that
don't
he's in great
see.
shape.
I don't. We know what DC brings: that crazy, relentless pace, boxing, wrestling.
yeah.
What's he gonna do? Start kicking? What's he gonna do different? I'd love to hear it. And I
Well-
love DC, but
We don't know how much of all the shit talking and the emotions and all that stuff played a factor in his preparation and his execution during the fight. We don't know. We won't know until we see them go at it again. We don't know how much of a factor Kane would play because Kane's not in his camp right now because Kane got injured training for Fabricio.
so he's
Verdum.
not there again.
Not
So
there
toss
again.
That out.
And Kane had fucking back surgery, which is some serious shit. He
He's
had
out
a
for a grip.
chunk of his disc removed.
Poor dude.
Yeah.
That
big-
sucks, man.
Well, it's also not necessarily necessary because Matt Brown went through the same injury, and Matt Brown didn't bother getting surgery, and CM Punk went and got surgery too, and I have been through it, and I didn't get surgery. But that's where I got that machine, that reverse hyper that's in the
I
back.
love that thing.
all the yoga that I did, all the other there's a bunch of different treatments that you could do to take care of a bulging disc, and they involve lengthening your body, stretching and decompressing your spine, and it heals. It can heal itself.
But surgery's supposed to be faster, right?
Yes, but it's also permanent, man. You take away that chunk of disc is gone now, man. It's gone.
Would they replace it, though, correct?
There's no replacing a discectomy. What Kane went through, what he's got is a bulge, right? I'm not a doctor. I just want to say that real quick. So here's his back, right?
Correct.
So here's his spinal column, and then he's got his discs right next to it. Well, one of his bulging discs is pushing against his spine.
Damn.
Okay.
Against his spinal column, like
his spine,
Jesus.
his actual spine. That's where you get nerve pain.
Spinal
and
cord.
that's why you have. That's where sciatica comes from. And for me, I had it both places. I had a little bit of a sciatica at one point in time, and then I had it in my fingers. The fingers was real bad though, but that was cervical. When it happens, they just go in there, they open you up, they cut that piece out, and then go back. And so now it's not pressing up against you, but you've cut a chunk of your disc out, and you have less cushioning there. Not necessarily.
Either way, that motherfucker's not back for DC.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. He's not going to be back.
He's not back for DC. Matt Brown fixed it, and Matt Brown fixed it with Louis Simmons, the same guy who created that reverse hyper. He's
Nice.
the West Side Barbell. I mean, he went through a bunch of exercises and a bunch of different things to fix it. There's ways to fix it, depending upon, of course, how bad the injury is. With some people, it's herniated to the point where they have to remove the disc tissue and either put a spacer in there or fuse the two discs together. Spacer is generally thought to be the better move for athletics.
That's what I thought they did with Kane.
No. They did a discectomy, because if they did a spacer, he's out for a long time. Because there's no wrestling going on for a long time.
He's out for a while, though, correct?
Just a few months.
I just can't believe that John Jones took Daniel down
Twice.
And
The
I think it was a
first round.
double leg, right? I mean,
He took him down the first round.
I never would have thought that was possible.
Yeah, John's
that's
an
how
animal.
strong he is, too.
He's very good.
Like Frank Mir said, he's like wrestling with John Jones. Nobody realizes how strong, and so did.
I would assume he's stronger now.
He's so crazy strong. I don't know if it's leverage, but
it's all the above. He's also been
Chael
wrestling.
Sonnen said the
his
same
whole
thing.
Also a
life.
JUCO national champ.
Yeah.
He's also
He
a
knows what he's
fucking
doing.
nightmare.
didn't he cradle Ryan Bader? Didn't he cradle him? Was it Bader? He did that too, where he just put him in a cradle and just.
He beat the shit out of Ryan.
I mean,
He literally beat
I
the
was
shit
like,
Didn't
out
beat
of
the
what?
shit out of the way Rumble did. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Rumble's terrifying. He scares me more than
I want to
anybody.
see Rumble fight John Jones. That's
but
going to be.
it's whether or not Rumble can continue that sort of.
You don't think John
attack
takes him down?
deep into the second,
You're
third,
fucking
fourth
crazy.
People
round?
are going to figure it out. They already have figured it out.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not-
Daniel did.
Yeah.
You drag
Daniel
him to
figured
later
it out.
round. You avoid the big punch, drag him to later rounds.
Can a
John's
guy
a technician.
change? Can a guy like him? Can a guy like Rumble change? He's obviously changed and gotten way better in the avoiding the weight cut and becoming a real natural 205 pounder. Can he change in far as like not being able to be broken the way DC broke him, the
No.
way Josh Koscheck
You're
broke
born
him,
with
the
that.
way Vitor Belfort
Nope.
broke him? I don't think you're born with it,
I
but
disagree.
it's a part of your personality. So whether or not you allow your mind to go down those
Sports
paths,
psychologists could probably help you, right?
I disagree.
maybe. Is it possible?
I don't think so.
There have been
Impossible.
examples.
But hold on a second.
Who?
How can
Who's
you
been
say-
broke?
But how can you say it's not possible? Because it's mental. If it's mental, it's most certainly possible.
You don't think it's a personality trait?
It's not possible for me to win the high jump. I don't have
That's
it.
physically
It's
impossible.
Right.
Now,
So,
let's say-
for him though, it's a mind issue. Well, why couldn't a man adjust the way he looks at the world?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it possible that you could, through a rigorous, disciplined, like very focused attempt to change the way you approach various scenarios and dilemmas? Isn't it possible that you could change your thinking? And wouldn't that be more likely that you could become more mentally tough than it would be that you would be like this physical freak?
Because it's a physical thing, and cardio brings out the weakness in people. So what are you going to do? You're going to put them through these crazy cardio challenges and have a mental coach there? Now, here's the point where you usually break. Let's keep going.
Well, here's what I
Maybe.
think. First of all, I don't think
No.
he did nearly enough grappling before. I think that was a big part
Not
of the
even
issue.
close.
Was he was getting mad dogged by a guy who was an Olympic caliber wrestler in Daniel Cormier. He was just ragging him
Oh,
around.
no, he did.
slamming.
I bet he did crazy
Nope,
wrestling.
nope.
at Black
I know he
Zillions.
didn't. I know he didn't. Now he's got Neil Melanson, who's a fucking giant. Neil Melanson's
One of the best in the world.
huge, fantastic
Grappling coaches in the world.
grappler.
Might be the best.
deep knowledge of submissions, also a lot of catch. He's very knowledgeable about catch wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but he also understands big man jiu-jitsu. He's a big motherfucker. And if you're rolling with that guy, I guarantee you're spending some time on your back.
He gave Randy Couture his black belt. He's Randy Couture's coach forever.
What's
He's
his
a
name?
stud.
What's his
Neil
name?
Melanson. He's a stud. This is how fucking crazy Neil Melanson. You ready for this? Neil Melanson had a broken toe. They said, Neil, you're going to have to be off the mats for 6 months. He goes, cut it off.
He's the Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott did that, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, he had his toe cut off so he could keep rolling.
Oh, no.
Come on, son.
Going
He had a
back,
terribly
mental
broken
fortitude.
going back to the mental
Decisions.
thing, with a mental coach, man, I think sometimes there's just, I don't know, man. I think some people, it's just in their DNA. They just break easier than others.
I don't think it's a DNA issue. What I think it is it being a big, strong, tough guy and being used to being the hammer. And then when you're the nail, you can't handle it and you fall apart because you're unaccustomed to it. Rather than a guy like, here's a good example, Darren Elkins. You can hit that motherfucker with a baseball bat and he keeps coming forward. He's used to getting beat on. He's not a big guy. He's a tough guy.
John Jones isn't, though. And look at him with
Right.
Gustafsson.
John Jones is a stud.
Barely trained, was getting beat up.
John Jones has 2 big brothers, and his bigger brother beat his ass all through his life, and I think he's accustomed to getting his ass beat by his big brother. I think his brother Arthur did him a fantastic service in being bigger and kicking his ass. all
That
throughout
helps
his
for
life.
sure.
Fuck yeah, it does.
That helps.
I think it goes in 2 ways. Either you're born with it, like you said, or some, traumatic event in your life that maybe has something to do with it, maybe it doesn't, but it switches on that quit in your mind and your body. Some of it's just mental, some of it's physical. Your body gives out, or your brain gives out. I think there's multiple ways to look at it. Obviously, Vinny Shorman could fix him.
Yeah. Vinny Shorman's a hypnotist.
Shout out to my mind coach, Vinny.
Yeah.
But
That's what he calls himself, mind coach.
I think it can definitely be a learned behavior to quit. Whether it's you got taught that or you got that imposed on you or someone made you break when you were young. It's a habit. There's
he was little.
a lot of ways to go about it. I'm not saying something bad happened in his life. Maybe it was something good that made him say, well, fuck this, I'm out.
You boys
yourself
don't think at his level he's gotten a
lot of
mental
ways.
coach?
Yeah.
You don't think he's ever talked to a
I'm
mental
sure he
coach?
has.
There's a lot of fighters that have never gotten a mental coach. Like, I asked Cowboy about it, and he's like, shit. Like, Cowboy laughed in my face. Cowboy's never had a fucking mental coach. Has he?
I don't think so.
Hold on. Do you think Cowboy's had a mental coach?
I don't know.
Why are
man.
you making that face?
I don't know.
You think he's a liar?
No.
How dare you?
Ian, what do you when you're kind of against the ropes here? How do you talk to yourself? Like, what do you do?
I'm my own worst enemy. So
all are.
I just fucking talk shit to myself. Or it depends. Sometimes I'm going in and I feel great, and some days I just sit there and I'm like, wow, I'm fucked. Like going out for my last fight, sitting there backstage and just slumps in a chair.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
This was after working with Vinny, though.
No. I started working with Vinny after this, and personal problems. With me, it's always like women problems and shit
Bitches
like that.
and money.
Yeah,
Bitch,
exactly.
how dare you let a girl affect your fighting?
Hey,
By
I'm
the
a
way,
pussy.
does. Hey, let me ask you this.
It's happened before. It's gonna happen again. I'm sure.
everybody does.
But I say this, it's same as any other job, and I'm sure with stand-up, some nights, and I felt this way, there's probably 3 fights. Man, any other night, I'm down. I just don't feel like fucking fighting tonight. For whatever reason, I just don't feel like it.
Well, stand-up is way more relaxed.
Yeah.
I know,
I mean,
I'm just
you
saying
can-
for your job.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's nights when you're performing in front of 1,000 people, you're like, damn, I really don't feel like doing
And
that.
it's usually the same thing. It's usually a girl thing. Like, you get in a fight with your girlfriend or something like that, and you go out there, you just don't feel funny.
I fuck up when I have an acting job. This is going to sound crazy, but sometimes when you have an audition, like think about this, and it's 3 pages. It's just 3 pages. You can do it in your sleep. Guess what? It's the network test. You go in there. There are probably 15 people.
Showtime.
And all you have to do is just do 3 pages. I've gotten myself there. It's between me and another guy.
Right.
If I get it, I will make $1 million. I will make $1 million for the year, and I won't have to work for it. It's a sitcom. I'll make $1 million. Just do what you did. Just do 3 pages. It's no big deal. It's
Okay.
like, don't miss that putt. That's when I get nervous. That's when I fuck myself.
See, when I went out for news radio, there was 2 auditions for news radio. One was a cattle call. There was like 100 people. It was this giant long line. I was like, and I had a development deal with NBC, and I just didn't know that I was going to be a part of a cattle call. I was like, this is crazy. And I went in, and the script was not funny, like on purpose. They had decided to write it where they were going to weed out all the hams. They didn't want anybody to
Act.
read it like like, what am I supposed to do? They wanted to weed out all that shit. So I went in, I read it, and I remember I talked to my manager. He's like, how'd it go? I go, man, the script wasn't funny. I mean, I pretended it was really happening. That's all I did. I just did it like it was really happening. And so then there was only like a few people that apparently made the cut. And then I went in there for the second audition. It was me and 3 other dudes who looked like they were about to fucking ship off to Vietnam.
Yeah.
They were sweating and they were pale. And, you know, I was 26 at the time, so I was only like 4 years removed from my last fight or something like that.
You're like, hell
and I
yeah.
looked at all these guys all nervous and sweaty, and I sat on the couch and I put my feet up and I didn't even read the script. I just sat back and I did it like in front of them.
What's up, bitch?
I was like, you fucking pussies.
Yep.
You guys don't know how to perform under pressure. I go, this is going to be great.
Mind
And I
games.
sat there and I like looked at the script a little bit. I'm like, this shit is not, and it was funny.
That's the way to do it.
And I had prepared, so I knew that it was funny. So I was ready. But when I saw these guys all sweaty, it's like there was three or four guys, I think, but they looked like they were just fucking terrified.
They give you confidence.
'Cause they're
One
thinking about
guy
the
was-
money.
One guy was doing it. He was like, he was
Oh,
like practicing by himself, like, that bitch ain't getting it. And I looked at the other
bitch
guy.
ain't getting it.
The other guy looked like he was about to get shot. And they looked like they were about to die.
Yeah.
And so that alone gave me massive confidence. And I went in there super loose and relaxed. Because I'm like, if it's between me and these pussies, I'm like, I got it for
Definitely
sure.
get it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they can sense that confidence.
That's the way to do
too.
it.
Well, I did it on purpose for the guys. So it was like I was competing against these guys. I was like, I'm gonna make these
Fuck
guys.
yeah, that's
feel
a
like
huge
they're
advantage.
fun.
I'm not nervous by nature. I don't get nervous when I have to perform ever. And that's the only time, because my mind is telling myself it's so ridiculous to be nervous that I'm literally sabotaging myself.
It's
I
not
don't know, I
ridiculous
can't
to be
lose it.
nervous. It's not ridiculous.
I don't
It
know,
means
man.
you care and you want to.
I don't
Well,
do well
you're
when
thinking
I'm
about the
nervous.
wrong thing.
I'm thinking
Yes.
about the wrong things.
You're
Thinking about
not
the
in
money.
You're not being in the moment. You're
Fuck
thinking
yeah,
about the
money.
consequences.
Thinking about the money.
They can't do that.
You're doing
man.
it for the wrong reason then.
Yeah, you're doing it for the
Obviously,
wrong reason.
because I don't want to act.
I've never. Then you shouldn't be there. I've
I know
never once
that.
gotten in the fight being like, God, the money I'm gonna make, or if I win, say, I've never once ever in my life thought about.
I think
money,
it's because I'm
ever.
lying. I
With
think it's because I'm
anything.
lying to myself when I go into those auditions.
Yeah.
Like I go and I go all the way, and then I get in there and now it's just do this, and I think it's because I'm being a liar. I think
You might be
ultimately-
self-sabotaging yourself.
I am
because you don't
I'm-
want to be there.
Right, because I've never done
You
an
want
acting
the
job
money.
where I didn't want it to end.
Well, so
With the exception
you,
of the
you
Goldbergs,
say
I
you
love
don't,
doing
but
that.
there was at one
Nice
point in
cover-up.
time. There was
No, I love doing that.
At one point in time, you deeply wanted to be on a sitcom. Like there was all you wanted to do. You weren't even doing stand up for a big part of our
I was
friendship.
acting a lot. I was doing a lot of plays. I was doing a lot
You
of
were also
TV.
pretending to be an actor. It was
Yes,
gross.
I know.
You would talk like one of them. You would
Don't
say
get carried
the things
away.
they
I
say.
Would he
didn't
really?
talk like one of
A
them.
little bit.
You
little bit.
relax.
When
Did
he's
he come
around,
in like a musical?
executives-
Little bit.
When he's around executives, like he was talking about a woman. You know, like anytime someone would bring up a woman, he would immediately be like super progressive and like overemphasize how good she is. She's amazing.
Meanwhile,
Oh my God,
you know,
she's
I had
amazing.
10
And I'd be
girlfriends.
like, what? She's not that good.
What?
are you talking about?
Serial
Like you would be talking
philanderer.
about like a female comedian.
I can't believe you guys were friends from the jump. That's what's
We were
crazy to
friends
me.
right off the bat.
Right
We're
off
like
the bat.
besties.
because
Like
we never bullshit each other. I mean,
Yeah.
there
Right
was
off the
no
bat.
like I wasn't pulling the wool over his eyes.
Oh my God! He was in the worst environment. The worst environment, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is those sketch shows
Yeah.
because everybody's scrambling and being
get
competitive
ideas.
to get. And he was the only one that was cool. Well, him and Artie. Artie was cool as fuck. Artie Lang, and
Yeah.
it was him and Artie Lang were the only ones. And me and Artie had a scene together, and I had a scene with Brian. But then there was all these other people that were on the set that were brutal.
This is Mad TV.
Oh my God!
well, they were
fucking
mean to
competitiveness.
guests. He was our guest.
They weren't mean to me.
No.
Everybody was fine with
They
You
were
me.
a
guys are
little
so.
afraid
If
of
you
you.
look back at those videos, I think I sent you the picture. You guys are so young.
We're in our 20s.
I couldn't believe it.
We're in our
I've
20s.
known Joe since I was 27.
It's so funny.
Look at us.
Yes,
Look at
that's
us.
it.
Look at my hair. It's so beautiful. I miss it so much.
Look at Callen. I miss it so much.
How
God
cute
damn
I
it.
was.
That chick was really funny, man. What was her
Oh,
name?
That's Mary
Got those
Shear,
Nikes
the
on, Joe.
great Mary Shear,
And-
who to this day is the funniest female actor. She's probably the most talented person I've ever worked with.
She
Damn.
was so funny.
Brian,
man.
you're so
phenomenal.
buff back then.
I have a beautiful body. I'm going to take my shirt off after this
He
podcast.
was Pool Boy. He had this great character that would
Yeah.
dance around. Was that a wig you were wearing? Or
Yes,
did you
it was.
bleach? Okay.
That was a wig,
I
high heel
thought that was
sneakers, and a
real.
Speedo. I got a lot of gay fan mail and a lot of fan mail
bet
from
you
jail,
did.
and I'm not kidding.
You beautiful
I still have the
bitch.
letters I got from jail.
From jail?
Yep.
That woman, she used to wear like leather skin makeup
Yes.
to make herself look like she was over tanned, and
Yeah.
she had this crazy character.
We had Jennifer Aspinall, who is a multi-Emmy award-winning makeup artist, and she did like magical shit.
Joe,
Just
when
feel-
when,
Where's
when
that?
did you decide acting? Just fuck acting.
Well, I really loved news radio, and I loved it because I was. It was just the
People
best
and-
case scenario. Fantastic writing, great, talented actors. You know, all the above was, and it never was successful, which is perfect because everybody had to keep trying, and nobody ever got a big head. It never made it. You know, it barely putt, barely stayed alive. It was a perfect environment, like with some really talented people.
Still one of the greatest sitcoms ever, in my
But you enjoyed the whole process, like
I didn't enjoy
being
it as
an
much as I
actor?
enjoyed stand-up, but I enjoyed it immensely, and way more than I enjoyed any other things after that. After that, I had development deals for like a year or two where I
Which means what?
they give you some money and they try to put together a sitcom and it's based around you, and then I got a chance to see what it's like, and it just actors are like the worst comedians without punchlines. Like the worst comedians meaning not like the worst, like not funny, but mean the most crazy, the most neurotic, the actual act itself of auditioning and trying to get gigs, it enforces that. You're always trying to get people to love you. You can't.
You're always looking for approval.
But you can never just be at peace. You're always worried that you have to say the right thing. You have to be liberal. If you're not liberal, if you are a Republican, you better be fucking uber successful before you come out as a Republican.
Word.
Yeah, you have to say those things. Like, you have to be super progressive. You have to be super left wing. And you also you gotta play this bullshit political game where everybody's fake. They're all saying fake things, and it feels so gross. And coming from comedy from the East Coast, doing stand up, going from fighting and then stand up to this,
I can't see you being
was
an
like, I
actor.
can't
That's why
do
I'm
this.
like, what the
I
fuck?
did it.
I can't see you.
Did it for 5 years.
I get
insane.
my throat gets tight when we start talking
Like,
about it. Because I
Bri-
think it's because it's all
Like, nothing drives
A
me more
lie.
nuts when guys pose, especially if they're not fighters. If they're fighters, I get it, it's the thing. But when they put their fist up for a picture,
Oh, God.
and I told Brian, I go, what the fuck is this? And we both know this guy. It's a picture of him and his friend
Yeah.
with their fist up. I go,
God.
why the fuck do people do this?
So
Why do
disgusting.
they? What is this?
just
I won't even.
tools.
You will never see me put my fist up. I never do it.
It's a
Never.
tool. It's
It's
a tool
such.
move.
It's so weird
Yeah.
to me.
It's
Like, people
obnoxious.
have asked me to do it with them. Hey, put your fist up for this picture. I go, no.
Can't do it.
No.
They always want to square off with me and fucking
Yeah.
get my like.
No, come on.
The
Just
fist,
smile.
but you'll see like big dudes. I'm not gonna say who the guy is, but he's a big
Yeah.
guy in the pictures on
Come
Instagram. He's like,
on. Ugh.
I told Brian, I go, why the fuck you think he does that? He goes, because he's not really tough. It's like an ego thing, you know, like.
Well, it's also like a culture thing. They think that it's a cool way to stand. I don't know. It's like doing the shaka. Like, I don't know. It's
Oh, I take the shot. That's
yeah,
like
but the
French.
shaka is
That's
cool.
fun. That's
but I'm
friendly.
saying it's like it's one of those
I
things.
see what you're saying.
Like, other people are doing the shaka, you do the shaka. It's like the Will Ferrell thing in Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
starts covering his face. It's his first interview.
Fucking love that.
He's like,
movie.
you know, he goes, I don't know what to do with
God,
my
I
head.
love that movie.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I love that movie.
Tom Cruise, use your witchcraft.
Running around his
fire.
head. He's on fire.
I like how they put the view right in his face too, and he's running around. Ah.
I love how his buddy's in his house and he can't figure out how to work his system because his buddy's banging his wife now.
Will Ferrell.
He
has
calls
stayed
him. He calls him. He goes,
consistently great.
How do you work
hey,
this?
how do you turn on the radio? What do you want to listen to the radio and the TV at the same time? Because I like to party. He's in his house, and he fucking cut out his picture and put his head on his family's picture. How about when he's paralyzed?
always a
When he's
party.
paralyzed, they're like, you're not paralyzed. He's in the hospital.
They stab a knife in his.
It's a good fucking
That
movie.
and Step Brothers, man.
He's
It's a good fucking
he's
movie.
stayed amazing. Like Will Ferrell is just his ability, and
John
nobody
C.
has
Reilly,
a bad
too.
thing to say about him.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's
No,
a
Will
beast.
Ferrell's a great guy.
Great guy.
He's a great guy.
Competitive too. I have friends who played golf with him. They're like,
Oh, yeah?
he's a competitive guy. He's not letting you win.
Yeah. That was such a great movie.
Look at his
man.
eyes. Look at his eyes and the intensity. He's just.
And that girl, Leslie Bibb, that was in that movie.
Oh, she's great.
I did Zookeeper with her. She played my girlfriend in that movie, Zookeeper. And there's a movie that I did, but I only did because Kevin James, my buddy, and he
Here's your
asked me
boy.
to do it. I didn't have to audition. He just asked me to do it.
You're not. You're acting, but you're not like a character.
Yeah, that's the other one. Here Comes the Boom. I played myself.
That's right.
That was when he was going to be an MMA fighter.
That's right.
I only had like a couple scenes in
There's
that
a
one.
bunch of guys in that.
Yeah.
Mayhem Miller.
Yep.
Christoph.
Boss Rutan.
It's just a paycheck at that point, right?
Well, this is a buddy
his
of mine
buddy.
asking me to do something. But the Zookeeper one was fun. It was a kids movie, and I was like, that'd be cool for my kids to see.
That's cool.
It's silly. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of monkeys talking to each
Cal
other.
and I
shit.
have been doing this thing with Firing the Kid for Fox, these episodes. And to me, acting is so, I don't understand. It's like music, actors. It's so mysterious. Athletes, whatever, man. I don't give a fuck. I get how they get there, hard work, talent. But the acting to me is it's so different. They're like aliens.
You're doing
to
a good
me.
job.
They're aliens to me.
It's a weird occupation. It's very weird. And people take it so goddamn seriously. And they think it's so special when people do so well. You know, Chris Rock had a great line that he was preparing before he was doing the Oscars. He was like, if you go to see the Grammys, they're singing. You know, he like the Oscars, they don't even act.
No one
He's
does
like,
anything.
They don't act. They don't
Yeah.
do shit. It's the most boring award
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
He's
for
like,
reals.
I've hosted it twice. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's true. How crunk were people that Leonardo DiCaprio won? You probably don't even watch it, but people were so crunk that this guy with 275 million won. Even I was crunk.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's
Who
insane.
cares? It's an award. It's an award for your make believe. You're really good at make believe.
Yeah, you guys gave them to each other.
I
That's
just
a big
don't.
deal.
I don't care. I like movies, but the award shows to me are so nonsensical. Whether it's award shows for comedy or award shows for music or what, I don't fucking care. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
human,
here's
though.
the
It's always human.
here's the reward.
With the committee
Do
voting on it.
people like it? Do they go to see your movie? Do they enjoy it? Then you win. It's like this idea that there's one better movie than all the other movies is stupid.
That is weird.
Because
But it's a human thing to crown a champion.
well, how the fuck did Ex Machina not win?
I didn't see
How
it.
did that not win Best Movie?
I didn't see it.
Over
Was it
the
good?
Reverend?
Yes. I didn't
Excuse
see
me,
Reverend.
sir.
I didn't see
Revenant?
Reverend.
How
Was it-
dare
was it-
you?
Reverend.
I know. I always throw an R.
I
in
wasn't.
there.
I
I have a
wasn't.
speech
I don't know what
impediment.
it
I have a
is.
speech impediment. I always throw an R in there.
Ex Machina was a really good movie.
Yep. I liked it. It was
Ex
slow, but I
Machina
liked
was
it.
amazing.
Really?
It
Not
was
better than
amazing.
Reverend.
I didn't see it.
Revenant didn't do it for me, man. The story.
I gotta go watch it.
Wasn't invested in the
Fuck
character.
you.
I didn't
any of the
see it,
characters.
so I can't comment. But
Didn't care about
was
any of the
Ex
characters.
Machina in the running for Best Movie?
No.
Then your
That's a
movie
hard
theater
no.
thing is bullshit.
Your ratings
your
are
movie
bullshit.
theater bullshit is bullshit.
Mad Max fucking cleaned up though.
What?
Mad Max.
See, that was a movie I thought was pretty good.
I thought it was all
fun.
right.
It was fun.
It's a
Unique.
remake.
Pretty
Yeah.
unique, though.
It was fun.
Not really. It's a
Yeah,
remake.
I knew what was going to happen.
Me
he was going
too.
to survive.
Yeah, but those.
You know, Ex Machina, I did not know what the fuck was going to happen, and I was wrong at the end.
I got
what
to see this.
suspected.
Don't tell me anything. I got to see
Ex
it.
Machina is a goddamn great movie.
They were nominated for a bunch of special effects awards.
Well, I
and
think
things.
they
not
won.
this Oscar.
I think they won something for
Yeah.
special effects.
Did they, Jamie? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Did it win?
I didn't see a sniff of that movie. I didn't. That movie is not allowed in that.
Did you see it?
Have you seen it?
No.
Hey,
Damn, it's
man.
good. Goddamn, it's
Hey,
good.
man.
It's a goddamn
Dude,
good
you know what I
movie.
can't get enough of, and I highly doubt anyone here is watching it, was the O.J. Simpson thing on FX.
Everybody keeps telling me that. I saw. I was at the store the other night, and they had it in the back comics bar. They were watching it, and the Cuba Gooding Jr. plays OJ, which I did
Yeah.
not know. I was like, "What?"
Dude, Johnny Cochran in that movie, when a guy gives a racist thing, it
Oscar
is
win is a triumph. What is it?
for low budget.
Visual effects.
Well, it
Oh,
should
boom,
have.
there you go.
It should have won for visual. It's a goddamn.
That's this year?
Fantastic movie.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's a fantastic movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Wait, does it happen in space?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
good.
no. It's about artificial intelligence. It's about a guy who builds artificial people. It's fucking
Did you
amazing.
see AI with Will Smith? Is that what it's called, AI?
It's not the same.
This is
Robot.
way better.
iRobot?
This
No, that was good.
iRobot was good.
That was good. This is way better.
Really?
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Completely different
It's
movie,
in my
though.
top 10 all-time favorite
God damn, Rogan.
100%. It's right up there with Apocalypse Now to me.
All right.
For real.
Shit, son.
It's a great
wanna see
movie.
it.
And it's also the implications. People right now scream, "Oh, the fucking Twitter, you fucking piece of shit!" It's opinions, ladies and gentlemen. We all have
yeah, no,
opinions.
that's what you like.
But there's something about it also to me because this is a subject that I am engrossed in. Like almost every
connects with
day
you.
I read about artificial intelligence. Almost every day I get up, I'll go to Scientific American, I go all these different websites, and I search. I will look up artificial intelligence, go to news, read the latest shit. And is one of the main subjects that repeats in my mind like a metronome all day long.
That's your thing. So
Well,
that's
it's
why you
not-
love the movie.
yeah,
It's going to change. It's going to change our entire
the world.
paradigm.
I think it's going to be the future of government. I really do. I think we're going to have rules that are established by artificial intelligence, and that's going to be how we decide and act, and how we decide and make choices.
Damn, the robots are going to start running shit?
I really do believe that. I think that's going to be the solution to the cult of personality that we're dealing with right now, with Donald Trump being the front runner for president.
How crazy is that?
I got to tell you right now, Hillary Clinton is not going to beat Donald Trump.
That's what
Yes,
I
yes,
said,
she-
Joe.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
I
He doesn't have
disagree.
a chance.
You're out of your
That's
mind.
doesn't have a
crazy.
chance.
That's
You're
what I
out
was
of your
telling you,
mind.
The
Brian.
numbers, any political opponent, the numbers just don't add up for Trump.
That's not true.
That's
the
not
numbers,
true at
they were
all.
saying the
Yeah,
numbers
it-
didn't add up for him 6 months ago when they said he didn't have a chance.
Unless
He's
something
the front
changes,
runner by far
no,
right
no,
now.
Unless something changes,
No,
in
Brian-
large swaths
He's
of the
got to
country-
say this in order to
Guys,
get acting gigs.
No,
Maybe.
He's
No,
saying
no,
this
I'm
right
not-
now,
Brian,
hoping
I
that
don't
when he
like
goes
either- I don't
in
like either one.
Look
to
up
auditions.
the numbers,
I don't like
Jamie.
either one.
Hey, Brian, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't
Yeah.
like either of them.
Let me make a- let me make a-
But
let me make a
number-wise-
statement. I'll make a
Before you
statement.
make the statement, Jamie, look up the numbers.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton's what is it? Support,
Poll.
approval,
Yeah, poll approval.
approval rating versus Donald Trump.
Let's just look at this and then you comment, B, before you go.
She's going to win the election.
First of all, she has
And-
huge problems in that she's involved in a criminal
She might be
investigation.
indicted. She might be
Yeah.
indicted. That's a
That's
big
a big
The
issue,
Benghazi
B.
issue.
That's a black swan.
And the big
The black swan.
the big fucking issue is that email thing. I had Mike Baker on, formerly CIA operative, operative, and he was on yesterday, and he was saying anybody else. He said if it was me that did the same thing she did, I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
You know, he's talking about how they cut and pasted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got here. What is the red and what is the blue?
Red's Trump, blue's Clinton.
So she's way ahead of him.
No.
43 to 46.
43 to 46%.
What is that graph then? Why is she above him?
It's the
What's that representing?
time
I don't understand that graph. What does that graph mean then?
percentage of votes, poll average.
She's way ahead. She's
so
way
he-
ahead in African Americans and in Latino votes.
Of
and there's no
course.
way he's going to close that gap.
Well, she's
And
3% ahead.
She's also
Yeah.
got majority of the Democrats, from what I understand. Women,
Well, I think it really
Trump
depends
having
on
a tough time with women too.
who's going to be with her and who's going to be with him.
I can't believe those
Who's
are
going to be the
only
running
two.
mates?
Everybody will be with Trump except for
No, I mean running mates.
running mates.
Yeah. Who's going to be his running mate?
Chris Christie.
No fucking way is that fat slob
He
getting
endorsed
in.
him. His fat ass
Who
endorsed him.
cares? You can't have an addict. By the way, that guy's an addict.
With food,
Yes, he's an addict. There's no question about it. That guy got his stomach stapled and he's still fat.
he's crazy fat.
Did he
He's-
burst through it? Or did
Yes.
Yeah, did you
I'm
see him
sure.
pitching at the baseball
He's
game? It's so
disgusting.
gross. Awesome.
But he's eating terrible foods. It's a terrible thing. And I'm not fat shaming, but I'm saying if you're going to have a leader, you cannot have a leader who's, by the way, hugely anti-marijuana. He said, marijuana, if I'm the president, we're going to outlaw all this stuff. You fucking dummy. You don't even understand what
Outlaw
you're talking
fast food,
about.
you fatty.
You're doing something that's way worse for your body than marijuana ever will be.
Preach.
I just don't understand who he's going to be like running with.
See this?
If it's Rubio, he's got a real
Look
chance.
at this right here. Super Tuesday could doom the GOP as polls show both Clinton and Sanders smoking Trump. It's not going to happen. Sorry, Donald Trump's not going to be the president
What
unless
does that
something crazy
mean?
happens.
Could doom the GOP. Bernie Sanders beat Trump? But that's polls, man. Polls are only people willing to answer polls. And they were really bad. Polls used to be representative of the winner. They would go exit polls. They were so off with Bush versus Kerry. They were so off that they haven't been
It's not
accurate.
just polls; they're just numbers. I mean, most of the political pundits who really are in the know.
When
aren't even-
Brian's
they're not even entertaining.
bullshitting, he does this thing where he calms down, and instead of getting emotional, he just like, well, there's more.
I get very
There's
calm.
more.
I get very calm.
He gets like, I think his dad used to like chastise him when he would say something stupid. His dad would
No,
talk
my dad would do the
calmly and-
opposite. Oh no, my
Your dad would yell?
Oh no, he wouldn't do that. No, my father would do this. Go ahead and start making a point. Watch this. Try this. It's
Look at this. Christie faces calls to quit. Approval drop after backing Trump. I wonder why.
Newspapers 6 newspapers calling for him to resign.
God,
Fucking
duh.
newspapers. Who are they? People with opinions? Why are they asking him to resign? Resign what, though? As a governor of New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
For endorsing
Look,
Trump?
He's just not a good leader. He's not a wise man. He says foolish things.
Who's this, Trump?
No, Christie. Trump. I think Trump is more of a showman. I think Christie.
A narcissist. Is
Yeah.
Trump's
Trump
an
is.
entertainer.
Christie says foolish things. He says foolish things that aren't backed by science. He's very discriminatory when it comes to my beloved marijuana.
Well, I can't listen to Chris Christie when you're that fat. I just
No.
can't take you serious.
Yeah, and it seems
means
like
you
a
have no
rude thing to
discipline.
say.
I don't agree
It's
with that.
No
I think
discipline.
that's a little harsh.
No, he's no discipline.
As a leader of the New World?
Winston Churchill, who had
That's a different
who
time,
drank
man.
and
No
had a
one
weight
knew.
problem.
First of all, that's English.
The idea that somebody has a weight problem and they wouldn't be an effective leader to me is doesn't hold water at all.
Really? Who's the fattest president we've ever had?
Well,
Who's the obese president we've ever had?
That's not an effective argument.
Well, first
We've
of all,
never had an obese
people are-
president.
people are prejudicial when they
Winston
vote,
Churchill was
but-
from a long time ago, and alcohol was celebrated then as a manly thing to consume.
If you took the fat ratio, if you took a whatever it is, the body fat test on some of the CEOs or great inventors or scientists or whatever they were, I don't know that
what are you
would
talking out of
find.
your ass for?
I'm talking about presidents.
You don't have any numbers.
There's
I
no
don't
fat
think-
president.
Yeah, but
I-
you don't have any numbers right now.
There's never been a fat president.
But I mean the idea that because somebody's fat means
Yes, he
that
has no
they are-
discipline. That
That's-
guy's not just
that's
fat.
just not true.
First of all,
That's not true.
Hold on. He's not just fat.
ridiculous.
Hold on. He's not just fat. He's a fat guy who's undergone an operation and not be fat anymore, and he's still fat.
Well,
He's
I'm saying that
morbidly
you
obese.
can be not disciplined in one area of your life, but have a huge brain and a huge intellect.
Right, but he doesn't
and
have
be
that
very
either.
effective.
But he says foolish things, and he's fat.
He's a different story. I'm just saying in general, if somebody
Well, then
when
why
you say
why are
when
you
you
supporting him
generalize
then?
and say I could not vote for somebody or take somebody seriously as a leader because they're fat, for me, I disagree.
I'm saying for me, for me,
It's discriminatory.
Yes, it is. But it's also judging someone based on their own personal choices.
Yeah.
The choices that you make to be an addict and to not seek out healthy food and to seek out body harmony. His body is out of whack. He's like grossly overweight, and he went through going under. Like he gave in, saying that like I don't have the discipline to deal with my issue. So what I'm going to do is go to a doctor and get cut open so my stomach is smaller.
Doesn't matter.
That
There are a lot
does
of great
matter.
writers.
Stop
There are
what
a lot
you're
of
saying.
Stephen
Stop
King.
that.
Stephen King had a
Stop
major
that. Hold
alcohol
on.
problem.
Don't say that doesn't matter. That's not related.
What do you mean?
The major
He had-
alcohol problem that he had was part of his creative process, and that he recognized
wasn't.
was a giant.
He also
No, it
wrote
wasn't.
books,
Yes, it
though.
was.
B.
I
He
read
wrote a
his
book about it.
I read
did
his
too.
book on writing. I've got it right
So
here.
I read that book too. And what did he say in the book? He
He
said
talked about
he
how
said-
he used to drink and do coke, and he would find these fucking. It was a part of his process. He realized it was killing him. He
Exactly.
stopped doing it. Christie is still eating like a pig.
Stephen King makes a very important
That's
distinction.
not a leader.
But he's an
He
artist.
says-
He's an artist. He's
But
not a
I'm-
leader
I'm
of the
saying-
fucking United
I'm-
States.
I understand if you don't want to vote for your leader because he's heavy. What I'm saying is that the idea that somebody wouldn't be effective because they have a weight problem is erroneous. Doesn't hold water.
And I'm saying, just tell me the biggest president we've ever had and go. Who's the
that's
most
just
obese president?
That's not a good argument, though,
Well, good-
Brennan,
name one.
because
But just give me
we
one.
don't have a bald president with
William
the exception
Howard
of Ford.
Taft. He was
Okay,
pretty fat.
He's thicker than a Snickers right there.
Was he good?
Especially
Did we
back
talk
then.
He's
about
jolly.
Taft? He's huge, but was he a good president?
Also a really long time ago too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
was back
Taft was only in power for a very short period of
It's
time.
also back when people were starving to death.
Yeah.
Like when you were fat, it was awesome.
When people
this
like that
guy's
were
got
just
money.
eating and being rich. That's all. It
I
comes
think
down
I'm
to being
reacting
lazy.
to the fact that we live in a culture now where
There's
what
body
your-
shaming?
Yeah, what your
at that,
abs
look
look
at-
like.
Fuck you, Count. You want that as your president? Fuck you.
Fuck out of here.
That's
Look
that's
at
not
him.
looking so
But
good.
he's also got this like upper cock fat that is so
He's got a gun.
unappetizing.
It's called a fupa. It's called a fupa.
Yeah, the upper cock fat. I
God,
mean, come on.
dog.
Gee
man.
whiz, that's a terrible.
And this
Well,
is
Go meet with the other leaders
You
of the
might
world.
be right.
this
guys,
is
on that
also
one.
post surgery.
Yeah.
You have to understand like the discipline issue. It's
Dude,
a real discipline
Dude, I
issue.
fired an agent. We were talking on the phone. He was great on paper. I met him in person. Yeah, I've seen he was letting some stuff slip. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Me in person, he's 400 pounds. Gotta let you go, man. There obviously there's some sort of discipline issue.
Yeah,
there
there
has
is.
to be.
But you can be indisciplined in one side of your life and very disciplined in others.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
That is
Very
true.
It's
true, Kevin.
compartmentalized, and sometimes
Yeah.
you do have an issue, and clearly that is a food issue. But you
I'm
can
saying
be
I don't want the
ineffective,
I don't want the president of the United States struggling with his diet when he has to make these huge
I mean,
decisions.
you're going back to
when
Stephen
that's the
King
biggest
thing.
fight in his life and his
Yeah.
health is
Well,
in danger.
King makes an interesting distinction. Just when we brought him up, and he said, "I was a very talented guy with a substance abuse problem." That's what he said. And he said a lot
Right.
of people make the mistake of saying that my substance abuse was the reason I was so talented. He said, "Not
No,
true."
that's not necessarily what he said. What he said was that the creative process was enhanced by his substance abuse problem. He says that's not the case.
Right.
But I'm a Stephen King fan. His shit that he wrote when he was fucked
It
up
got
was better.
way better.
He doesn't
It
remember.
got
He doesn't
shitty when he
remember
was sober.
writing
It was
Cujo.
better.
He's also an artist. Big difference, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
want my
big.
artist doing
I
some
don't,
weird
I don't,
shit.
I wouldn't want Stephen King when he was coked up balancing my checkbook. Okay, I mean,
But expanding your mind,
you
he's
need
got to
have-
get in there.
Yeah, you need to have fucking discipline to be a president. You need to be a healthy person. You also need to be a role model. It's like it's a figurehead for the United States of America. It's not as simple as.
I see what you're saying, though.
But Jack Kennedy was a huge womanizer. That
Yeah,
would be
but no,
considered a
I want
breakdown.
that as
Yeah,
my
but-
president.
That's a different thing, man. It's a different thing. First of all, and we didn't know. No
Right.
one knew back then.
Martin Luther
we know
King,
he's a slob. It's like right in
womanizer.
front of his face.
Yeah.
It's a different world back then. The world was different.
But you
Guys
could also
were
say
just
it was a
cheating.
breakdown in self-control, right? In one way or another.
Maybe, or it was just standard operational procedure.
Well,
I mean,
You
that
also
was the
don't become
status
a
quo.
leader by just dating one chick.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is that
They were dick slingers. They were presidential dick slingers.
but
his
not-
dick saying might be food, though, is what I'm saying. You know
Well,
what
it's
I
a
mean?
different thing though because it wasn't interfering with his health. Like Chris Christie's physical body is
10 years
is
left.
massively falling apart, and the guy got a fucking operation and it didn't do much. I mean, he's still grossly overweight. I mean, he used to be way bigger.
that doesn't bother you at all, Count?
Well,
I almost
I-
want my president a superhero.
I feel like you're
I don't-
kind of being a contrarian here.
No,
I really do.
I actually don't know if it bothers me or not. What I was.
well, let me tell you.
You know,
I mean,
I understand
try
your
to
point,
explore it.
and I think it's a good point. where you-
Explore it.
you know.
What does it bother you? You say you don't know if it bothers you.
Because
Explore
health
it.
is important for presidents. Like, they have to go through all those health checks.
Yeah.
That's why Trump came out and they said, fuck, they said, I'm in great shape. What's up?
I-
President Obama, beast
Yeah.
in shape.
I think that I'm not trying to be a contrarian at all. I understand and respect somebody's point of view where they say, you know what, you are not able to control your own biology.
Yes.
Therefore, I wonder what your judgment would be like as a leader. 100% valid.
Well, you're judging
You know?
a person when they're running for president. You're
Yeah.
100% judging.
Sure.
them.
And we
he
do
falls
judge-
massively short in the department of taking care of his own physical being.
Yeah, most of us, and we know that most of us, when we hire somebody, if one guy's in shape, the other guy's not, we're going to just instinctively go, we're going to make those conclusions.
Yeah.
And that, in a way, is fair in terms of how you look at the world, where you say, you know what, if you can't control your own biology, I wonder what else you can control. And as a fat person, you know you're walking into that, or at least have to take responsibility for whatever the world judges you as.
I don't buy this. It's so hard thing. I just don't buy it.
Well, I don't know.
Look, I just fucking lost 10 pounds. I wasn't even fat.
It's different,
It's
Joe.
not.
It's
no.
different.
Why is it
Callen,
different?
you're,
It's
you're,
different
you're
because
saying
everybody
even
else
if
does.
you're saying even if he's
Tell me why
overweight,
it's
he can
different.
still make
Why
good
is it different?
decisions.
Why is it different?
I'll tell
Why
you-
is it different for me than it is for him?
I'll tell you how. I think some people, for example, have a predilection not only to put on weight because their endocrine system is just whacked, but also some people do have addictions, and addictions are very
That's
powerful.
what I said. He's an addict.
Yeah, and some people are
I
very.
don't
Well,
want
I
an
already said
addict as
that.
my president, though,
I
is
said
what
he's
I'm
an
telling
addict.
you, Callen. Whether
Right.
it's drugs,
But that's-
alcohol,
That's
women,
fair. What I'm saying is that
food.
what I'm saying is that to just we live in a culture now that just puts so much emphasis on the physical, and I think there are a lot of people who have been overweight and who have eaten too much or had a thing for sugar who still are incredibly beneficial and to society and
Well, I
have invented
appreciate that.
things
I appreciate
and done
that.
things that and they were huge
Like Michael
intellects.
Moore.
They were huge intellects. Yeah, well, that's a different story. But they were huge intellects. And
Yeah,
I-
well, there's a
I-
lot of
that's all.
smart people that are fat for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I
but
mean.
that's you don't want them
effective.
running the big show. There's a difference between someone who's a really smart fat person who's a great singer, or a smart fat person who's really good at telling jokes. There's a big difference between that and a fucking president. A president is not just a guy who can talk to this guy and make good decisions. He's a fucking figurehead for the United States of America, the greatest superpower the world has ever known. For us to say Chris Christie's the best we could do is a disgrace.
Different subject.
like you. Well,
It's not a
I
different
think
subject.
you have
It's not
to
a different
cover all your
subject at all.
bases. You have to cover all your bases.
It's exactly the subject.
What's that? You're talking specifically about Chris Christie. I'm talking about
Yes,
somebody with a
that's
weight
what we
problem.
talked about.
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah,
about a
we're talking about
massively
Chris
obese
Christie,
guy.
yeah, who
That's how
had
you
his
got,
stomach
that you,
skinny.
you got
I
on this
reacted
path.
to. No, I reacted to. I don't know if I could. I don't want to vote for somebody who looks like that.
Like him.
To me, yeah.
Yeah, him.
And for me, it wouldn't make as much.
Well, he's
difference
the
if
only
he
one
had
in
a
the
huge
race
brain.
who's obese.
Yeah, but Brian,
Yeah.
he's the only one. You're arguing semantics now because that's the one guy who looks like that.
He's the only guy.
I mean, Trump's not skinny. He's a fat fuck too.
Yep.
If you saw Trump without his clothes on, you'd throw up.
Exactly.
Trump
All due
compared to
respect,
him.
Mr.
Trump
Don't sue
compared to
me.
him though is a
And he's got-
fucking.
Welcome to my nightmare. All those guys together. Like I saw, I'm sure there's.
Rubio flexing on them fools.
First of all, who are those other people?
Well, you
It's
got
Ted Cruz and
Chris
then
Christie, Marco Rubio,
Rand Paul.
Carson.
You got Ben Carson.
who's that other guy?
That's Dennis.
Kasich?
I think Dennis Kasich. I think that's Dennis
Kasich?
Kasich.
He's the governor of
He's
Ohio.
done a very good
Is he?
job. Yeah. Then you have
about
Donald Trump,
Jeb
Jeb
No one
Bush.
even knows he's alive. Even
Jeb
people
Bush
in
had a problem
Ohio
with
aren't
eating.
voting for that guy.
Jeb Bush has always put on weight too. He's always had a
Cruz.
problem.
How is this guy still in there? That Kasich guy. What?
He was
Is
very effective as
is he
a
hoping
Ohio
this
governor.
Photos come out of all those guys
And
like
it's
in
so
a
expensive.
young
It's so
boy
weird.
gay orgy.
That's so weird.
Like me, finally, I'm what's left. Last man standing.
All I'm thinking about is the MMA fan going, "What the fuck, man? Where's the fucking breakdown?
Where's
We're
the
talking
fight
about Chris
breakdowns,
Christie.
you cunts? We didn't promise it.
What
we
about
said,
the
We
fight?
warned you."
We talked about Connor for an hour. No, 10 minutes.
Connor.
Talk about
gonna say
Tate,
Hammer.
Connor. We broke some of the fights.
Ian,
down.
what do you think about who's going to win
Yeah,
that fight?
thank you,
So had to
Jamie.
put money
Jamie
on
just
it.
put the fucking
Okay,
the fight thing back
so-
on. Let's go. Yeah,
Connor,
because I
Nate.
fucking hate this Chris Christie talk. Makes me angry.
Yeah, I'm fucking horrible at politics.
Plus,
I just was
I
watching you guys.
The fucking the New
can't get
Jersey
enough
thing,
of it.
man. That's my state where I was born, and that
Reminds
dipshit-
you,
That's
it
your
reminds you of a lot of.
Yeah.
It reminds you of a
all
lot of
the shit
ignorance.
that he did with the bridge, the shutting down that bridge. Dude,
Oh, you
that
hate him.
political decision to do that is so it's criminal. That's criminal. Shut down a bridge to try to. I don't want to talk about it. I get angry. I get fucking pissed
Makes
off.
sense why you hate
Jesus.
him.
Let's go to some
Alright.
fights.
So, we have now the size difference. What are their heights? I guess it doesn't really matter.
I think
too
Nate
much.
is taller.
Yeah,
Nate's a lot
sure.
taller.
He's 3 inches taller, and he has a 2-inch reach advantage.
It says 2. Yeah. That's interesting.
That's going to play a big factor because obviously Connor moves in so much. Isn't used to fighting the bigger guy, but now he is. But the thing is he's if you've seen pictures of him and video of him, he's fucking huge right now.
Yeah, I like
And-
the leg reach thing. He's got longer legs.
Me too.
Yeah. So
And he uses them.
There you go. Exactly. He uses them real well and really well at distance. It's not like me where I just want to step in and club your legs. He's trying to negate that gap between him and you.
And he likes to throw a lot of front kicks to the body, like he did with Chad
That's going to be a
Mendez.
pain in the ass.
That's
It's gonna be-
effective against a
Yeah.
guy like Diaz. Let me ask you this, Uncle Creepy. How about with Connor? He's always been the bully, right? He's kind of bullied the 145 division, and then now here, there's no way. He's just not bigger than Diaz. So I think it's the first time we're really going to see him where his size isn't going to be that advantage anymore.
But he's pretty goddamn big right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was training for fight at 155, which means he ate like a pig. Fought at 155 in the UK. So he's fought at 155 before and starched guys with one shot. I absolutely believe his power carries over to
100%.
Yes.
to 155. And this fight is essentially at 170, but these are 155ers that don't have to cut weight. That's what's going on.
Right.
They don't have to cut weight because it was part of the agreement when Nate took the fight. They took it at a catch weight.
Well,
because-
Diaz was down to go to I think 165 or 160, and Connor goes, "No, man, I want you to have the advantage here in the weight. We're going to make it 170.
Connor's-
Don't kill yourself."
He
cutting.
didn't want to cut weight. Look, and he shouldn't. Like, I think this is the future, and I really, truly hope that people decide to fight at a much more reasonable weight class. I think they decide to do this, where they fight where they actually belong, and stop this dehydration process, man. It's fucking madness. It's the worst aspect of MMA, the most dangerous aspect of MMA, the scariest now because there's no IV rehydration, so these people are going in there with dehydrated brains and they're taking shots to the fucking dome. I think it's stupid. It ruins your chin. It ruins your ability to fight at the best level.
And longevity.
Longevity.
Also, you got the huge X factor too is Nate Diaz. They go, well, he's getting ready for a triathlon. I don't give a fuck. That's not 5 rounds of fighting in the UFC. I don't care what you're doing. There's no way you can make up for that.
Well, I don't know because I don't know what else he was doing other than training for the triathlon. I don't know if he was doing jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he was boxing. I know he was definitely training for a triathlon, though, which means it's not like you caught him sitting on the couch doing bong hits and eating Cheetos.
It's true.
The guy's in really good shape.
Different shape.
It is a different shape, but there's also no wear and tear from a fight camp, and that could be a big factor in his favor.
Well, Diaz did say, he goes, you know what, to me, there's no pressure. I mean, he goes, I've had camps where I've had full camps, and I went in there and got my ass whooped.
Yep.
Then I've had times where I was sitting on the couch for 3 weeks, went into the gym, beat everybody up. He's like, so for me, it's it's just another day.
I think a really big factor, is the fact that he doesn't have to cut weight. And I think it's a big factor for Conor, too. I mean, we might see the best Conor we've ever seen. Because seeing him at 145 pounds, that guy was on death's door the day before the fight.
Yes.
The Chad Mendes fight, he looked like utter dog shit at the weigh-ins. And then the next day, he's full and thick and probably 20-plus pounds heavier than he was at the weigh-ins.
I'll tell you what gets scary is if Diaz does get McGregor down.
Oh, yeah.
That's scary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For
yeah.
McGregor, it's very scary.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
talking about a high-level jiu-jitsu guy
yeah.
with lots of submissions in
Diaz
the UFC.
has got some serious fucking skills
From
off
top
his
and
back,
bottom.
too. Yeah, really, really good jiu-jitsu.
But George Lockhart has been working with Conor for the last fight or two.
Right.
So you know that he's not just eating a bunch of shit.
Right.
He's putting, I mean, on a cellular level, he's energizing his body with really, really good high energy fuel stuff. So
Yeah.
him putting on that much weight, which is just more natural for him, he's gonna be fucking so strong.
So
and has
strong,
such good cardio,
so healthy.
so healthy.
You know,
If he gets by this, I think you have to do UFC 200 if Dos Anjos is ready.
Yeah.
if he
with
gets
Conor.
by him, but what if
I
Nate,
said if.
What if Nate Diaz lights him up? Bang!
I don't see that happening.
Then we don't have to deal with this shit anymore.
Well, we do.
You want to
He'll
deal
be
with this
back.
shit, though. You
I
want
like
it.
Yeah.
Trust me, the sport needs it, man.
I don't
we
want.
need
I get
Conor.
nervous because I don't want the Conor show to end. Like I want it to keep going. I
Yeah.
really.
It's magical.
It's magical because he is got the guts to talk so big, and then just to go up to 70, and he's just.
Yeah, but
you
I
gotta
don't
love
think
it.
I don't think Nate Diaz, if he beats him, I don't think he ends the Conor train. I think he stops it momentarily.
Yeah.
There's a regrouping, and he comes back.
Right.
Better than ever. I just don't. I don't think losing to Nate Diaz stops everything. I think it
It's
definitely
a
changes.
big bump
it.
in the road,
It's
man.
a big bump
there's
in the road.
there's
and
no
it
more of that
changes it.
undefeated aura anymore.
Well, look at what happened to Manny Pacquiao. He fought Juan Manuel Marquez and got knocked dead.
Yeah.
Looked like he
Face
died.
planted.
Not the same.
Not the same, but he came back and is still just as huge as he's ever been before.
Ah, man, it's not the
Yeah,
same.
he is, though.
look,
He
look-
is,
look
though.
at Floyd, though. Floyd was huge, right? Never lost. Even though his fights were boring, we still tune in. He's still the best of all time. He had like this huge undefeated aura about him. He loses with his fighting style. Get the fuck out
Well,
of
if
here.
he loses, he's boring to watch.
Yeah,
That's a
but he's
factor.
undefeated, so that's why
yeah,
we tune
but
in.
he also refused to fight some guys in their prime, like Manny Pacquiao. 6 years ago, was the fight.
Yeah,
You know?
but
Kind of.
stop right there because he had a real good argument that Manny Pacquiao was most likely on performance
He
enhancing
refused to
drugs.
take the drug test, so there's a reason why they didn't fight.
And Manny
Yeah.
moved up 8 weight classes.
Right, I know.
And kept his knockout power. Look, I don't know whether or not Manny did anything, but that Alex Ariza guy that was with him, that guy,
Notoriously known for it.
yeah, notoriously known for it. That was his strength and conditioning coach, and the reputation is usually pretty accurate.
That's like
You
me
wouldn't
having
be
Jose Canseco in my corner and then being like, I don't know, man. I don't
Schaub
know.
is 298 pounds.
Yeah.
It's weird. He went up 8 weight
He's
classes,
purple.
and Jose Canseco's his fucking best friend. No,
He's
I
got-
think he's good, man.
why
Anderson
do those
Silva's
guys?
strength and conditioning
Why
coach.
do a lot of guys get purple like that? What happens?
I guess it's like blood rushing to your skin or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Skin
They
gets
sweat a lot.
thin.
They get greasy.
They're always
and they
flexing and they just.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think when you take a lot of testosterone like that, from what I understand, like you have more blood. You have more blood in your system.
Really?
Yeah, like this dude I knew who was on like heavy doses of testosterone. His doctor, he's doing some endurance thing, and his doctor told him you should give blood. You should take
Yeah.
some blood out of your body before he was going to do some crazy bike ride. Like you should
You
should
need to
take
get rid
blood
of
out
some.
of your body. Like,
Damn, that's
what?
insane.
Your
Like,
blood
how
gets
much you
thick, I guess,
taking?
right?
What are you
Yeah, it
doing?
gets thick.
Yeah.
Like a
Because
milkshake.
there's a theory that says that the reason women don't die of heart problems, they don't have the kind of cholesterol issues, is because they bleed once a month. And this guy said if you give blood once a year, it might be the best thing you can do for your heart, for your body. Yeah.
Why?
Because apparently it keeps your blood thinner. And so as a result, you will, and by the way, I'm not a doctor, I'm paraphrasing this guy, so please don't kill me.
Everyone go out and get blood thinners.
Exactly. But essentially he said, you can lower your lipid levels and all this other stuff by giving blood once a year, and it makes a huge difference.
Wow.
It's a school of thought. It's
How
also
much do you
been
have to give?
disputed.
Oh, has it
just
been?
like a pint, I guess.
It's been disputed. What's supposed to be the benefit? How does it lower your blood lipid
So I
level?
guess apparently you, like you said, you get thick. Your blood gets thick. You get and it kind of acts as, I suppose, like aspirin would, where your blood gets thin.
And then your body has to rejuvenate
Yes.
and make more blood.
That is interesting that women don't get the kind of heart attacks that men do. I always attributed that to stress.
Well, no, it's estrogen.
I thought stress,
It's
too.
estrogen, and it's also, according to this couple of these doctors, that they bleed once a month, and that has an effect.
Because they're evil creatures.
And, excuse me, sir.
Excuse me.
They give heart attacks. They don't get them.
That's true.
But
I remember when I was a kid,
witchcraft-
I'd cut myself and suck on it. Like I thought, I'd cut. I was like, oh shit, suck on it. Now, do you ever do that or no?
We didn't cut yourself on purpose.
No, I'd
Okay,
fall
okay.
down and scrape myself and suck the blood.
Yeah, I always did that.
Because I thought it'd go back into my
I wanna
body.
go give blood.
Wrong. Stupid.
Well, it kind of does.
Kind of.
It just doesn't go back into your blood.
Yeah.
The nutrients go in your body.
You'd think.
I want to go do a full screening of vitamins, hormones, everything. I've never done that.
Have you done cryotherapy yet?
No.
Let's go do it right now.
Dude, I got into a really cold pool and almost panicked.
That's not the same.
My asshole hurt.
No,
my asshole
cryother-
and balls were like,
that's
hey.
That's not like an ice bath. It's not to me. It's
The ice bath's
it's easy.
stronger.
I
Harder
think
to do.
for me, an ice bath is more effective.
Well, that's what Iceman Wim Hof, he said, for your soul, your resiliency and being able to overcome,
It's
that the ice
uncomfortable.
bath is better.
It's way longer.
Yeah, because it's just you're pouring bags of fucking ice in that water, and you get in there and you're brutalized for 20 minutes.
Some people swear by cryotherapy. I did it my last camp. I did it 4 times a week, and I didn't see much of a difference, opposed to ice baths. So I
Well,
stopped doing with ice baths.
Maybe it's a what you felt versus the actual anti-inflammation markers in your blood, because they've definitely shown that there's it reduces inflammation pretty radically. And one of the-
Better than an ice
I
bath.
don't know about better, because I don't know how much has been shown that ice baths do. I don't know. I'm more aware of what they've shown from cryotherapy, but where it's really effective is for people with arthritis. There's this lady that goes to the place that I go to, and this poor lady, her hands are jacked, man. Her whole life, her hands have been like this, just
That sucks.
gnarled up claws. And she now, for the first time in a decade, can straighten her fingers out.
And she never thought about just filling up buckets of ice and
I
putting
don't
her
know,
hands
man.
in
It
them,
seems
or-
like you should, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know what she's done before. I should have asked her.
Well, it's like my daughter. I'm actually
Yes.
partnering her up with a cryo place in Lake Forest. It's
Oh, yeah, you
opening
guys
up-
are balls
o-
deep.
opening up
Cryotherapy.
March 15th. We open up March 15th. It's called Therapy Cryo Salon, Lake Forest. My daughter has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I take her in my cryo machine, or the lady I used to go to Monica in Newport, or Costa Mesa. Well, it sparked my interest, and then I realized that it fucking works. The science is behind it. Talking about how deep it penetrates, I heard it penetrates deeper than a ice bath.
Ooh, I heard
But-
opposite.
But I've done ice baths my whole life. They're
too.
fucking way different.
Yeah.
They hurt my toes and feet, so I'm always like, trying to stick them out of the
pain.
water. They
They're
suck.
pain to do. They
How
suck
long do you
to set
sit
up.
in an ice bath typically?
15.
15 minutes, yeah.
I do them both. There's a Korean bathhouse by my gym right next to it.
So, and I don't know the
They have
science.
ice baths at a Korean bathhouse?
Oh yeah, I bet
No.
your sweet ass.
Why
Ice
does
bath's
my ass
amazing.
have to be sweet? What am I betting?
I don't know.
I don't want you to sweeten my
that was
ass.
aggressive. You've never seen a small
well,
dick.
you're
You've never
a-
seen a small dick until you've gone to a Korean bathhouse.
Oh, what are you trying to say? Is that racist?
No, it's science.
Does it smell like kimchi?
No.
Is that
You
racist?
see all kinds
Roman
of dicks.
noodles.
All kinds of dicks at these places.
Ramen noodles is like Japanese. I think
Is
you
it?
got the wrong
Do I?
race.
Either way, man, it's fucking tiny. But before you put your daughter in the cryotherapy chamber, did you ever just have her take ice baths, and did it help?
We put ice on her before, but she was 2.5 when she got diagnosed.
Ooh, that's young.
So
Just put her in ice
she didn't
bath.
like ice, but then we're also getting things like the hyperbaric chambers. So with her ailment or disease, if she hasn't had a flare up in a long time, it's because we feed her the right food. She's gluten free, sugar free.
Did the hyperbaric chamber help?
Well, I haven't put her in one yet. I haven't got one yet.
But
I'm getting
the
one.
adjustments that you've made in the diet, they've had a pretty big impact.
Having a low inflammatory food diet is so she was running by 10 months. I mean, she's ahead of the curve, really smart. Then to see her not being able to walk,
Poor little critter.
having brain fog that comes with RA, and I mean, I was a mess, you know. And seeing her trying to butt scoot, and then finally we started to do all the food. The food has changed her. Now we fixed her quickly. We got on it right away.
And she's okay now?
Yeah, she's good.
Oh, she
wouldn't even-
plays and you wouldn't notice it?
Oh, you would have no idea.
little
That's
rascal.
amazing.
I mean, there's no more.
Good for you guys,
She
man.
was limping a bit. With sad, funny, I guess, whatever. She got diagnosed when I tore my hip. So we're both limping around the house and limping around Disneyland and limping around everywhere. But I think it maybe kind of made her feel better.
So what
little critter.
did you dairy free, gluten free,
Processed sugar free.
processed sugar free, and how long did it take before you saw an impact?
Not long. It took maybe a month or two, and then after 6 months,
Pretty fast.
I mean, 6 months it was huge. After a year, it was, I mean, gigantic. Now,
What else do you give her any supplements, fish oil, or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, we mix in things like, MCT oil or all this healthy stuff. My family's very healthy. My dad is the one that has kept this diet from falling apart, realistically. I call him a nut food Nazi, but he's, it's me and him raising my daughter together. Actually, my mom just moved into my house. My parents have been together for 15 years, but
They're together now?
Now they live together, and I live there, and I'm like, oh, cool. I live with my parents and my kid after.
Girls love that.
It's a clusterfuck, but I love them for it, and then I have.
That's awesome. So they're doing that to help you.
Yeah.
And
That's
help
cool,
your daughter.
man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And my
Yeah,
mom,
that's
my mom
awesome.
was a chef. My dad's a very healthy guy, so the food in my house is all geared around my daughter. If I want to cheat on my diet, I have to leave my house, and I have to feel bad, and I have to just sit in my car and cry.
You got to go through some shit.
while I
to
eat my
cheat.
gummy bears,
That's hilarious.
That's great, man.
That's
But
awesome,
it's
man.
great that you could find something that quick that can make that big of an impact. And like I said, with this diet that I'm on, it makes me really consider the impact that food has on your body.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm so harsh on that Chris Christie guy, because I don't want anybody that's a representative of the United States or of us or a leader that shows
looks like the populace.
But it shows this willingness to give in. I want them to be exceptional.
I
If you want to
need
be
a
the fucking
superhero.
exactly
Yeah.
superhero.
That's
it's also
fair.
having some discipline and understanding that there's some severe consequences to not having that discipline. And when you're a massively overweight guy like that, the amount of aches and pains that
You're
guy
also a
must be
role
going
model.
through. Yes.
So when kids
the
look
big
up to
way.
you and they see this fat ass being the leader, they're like, well,
Yeah.
It's just amazing that a young girl who develops this horrible ailment can get relief so quickly just by adjusting your food. It makes me never want to eat that shit again. It really does. It makes me want to cut all that stuff out of my life forever.
I think if Americans learned how to eat, we wouldn't have, like, one of the biggest issues is always like healthcare and stuff like that. I wonder how many ailments would not be a
Huge.
factor if people ate better.
Well, I watched this documentary with my kids on corn syrup or on syrup and sugar. It was I forget I think it's called That Sugar documentary. And we went through the supermarket and you start grabbing things and looking at how much sugar is in everything.
Subsidized.
Fucking in everything. It's in
Subsidized.
everything.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it's so deeply ingrained in everything we do, everything we eat. Sugar, 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 sugar. It's Fed Up, that other documentary talking
Yeah.
about that. They point out so many good points. That sounded weird, but it all makes sense. You turn around anything and there's fucking sugar in it.
Yeah.
And everything is so manipulated.
when's the last time you guys had fast food?
Well, I haven't
Well,
had
I like that
anything
silence.
anywhere near it in a month. So I started this diet. I was trying to figure out when I started. I had to go back and look at the clock, or the calendar rather. February 1st was the first day that I started the diet.
Did you have fast food before that?
Nah. Well, yeah, I'm sure I did. I ate at Cat's Deli when I was in New York, and I decided after I ate that was going to be the last. This was going to be my last blowout meals. I had 2 pastrami sandwiches. I had a Reuben and a corned beef sandwich.
Not mad at either of
Oh, it
those.
was delicious. Oh,
You don't miss that?
Nope, I'm good. If I
on.
wanted to, I could eat it, but I don't want to. No, man, the benefits are for a little bit of mouth pleasure. Here's the thing, dude. You know what I really like? I like steak.
Me
I like
too,
a
man.
fat, fucking juicy elk steak. that I cook on the grill. I like greens. I
need a
like
grill.
healthy food. That's what I like. When I sit down and I eat like a nice elk steak with some fucking kale,
feel good,
I feel
right?
great. That's what I like. That's what I crave. I enjoy that. That's my favorite kind of meal.
How long did it get you to take out carbs before you felt like that?
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I got a headache the first couple of days. That was weird. Where my body was like, I hate to use the word detoxing.
Withdrawals.
I'm going through detoxing, man.
They wanted it,
detoxing,
though.
but that's
Carb
what was going on.
withdrawals.
It was sugar. It was sugar. The sugar, I think, was the headache thing. Because I'd cut out sugar before and I got a headache. I think that's what it is. I think,
Can you drink on this at all?
Yeah, you can a little, but I haven't been.
You ever try cutting out caffeine, coffee?
Yeah, I tried
I
to do
had
that.
the
I got a
straight
headache.
Fuck
sweat,
that.
son.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I
I
was
had that.
shivering.
I love my
When I-
coffee.
when I-
Lasted
love it too
8
much.
hours.
When I write, like if I really sit down, I'm trying to finish something, I drink way too much caffeine. And I took some time off after last time I did it. This was a long time ago. And last time I went on like a real binge where I was just drinking coffee all day, every day for like a month.
That'd be today.
And then I went like just 1 or 2 days off and my head was killing me. Just like, like it was in a vice. That was worse. Well, it's probably like right up there with this sugar thing. The sugar thing was like for 3 days, 2 or 3 days, I was foggy.
Sugar would be a big hurdle.
You know,
for me.
here's another big hurdle. When you convert from your body eating mostly carbs and like using that for fuel to trying to go into ketosis and burn fat for fuel, you feel like a bitch. You're weak. Like when I go to the gym or I'm lifting weights, I'm trying to push. Like, oh my God.
You still feel that way, or you did it
No,
initially?
it's gone. It's gone. I worked out today. I felt great. But the push part, the begin, like it's hard to get through things. Like
Transition.
This is, like you have to have discipline. This is what you got to do, man. You got to write. I didn't write this down because I knew I wasn't gonna cheat. I just like this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm doing, and so I did it. But if you don't have that mindset or you're not used to doing that kind of thing, just write it down. Write down what you're going to do today. Today, I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm not going to eat carbs. I'm not going to eat that. And write that down every goddamn day. And then check it off at the end of the day. That way you know you did it. Mm-hmm. If you just leave it to like the ether, just put it out there and just, and you're all wishy-washy with it, you're not going to be disciplined. You're just not. It's not an option. So, like I told you, I had that dream when I was eating bread.
Yeah, it's
like
fat shit.
I was dreaming. I was like, but it was only cornbread. I had a dream that I was eating cornbread. I had a dream I was eating 2 different kinds of bread.
Cornbread and butter? Oh.
Well, another one was like cheesy rolls that you get at like Fogo de Chao. Those warm cheesy rolls.
Yep.
How about those
it's
cheddar
like dreams
biscuits
that I'm
at
having?
fucking Red Lobster?
Yeah.
Well.
I don't go to Red Lobster.
Just hanging out in Brazil, walking around and grabbing those little bags of cheese balls.
I've never been to Brazil.
Oh, you gotta go, man.
Oh, it's great.
It's
I give
incredible.
myself 10 years, I'll look like Chris Christie.
You're fine.
No,
He
I'm
is,
kidding.
but it's just.
I didn't know he was that
Brian's
fat. I didn't
turned the
know he was-
corner.
Well, I didn't know he was that fat.
Well,
but
by
I-
the way,
obese.
he's way, way, way lighter than he used to be.
Yeah, because you can't get your
Well, in the
stomach
suit, there
stapled
was one
unless
thing-
you're like fucking.
Well, there was
so
one
fat.
picture where he's just morbidly obese.
Yeah,
actually.
that was before. That was after his surgery.
I want that guy as my friend,
That
not my
picture
president.
where he's wearing those pants. Yeah, I have a lot of fat friends. I
Me
mean,
too,
it's
and
not-
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I have morbidly obese friends. That's not the issue.
No, I don't have an issue with all that. They're fun, man. I wish I was more like them.
It's just like there's a position that is the most like highly valued position in the world. That's the president of the United States.
You got to be an X-Men.
You got to be a bad motherfucker.
You demand a lot from your president. From your leader.
There's no one like
That's
that
fair.
that's running right now. There's no
That's
no
very
one
true.
fits that bill, and that's why it's so
Because
weird.
whoever fits that bill knows damn well they don't want to be president.
Exactly,
They're too smart. Yeah.
Well, also the fact that you get everything about your past gets raked over with a fine tooth comb.
Are we way over 3 hours right now?
Are we?
Yeah, we're way over. We're
All right,
way
kids.
over. Let's
Thanks,
wrap
Chris Christie.
this
Bye, guys.
Let's wrap this up, kids.
up. There he is. Look at that. Look at that, Brian. Look at
Oh
that.
no!
Post surgery, by the way.
I thought he was just a big husky guy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
He
That's
deflated.
the
That's what
The
it was.
upper
Smart
cock
guy, but,
fat.
you know.
That's not even a manly gut.
Yeah.
Like a manly gut is like Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz has a manly gut.
Yeah.
Can he see his cock?
No.
Or is it too pushed into the?
You can see it if he has a mirror.
It's a strange.
Interesting look, right? He looks
If
comfortable.
he has
though.
a
It looks
mirror
comfortable
and
as
a
fuck.
good lounge chair.
Looks like somebody's just put a bunch of
It's
warm
comfortable.
cheese
just
in
melting
a
into
sack.
it.
He looks comfortable.
Warm cheese in a sack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end. I love the fuck out of you guys.
Love you
This
too.
Love
is
you, man.
So much fun to do.
Love you, buddy.
This is
March
the
16th,
most
Irvine
fun.
Improv, Bryan Callen and myself.
I will be
yeah.
there. I will be there with my beautiful girlfriend.
Oh, yeah?
Beautiful.
Oh.
Tickets on us, my man. Denver.
Ice House tonight. I think there's like 10 tickets still left. Greg Fitzsimmons, Jenny Johnson, Tony Hinchcliffe. Damn. Who the fuck else is on the show? Someone else. Who else?
Duncan.
Duncan Trussell. That's right. God damn it. That's it, you fucks. And then Friday night at the Ka Theater at the MGM with Joey Diaz and Tony Hinchcliffe in Vegas. Holla. That's it, folks. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, see you tomorrow with Bert Kreischer and Brian Redband. See ya.